What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to our sweaty game night. It's going to be a bunch of best-of-3 matches between some champion-level players, so it should be quite a bit of fun. Let me read the tale of the tape today. So best-of-3, so they're going to be playing standard best-of-3 matches. We have Daniken Trop versus Gondola the Patient. We have Attack Speed Enjoyer versus Maximillionaire. Anticity versus Alexander Nuts. And then Mr. Hill is going to be facing off against Torreson, most likely. And then I think Hobo Honkers might be joining us later as well. So that is the tale of the tape, and I'll let the players know that they can pretty much start when they're ready here. So let me tell them. Okay, I mean, I guess we can give it a minute. Let some more people join here. So let's do this and start when ready. The soundtrack for the intro video to the channel is called The Gardens of Moor, and it's from Warhammer 1. It's an old soundtrack piece from the Empire. It's really, really good. It's awesome. I was originally going to be using the Tristram theme, but yeah, that one I thought was, staying in the Warhammer family. Picks and bans, yes. So complicated pick and ban system, very standard tournament stuff. So this is more close to like a world, like high level competition. SFTs are more casual in nature because it's just kind of blind going in with one faction. It's still competitive to an extent, but this is like a true competitive format. But again, players can still mess around and do some weird shit. But yeah, that's got to be that. Been so long since I've had time. Yeah, Ent, what have you been up to, man? Dude, Ent, you know what game I think you should play? And I think you would just absolutely love is a game called Age of Wonders. Dude, you would be so addicted to it. Holy shit. It is right up your alleys. Okay. Okay, perfect. Either you or Torsen can play round 4, or we add a 5th round for you. All right. But yeah, dude, Age of Wonders, man, it'd be right up your alley. Like the depth of combinations and strategies, it would just be, yeah, you would love it, man. It's a really, really good game. It's kind of like Total War. You paint a map, there's territories, provinces, and it has like Heroes of Might and Magic style battles. It's super fun. All right, guys, let's get it. Let's have some fun. And oh, that's right, I need to get the best-of-3 marker. Yes, 1 second here. So we are going to do this. Those are old scorecards, so we will update them. I can't remember who made the lobby. We're going to load in and see in just a second. So I think this was, let's cancel this. Okay. I knew I was forgetting something. 0-0, and who's going to be player 1? I think Daniken is going to be player 1. Okay. So Daniken's going to go over here. Perfect. And he's going to be playing against Gondola. Gondola, by the way, has one of the most fun playstyles out there, I think. Very, very fun player to watch. All right, so let's do that. And look at the power of technology, baby. Looks so good. Moving out to a condo. Also, I think I heard of Age of Wonders. Yeah, you'd like it, man. Yeah. Oh, I know, man. Moving is a pain in the butt. It is. We're going to be moving soon as well. Old scorecards reminding me of my ancient defeats, says Max. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this best-of-3 series between Daniken Trop and Gondola the Patient. This is going to be game 1 between these two gentlemen right here. And let's go ahead and break down the armies. So it's going to be Blackheart Corsairs, which I do like, especially in a meta where Crypt Ghouls are very popular for vampire counts. These guys have the armor to survive Crypt Ghouls and also to kite them with their good missile attacks. So you can use them, press the vampires on the objective. They're good against Corpse Guards, Crypt Ghouls, Mortis Engines, all sorts of big scary stuff that has light armor. We've got a Burning Head Sorcerer with Flaming Sword of Ruin as well as Burning Head. Cold One Dread Knights. Now, Daniken is a big Dread Knight enjoyer, and sure, they can mulch through, Graveguard and trade pretty well against most Vampiric Cav, and it's going to be Malice Meme Blade. So Malice, a good assassin, and a pretty good little generalist fighter as well. So we'll see what he's going to be doing, and the rest of the army is going to be mostly chaff. All right, guys, on the other side, let's see what they got cooking. Lord Chasberry in chat says one time I'm going to be playing. Oh, yeah, man. We'd love to have you play if you want to get in on these. Crypt Ghouls in the Vanguard, they're very meta right now. Vampire Counts players are typically just mass Vanguard deploying with Crypt Ghouls in almost every matchup just to get the objective capture, and they're also pretty cost effective as well. Cairn Wraiths mixed in with Crypt Horrors, Corpse Carts, all the standard stuff, and Gondola going to be coming in with Heinrich Kemmler, and actually going to be doing a Winds of Death build as well. Which Daniken, I think, is like, if I had to say in the community, Daniken is like a top 3 micro player. Like, I don't know where he would, like, I'd really have to dig into it, but he has some of the best micro in the world when he's on point. It is really, really tough to catch him with anything that's slow. So, yeah, very scary indeed. Catterly, thank you for resubscribing, man. All right, so out of the gates, we are going to be seeing the Dark Elves grabbing Objective 1 and Objective Dose, and we see a bit of an envelop coming in from the Ghouls as well. So the Ghouls thinking about doing a little bit of flanking and spanking right there. Zombies, Cairn Wraiths, Cryptors, Corpse Carts, you know, all the usual suspects getting ready for a big push. It's going to be important for the Vampire Counts to make sure they get a triple cap when they do their big push and try and stuff the Vampires back. A bit of a micro blunder here, potentially. No, Heinrich is a little faster. 74 movement speed against 65. Velociraptor's not as fast as the horses here. So Heinrich is able to get away. And now the Vampires are going to be doing a full court press. I really like the usage of the Cairn Wraiths on the flank. They'll do pretty well against Dread Knights, actually, without the magic damage. But again, Daniken will most likely drop a Flaming Sword of Ruin on those Dread Knights, so he wants to bait these guys in and then get a Flaming Sword of Ruin and just annihilate those guys right there. All right, so we do see Heinrich Kemmler getting poked a little bit. Daniken squeezing every morsel of value he can out of his opponent here, as the big dog Gondola is going to be advancing up, and the frontline zombies getting melted, to be expected by the Corsair handbows, but they are using a fair amount of ammunition. But the cool thing about Corsair handbows, 100 models, pretty good combat stats in melee. You can use them to fight later on once they do run out of ammo as well. And oh, look at that, Flaming Sword of Ruin activated on the Blackheart Corsair handbows. Look at that, 3 of them, and they are melting that Cairn Wraith unit. So basically, a Flaming Sword of Ruin to take down 1 Cairn Wraith. I mean, not terrible. Like, you would use Burning Head and probably not even have as much success there. So that is going to be 1 Cairn Wraith going in the trash can right there, getting nailed by Flaming Sword of Ruin. Daniken always bringing very, very fun playstyles for sure. Ethereal units, Tyler, have been very good for a long time, and we are going to be seeing the big dog Malice with Flaming Sword of Ruin trying to finish off those Cairn Wraiths, and Gondola going to be making an attempt to stabilize them, and he actually does save the unit, so well played to Gondola there. Are they going to stabilize, though? They're at -10 leadership. Elsewhere, the Vampire Count's looking to get a triple cap. Doomfire Warlock's being called out by Daniken Trop. I love it. Doomfire Warlock's a great tech against the meta of ghost units. The fact they do magic damage and hit pretty damn hard with 40 melee attack makes them a very, very natural counter here against the Cairn Wraiths. So 1 Cairn Wraith here going to be getting its bread buttered, and the other one not having a good time either, as now we see Dread Knights coming in. Overall, it looks like Daniken is getting a lot of favored trades here. The Druchii looking very, very cool. All right, so advancing on up are the Cold Wind Dread Knights moving in here. Malice Darkblade trying to fight against Crypt Horrors, and it looks like there's going to be a Winds of Death. But I'm telling you, dude, Daniken, look at the micro. He just dodges that. Yeah, that's very sweaty. So that, like, 20 Winds of Magic there, not going to be paying dividends at all. And, oh, man, this is huge. The fact that Daniken has been able to hold on to his back objective here is freaking massive. So Big Dog was able to hold this one down, and that's going to give him such a leg up. Because normally if he had been triple capped, his opponent would be at, like, 500 points right now or something in that ballpark, right? But the Doomfire Warlock's able to get the job done. Value trading does favor Daniken, but he's still pushed back. And, you know, you can think you're winning against Vampire Counts, and you're like, what the hell? I'm still being pushed back. I can't get through them. They're a pain in the butt of a faction, that is for sure. Burning Head going down on Skeleton Spearmen. It looks like would have been a little bit nicer here on these Cairn Wraiths than these Skeletons. Lesser Doombolt on Zombies, and more Crypt Horrors going to be moving into the Archer line. But there is going to be a critical mass of Vampire units, not Vampire units, but Dark Elf units that are going to be gathering these Dread Knights and these Doomfire Warlocks that will have a lot of sweeping power here. All right, Flaming Sword of Ruin activated on the Blackheart Corsairs as well as the Handbows, so all magic damage and fire damage, which is going to give them a bonus versus the Crypt Horrors as well. The Crypt Horrors getting prison shanked down by the spears with the fire damage, and also the Blackheart Corsairs going to be effective in that fight. Corsairs, though, also do beat Crypt Ghouls head-to-head, so that's a pretty nice little engagement for them. Right here, we do see the Cold Wind Knights and the Doomfire Warlocks clearing out a little bit of chaff. Crypt Horrors diving very deeply and very greedily. And they are getting picked apart by the Corsair Handbows, which are running a little bit low on ammunition. But yeah, this is a good play by Gondola. I like this a lot. Gondola coming in and getting that triple cap. So if he wants a win condition, now he has one. He's got his opponent triple capped, and those victory tickets are going to start really, really going Super Saiyan, super quick right here. That is for sure. Now, Malice could try and put this game on his back with an assassination. Going after Heinrich Kemmler would be a very smart play here from Daniken, and I assume he's going to be doing that. Spears and Corsairs slowly chewing through the Crypt Horrors and the Ghouls here as another zombie unit does come in. It looks like the powder keg on this side is about to break open. Like, this area is about to break. We're going to see these Corsairs win and head over to that objective as well. But finally, Gondola does get the triple cap and is going to be feasting like the heathen kings of old. All right, Felbats chasing down some Corsair handbows, but Corsairs with their 80 armor don't really care about that, and they're going to be able to kite them. Doomfire Warlocks running a little bit of crowd clearing duty, as Golden Dread Knights, you know, they just have good general stats. Golden Dread Knights obviously don't want to be fighting Cryptors typically, especially if they have support, but, you know, they're still a really strong unit, and will fight to the bitter end here. So we'll see how that fight does unfurl. And just like we talked about, you know, Daniken saw the writing on the wall. Not the writing on the wall per se, but the opportunity. And he uses the Demon's Curse to debuff Heinrich Kemmler, chasing him down, and Gondola is going to be scurrying and squealing here, trying to escape that, as Malice Darkblade, a vastly superior fighter to Heinrich Kemmler. But he does get caught up in the Crypt Ghoul. So Smeagol helping the homies out. Beautiful burning head over here, by the way. Able to cook through a bunch of zombies. Also lights the Cryptors on fire, which is cute. And yeah, not bad. You know, freeing up the Dread Knights, getting rid of some of the zombie support units, allowing them to isolate the Cryptors, what's not to love. Now, Daniken is resurgent a little bit, guys. His value lead, you know, coming into play a little bit, but with Vampiric Healing, it's probably a closer game than you would expect. So advancing up are some Corsairs, and we do see another Corsair unit heading over here as a Cold Knight, probably going to be coming to bash these Smeagols. We'll have to see. And I do see a lot of purple moving up now, guys. It is a close, sweaty game, that is for sure. All right, Golden Dread Knights fighting it out. Cryptors getting a really nice invo, so well played to Gondola there. Gondola still has that triple cap, guys. 784 points for the Vampire counts, as a little bit of capture pressure does come on here. Doomfire Warlock's going to start flipping that objective. Corsair Handbow's going to be trying to juke these zombies and make their way up to the front lines. Meanwhile, on the outside, we do see the Dire Pack being called in. Dire Pack is it's a menacing unit. Pretty good in this matchup. I mean, they'll fight well against Doomfire Warlocks well enough. They'd lose, obviously, head-to-head, but they do have anti-large, which is nice. And the battle continues to rage on. Questions from chat? Can we expect some Skaven tonight? Absolutely. I think we'll see at least one Skaven game. I don't know, though. Depends on who's playing. Over here, the assassination attempt continues, and I have to say, I played a handful of games. I tend to run into Daniken in tournaments. I think in my last, 10 games against Daniken, I won maybe one of them, or maybe two. Maybe one or two. But man, oh man, is he a Lord Hunter. He's really, really good at pursuing your characters. If you bring, a squishy Harry Potter character and he has a bruiser, he's coming for you. He's coming for blood. All right, guys, on Objective 2, we do see the Dark Elves fighting here, but the Conix Knight Stalkers and Crypt Ghouls chewing pretty well. Corsairs on the outside. And we do see all three objectives are starting to be threatened now. So the Vampires are probably going to start consolidating their strength. Oh, dude, huge burning head right here. Burning through the witches and slamming through the ditches in their back of the Dracula right here as he cooks those guys, man. Those zombies and those Crypt Ghouls, they got the business nice and good like. All right, Corsairs and Spears on their way up. And it looks like Heinrich Kemmler is going to be getting karate chopped here. This is probably a game-winning play. Getting us around in Heinrich Kemmler, cutting the head off the Vampiric Snake. It's really good. You know, zombies are low leadership, skeletons are low leadership. Heinrich, with one last gasp, summons the dead to try and save his life, but Cold Knights and Malice Darkblade are going to be taking him down. 84 HP. That probably seals the deal, because Daniken has Objective 1. He's winning this fight back here, so this entire Vampiric pocket is going to be crumbling, and it will be crumbling even harder. Meanwhile, over here, we do see this objective flipping, and the outside objective here is flipping as well. Gondola, basically full desperation mode. He's going to be sending everything to the one objective he still kind of has control over, but I don't know how that's going to go. We do see Doomfire Warlocks coming up, 9,400 value against 6,000 here for Daniken, and I don't see too many comeback paths for the Vampire counts. If Heinrich Kemmler had, cackled and gotten away, maybe there's, a comeback opportunity where he hunkers down on Objective 3 with the boys and just blobs, but in this case, I don't know. Objective is very close to flipping, and if it flips that, it's going to be tricky to reclaim. We do see Corsairs coming up. The last Vampires in the back are crumbling down, and it looks like the Druki are going to be getting it done. Daniken, of course, probably the best Dark Elf player in the world. Very, very good at them. The Vampire counts, I think, are one of the strongest factions in the game. A very, very menacing one, but they do have some matchups that they can be beaten in for sure. But this one is definitely over. The Dark Elves do flip the objective, and Doomfire Warlocks will actually do reasonably well against Cryptors in an isolated open field situation. It depends on if they have support or not. All right, Objective 1 is owned by Daniken and is defended by two decent quality units. The middle objective is heavily defended as well with 2 or 3 Corsairs and a Spear unit. And the rest of the army is going to be coming over here. And before you know it, it will be a situation where they will win on just the 2 objectives, right? So Bats diving in onto the Doomfire Warlocks with what appears to be some more Doomfire Warlocks coming in to help them. The Corsairs and Dread Spears coming up to the objective. The Vampires might be able to flip this one back. Could we see a forbidden comeback? I don't think so. I think it's going to be very tricky, but certainly is possible. All right, guys. Malice Darkblade and the Cold Knights heading to that objective to try and secure it, being attacked by the Dire Packs. Certainly annoying. That is going to be a Soul Blight from the Doomfire Warlocks, a nice little AoE debuff. It's not huge, but it does lower armor, which, even the most haggard Vampire units have a little bit of armor. Depends on which unit you're looking at, of course. But I think Smeagol's have like 30 armor base, yeah, so it puts them down to like 0, essentially. No pressure on the outside objectives. Objective 2 not being pressured. Objective 1 not being pressured either. And it looks like Malice Darkblade, man, kind of a bully this game. Very cool to see him in action. He got about 500 value. Not a lot, but he was a threat. It was the implication of his attacks. You know, he was chasing things, making things run. You know, that is something. All right, guys. So it is on. Cold Knights and Corsairs on their way. This objective is owned by the Vampires, but not for long. And the Corsairs are pretty much born and bred to take down zombies. With 80 armor, zombies will barely scratch them, and they have an anti-infantry bonus and hit pretty hard too. So they are really, really good against zombie units. But it looks like they're going to be trying to sprint up to the objective to get the flip. Daniken not wanting to play any games here. Doomfire Warlocks cleaning up the Dire Pack here. Doomfire Warlocks fighting Crypt Ghouls. I'm not sure. Yeah, these guys are active and winded. These guys are fading. So probably the Crypt Ghouls would win in sustained combat just due to their numbers. But the Doomfire Warlocks will hold them at bay for a moment. But that's going to be a triple cap here. And at this point, honestly, probably Gondola should just tap out. I don't think there's going to be too many opportunities here to come back. And Malice Darkblade is just going Super Saiyan, guys. He's got the Bloodstorm and the Reaper of Souls. Oh, yes. Feast on the dead. And yeah, Malice is a very fun character. He's had like weird resurgences in the meta where he's seen some play. But honestly, not bad. GG, well played, guys. That's going to be game 1 going to the former world champion Daniken, showing that he still got it. But will Gondola the Patient be able to come back with some Forbidden Chaos play? We will see. Yeah, Daniken on Dark Elves is pretty OP. It is. I don't think I've ever... No, I beat his Dark Elves once. Actually, I beat them with Skaven once. Yeah, I remember I cheesed his Lord with Flensing Rune and a Sniper, but that was like once out of many games. Yeah. Cool build, man. Corsairs with Flaming Sword of Ruin, good burning heads. Malice was a great assassin. Doomfire Warlocks to counter Ethereal, and a very Corsair heavy build. Honestly, just really, really good play there, man. Really, really good play. All right. Yeah. And the Vampire Count build, probably fine, honestly. I don't know. Maybe Gondola, I think the game could have been a little bit different if Gondola had triple capped him out of the gates. Because remember, he didn't have that triple cap for a long time. The points could have been really, really close to winning the game for the Vampire Counts if he had gotten the triple cap. So maybe that was like the main part of it, right? A turn to Legendary Lord campaigns benefit across. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, playing campaign at a high level, I mean, the campaign mechanics, of course, not as much, but like you're going to be microing a little bit sweatier to win bigger fights. So yeah, the micro will help you for sure. Tavok, thank you for resubscribing, man. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. All right, so we're going to see what game 2 is. It's going to be Ogre Kingdoms for Gondola the Patient, and Daniken is going to be on Hwat. And yeah, Empire versus Ogre Kingdoms. I love it, dude. Yeah. So the players tonight are already queuing ahead their matches. So the matchups are already like decided, so we don't need to wait through the whole pick and ban process. The players arranged these matchups a few hours ago, so not all of them, but for the most part, it should be quicker. No, I mean, like, Isabella's best for Vampire Heroes. No, they don't. No. They don't. GG, well played. He needed the triple cap, I think, real quick, like. All right, so Gondola and Ogres. This is a fun matchup. Usually, basically, the meta Ogres is just like 5,000 Noblars with a couple Leadbelchers. It does change a little bit against Empire. Empire, you can often go for a stuffing strategy, so you can go like mass... You can go mass bulls and just try and triple cap them and then, you know, win that way, but it depends on the map. Leadbelchers are very obnoxious, but Empire Cannons in open field can put a lot of hurt on them too, so we will see. Is there a Pope grudge match tonight? I don't know if there is. I don't think so. I put out a call to arms earlier to see who wanted to play in this this little show match series tonight, and we did not get a message from either of the Popes. Yeah. No Popes in action. Yeah, and the Corsairs are meta in that matchup also because of Scapsgraith. So if your opponent comes in the double White King and you have like low tier Vampire, you know, or low tier Dark Elf infantry, you kind of just lose. You have a really, really bad time. So yeah, Scapsgraith would not have been good against that build. With the big dogs, the Corsairs running all over the field, would have been rough. Okay. So, you know what? These guys are homies. We can take a look at the builds while they're building. I think it's fine. So for the Ogre Kingdoms, it's going to be, oh my god. Is that a quad Gorger build? Jesus Christ. All right, we got 4 Gorgers coming in, guys. 4 of them. Holy shit. With a Fire Belly to burn State Troopers, which is a good idea. I don't hate that. And a Paymaster. So the Paymaster is a nice little force multiplier character, although it looks like he's being brought bare bones, just as like a combat piece with no items. For Daniken Trop, Daniken going for Huntsman makes sense. Huntsman kill Ogres. State Troopers hold, a cannon to shoot lead belchers, Boris to take down big threats and terror out things, and Burning Wizard to take down Nobblers also. And then we got Outriders, Demogryphs. Yeah, it's fairly... The Empire build is more normal. The Quad Gorgers is not normal at all. It is not normal. I'm sorry, Captain Teamwork. I don't know why I would do that to you. Who's all playing? You can see at the top, it's Daniken versus Gondola the Patient. This is our first best of 3. So if Daniken wins this, it's just going to be the end of this series, and then we're going to be moving on to the next one. And that will be the tail of the tape for the night. All right. Let's get it, man. Let's have some fun. Quad Gorger. Who had this one on their bingo card? Certainly not me. Certainly not me. All right. Pretty cool to get through a best of 3 this quick, you know. This is the Blasphemous Snowfield. It's a really cool map. It's one of our newer ones. There's a couple of variants. You have the Nurgle corruption version. This is the one that's corrupted by Nurgle. So each player has kind of a home objective, right? And then you have one contested objective up on the high ground right there. Man, Scrag must be in the pits to not... Yeah, I know. I thought we would see a Scrag build with the 4 Gorgers to get a little bit of a buff for them, but no, it's not the case. All right, guys. So we do have Gorgers and Gorgers. Yes and yes. So the Quad Gorger Vanguard. It's so haggard. Oh, my God. So Gorgers vanguarding here and 2 Gorgers vanguarding here. The rest of the build's going to be Nobblars just for tar pitting. Flingers, honestly not bad against State Troopers. They have loose formation, so they don't really suffer against archers, and they can just pepper down low armored State Troopers. Pigback Riders are very meta, and an Ogre Paymaster as well. And he has nothing to pay the homies with, I don't think. He has no abilities. Yeah, he's just like bare bones as a AP character. I think maybe I like the Tyrant more, but he's really just going cheap, so fair play to him. All right, no, for the Empire Army, it's going to be Huntsman in the Vanguard to pressure the capture points. He's got 2 of those here and 2 of them here. So those guys are really, really good against Ogres. And on the backside, an Empire Cannon to shut down Lead Belchers, State Troopers, Boars, Toddbringer, Burning Head. Toddy Burning Head Caster is one of the most common builds for the Empire in like most matchups, simply because of the synergy. You have Crush the Weak, which is -4 leadership. Blood Roar is -8. And then when you Burning Head something, it's another leadership penalty from the Burnt. And you can really, really get your bread's worth. It's very, very nice. The Nurgle pools look like Forbidden Cinnamon Rolls. You know what? They kind of do look like Forbidden Cinnamon Rolls. Yeah, they do. Kind of cool looking. A little bit creepy. All right, so Objective 3 going to be going to the Empire, but the Gorger Legion is going to be getting Objectives 1 and 2, and I'm very excited to see if these Gorgers can actually do anything. Now, what are Gorgers actually good against in this matchup? Well, they're really good at ambushing Empire Cav. So if Empire has Empire Knights, Reichsguard Knights, Black Rose Knights, which you wouldn't see in this matchup, but those kind of units, Gorgers are very good against because they can usually sneak up on them and get you. But now Daniken going to be re-securing the objective, bringing the big Toddy over here and getting his 2 Huntsmen up on the objective, which is going to be 10 capture weight, and that one is going to be flipping. All right. So Collins for Gondola, probably the first thing to do is get your Burning Headcaster out in the field. You're going to want your Burning Headcaster up and, ready to cook some of these State Troopers if you can. Toddbringer going to be flying overhead, and on the backside it is going to be the Firebelly. So the Firebelly has emerged, and it looks like Daniken is going to be enjoying the second objective with the Huntsman. So the Huntsman setup shot, looking really cool with their floppy hats. Definitely sucks to have to stand on that. Imagine, I would not be down to even stand on that. That is like straight disease spreading, Not fun times. They look like a British dish. There you go. Shots fired. All right. Nobblars are shaken. Eating a little bit of firepower from the basic Huntsman. Obviously not what you want to be shooting at, but you don't always have a choice. And the cannon is going to be unleashing shots back here into the Gorgers, actually, because Toddbringer is providing vision by scouting. So what is Daniken going to be calling into the back? It looks like it's going to be Free Company Militia, which are great. Their pistols can do good damage against Nobblars, and they're also, stalwart enough to fight Nobblars. And, Ogre Bulls are not the most meta till late game, so calling them out early just to support your Spearmen is really, really nice, right? So you have your Spearmen hold, and the Free Company Militia provide pistol support at kind of medium, short range. It's very, very cool. All right, so we do see the cannons nailing into the Gorgers, so Gondola taking a bit of damage here. The Flingers are throwing pebbles at Boris Toddbringer. I mean, 1 HP is 1 HP. $20 is $20 here. But Toddy's scouting is pretty brutal, and Gondola definitely needs to move those Gorgers into the tree line. Having him out there is pretty rough, and it looks like he is going to be going into the trees right there. And so it begins. Huntsman retreating back. We do see the Huntsman here shooting at Nobblar Flingers, which is not a good use of ammo at all. But if you're going to be trying to terror out them just real quick with Toddy, then it makes sense. Daniken's so good with these kind of things. Oh, God. Huge burning head, and it goes through the tree and just cooks up like 3 Nobblar units get Shadow Realmed. Man, oh, man. That was really punishing. I mean, I feel like the Ogres need to pull the trigger. They're getting picked apart really, really bad by this Imperial army. And Toddy's just flying overhead, giving vision. And now it looks like there's going to be a burning head coming down from the Ogres, which is a pretty good one. Oh, yeah, that's a really good one, actually. Granted, it's just like a 300 gold unit, but still was a good enough burning head. And, yep, the Ogres still don't have the other objective yet, so they haven't been able to flip this one back. Right now, Gondola is sitting on a fair amount of supplies, but now it's going to be calling in some Ogre Bulls for capture weight. And the Empire forces are saving up most likely for a Demogryph Knight or something expensive. He's sitting on 1,500 supplies right now, so pretty rough stuff. All right, so the Huntsmen have gathered. State Troopers at the ready, General. Boris Todbringer are going to be flying overhead and looking to maybe get on these Lead Belchers. Lead Belchers are going to be the ideal target for the cannons, obviously. So the cannons have zeroed in. Lead Belchers is going to start eating some Sigmarite lead. And you can see a couple of them do get taken down. And the Pigback Rider is going to be surging over to protect against the Toddy with the Gorgers as well. And now the Imperials are advancing. We see the State Troopers getting ready, the disciplined ranks of the Empire standing firm. Boris Todbringer engaging versus the Firebelly. Firebelly's going to get his butt kicked pretty bad, and he needs some milk. He needs some Gorger help, man. Right now, Gondola, with a little bit of a lapse of micro there, is going to be suffering. But here comes the Gorgers charging into Boris Todbringer, who does use Foe Seeker. But Gorgers hit pretty hard. They might be able to help against the Legendary Lord a little bit, at least allow the Firebelly to escape. But Daniken does really have that playstyle, that slow, steady, kind of like Doom push. He really, really is quite good at it. That's why he's one of the better Cathay players as well. Granted, that Burning Head, very nice. That was a good one. Nice play there from Gondola. Is going to be cooking up the Huntsmen. In the meantime, on the backside, Empire Knights are called forth. Gorgers diving into the Huntsman units. And it looks like the Lead Belchers are almost offline for now. Now on the backside, it looks like the Gorger Legion is going to be advancing to meet the State Troopers in open field. The Burning Head does finish there at the bottom. Pigback Riders and Noblars will trade okay versus Spearmen, but they're going to need a little bit of milk as well. Ogre Bulls being called up, and the Ogres do manage to get a double cap here. But these Gorgers not having the best of time. Run down by the Empire Knights, attacked by Boris Todbringer, and Gorgers have really low melee defense, so them getting hit by Shot Cavalry in general is just pretty devastating. However, though, they are dragging down some of the Empire Knights, and now we got the big Chunguses coming down from the hills with their gut plates ready. Ogre's such a fun faction, and here they come. So they got their big beaten sticks, and the Knights of the Empire, their armor will help them. The 110 armor, but they are pretty heavily overwhelmed, and now it is the time for the Gorger to rise. We'll see if they can do anything here. More Empire Knights intercepting these Gorgers, while Spearmen are also nearby helping, which is going to be a bit of a disaster. So we do see two Gorger units kind of getting thrown into the trash can right here. Elsewhere, are the Ogres going to have success in the front line? This doesn't look good. Gorgers fighting Spearmen. Some of them are creeping around the backside, but immediately Daniken has Outriders out. Outriders are such a good rapid response unit, man. So these Outriders are going to be bullying, absolutely bullying these frickin' Gorgers here. So they set up shop, they're going to be shooting, and yes, the Huntsmen are going to get ripped up a little bit, but that volley fire, oh my god, it's so good. That is so good. Alright, so the Gorgers getting taken to Pound Town. Meanwhile, up on the high ground, the Ogre Kingdoms still manage to have this objective, and they do get a nice burning head on some of the State Troopers right there. Boris Todbringer fighting a big fight, but also a bit of a resurgence here with Saber-Tusk packs coming in to reinforce, Ogre Bulls and the remnants of the Gorgers. And the thing about Gorgers is they fight pretty well, even down to their last couple models, because of the fact they're unbreakable, obviously. So they're going to be generating some good value here. On the backside, Outrider unit has almost melted down this Gorger here. In the meantime, Ogres pushing in the front here with some Pigback Riders and some more Gorgers, really trying to get a triple cap on the Empire. Now, if you guys are Empire players, you must know the importance of maintaining a little bit of a, one objective if you're being pushed by an aggressive faction. If you get triple capped, much like the last game with Vampire Counts, you can absolutely lose. Ogres are an objective bully faction. All right, so despite some of the good fights for the Empire up here, the State Troopers are being ground down. The Empire Knights here are a little bit worn down as well. And Toddy kind of looks like he stands alone as the Imperial forces and the Free Company Militia are dragged down by the Pigback Riders and the Bulls and the Gorgers as well. So could we see a bit of a comeback for Gondola the Patient? We're going to be finding out here, guys, as Boris Todbringer tries his best to salvage his high ground position. But guys, the Ogres are just kind of like that sometimes. Now, what's going to happen is the Empire is going to be pushed back. They're going to consolidate their forces and try and reclaim Objective 3, which they're perhaps on the brink of losing here. And the Empire probably will maintain a value lead and grind back, but will they be able to reclaim the objectives in time? It's really going to be one of those kind of games here, guys. And we do see the Ogre Lord getting shaken and stirred, and Daniken is like a bloodhound when an enemy Lord is low nearby. We see Boris Todbringer coming across, and he is, he's coming for blood, yes. Oh, big Boris Todbringer. And yeah, that's going to be pretty bad for this Paymaster. He's at 1,300 HP. Toddy going to be trying to finish him off to break the Ogre leadership, which would be quite nice. But the Ogres need to really... Oh, man, this is a bit of a mistake here. They needed to finish this capture on this objective, man. If Toddy can stabilize that, and if he doesn't flip this objective, it's going to be a disaster. All right, so the Paymaster at 357 HP. Toddy coming in with 450 weapon strength and Foe Seeker. He does get a nice attack, and down goes the Paymaster. So guys, look around the battlefield right now. You're going to see some wavering Ogre units, wavering Ogre units. Their Lord has been taken down, and this objective still has not been flipped yet. Man, oh man, does Gondola really need to focus on this. It looks like he is going to be trying to cut the other head off the snake here and take down the Firebelly, getting rid of the magic. And is the Empire going to rally back here? Outriders getting some really good volley fire. A couple Huntsmen do stabilize, and the cannon is still going. It's gotten some okay value this game. It looks like the last of the Gorgers are being shot to pieces, but not quick enough. And a really, really nice play here by Gondola, getting those Blood Vultures back here. And shutting down that cannon is going to be huge. And it is a triple cap, guys. We have a very dodgy game on our hands here for old Danny. He's on the ropes. Is he down? Is he out? We will find out. So now the late game sweeper is coming out. It is going to be the, not Royal Outdwarf Gryphites, but just regular Demogryph Knights. Probably my favorite unit on the Empire roster. One of my favorite units. Like, I love using Demogryph Knights in tabletop. When I play tabletop Empire, I always run like 3 groups of 3 and just have them epically charged with like a Grandmaster or something. It's very fun. Granted, you lose most of those games, but it is a good time. One dragon kills them all. Here, Free Company Militia battling Saber-Tusk packs. Free Company will fight okay there with a little bit of fire support. The Empire really needs to focus on getting objectives back. This is going to be down to the wire if the Empire has a chance here at all. Demogryph Knight Halberds are going to be a heavy sweeper unit, though. They will cleave through most of the Empire. And here's the thing, or most of the Ogres. The Ogres are leaderless, and Demogryph Knights and Boris Todbringer is a pretty nasty pocket of strength. They're going to be getting big terror routes and just bunker busting a ton of Ogre positions, but they need to get those objectives back. It does look like Daniken is on the brink of that here. We see a couple Free Company moving. Nice play taking down the cannon from Gondola as the Blood Vultures do come across. Shutting down an Outrider unit, which is not a cheap unit, by the way. It's going to be incredibly nice stuff. All right, Demogryph Knights surging up. Boris Todbringer, epic-looking charge here as the Sigmarites through the Fire and Flames and the Nurgle Corruption, staring at those Lead Belchers on the high ground. Definitely need to shut those down. Do start to reclaim the objective. So objective 1 could go. I think that these demis are going to punish these Ogre Bulls here with Todbringer pretty freaking hard. We see State Troopers at the ready, moving up, but the Blood Vultures here are causing a ton of disruption, and the Blood Vultures getting Massacre. So using the Massacre ability to make these Blood Vultures actually killy, kind of a cool play here, although it looks like it could have maybe hit more units. The Gorgers are back in business. Free Company Militia and their floppy hats of doom, forming ranks and knowing that they need some firepower here, man. This would be pretty wild to see the Gorger build win against like a high-level Empire build. This is pretty impressive, but cool to see it. All right. Back here, guys, this objective still has not flipped yet. He's running out of time. That is 3 victory tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Spearmen coming up. Free Company Militia kind of getting folded by these Blood Vultures and the remnants of the Gorgers. So the Gorgers, they did not hear any bell. Granted, only 300 value, but they are still roadblocking and causing havoc. So Daniken going to be running towards the objective here while these Gorgers are fighting to the last. Spearmen at the ready, and it looks like there is going to be a burning head up here. The reason why he's burning heading a Lead Belcher isn't to damage it really, but just to try and break its leadership, and it looks like he does get the break, he does get the shatter, so it definitely ends up being worth it. All right, so here we go, guys. Spearmen heading towards this point. It is going to get flipped right here, so that's going to be enough capture weight to flip it. Now the Ogres are going to be relocating their pressure back here, knowing it's a bit of an easier fight for them. And the Empire needs to just spam Empire Knights for the rest of the game. Nothing else matters. Just Empire Knights, Demogryph Knights, all that goodness. So then the Empire's going to have to take its assets and go get the Ogres are preparing for a Helm's Deep, ladies and gentlemen. They're gathering the Ogre Bulls and all their trash units on the back objective, knowing that that needs to happen. So what you do if you are Daniken is you send all this shit over here, and you leave one Spearman probably to hold this objective. And then these guys, when they capture it, can join them. But you need to leave something. Ogres are one of the best ninja factions in the game at stealing objectives, so you got to do it. All right, guys, not much time left for old Daniken Trop. Look at that. Dismember activated on the Demogryph Knights, as they are going to be moving in. Capture weight is coming. He still hasn't gotten his home objective yet. He needs to stop the bleeding, man. It's going to buy him a long time when he does get this. All right, so the Demis and Toddy are in. That's a beautiful burning head right there, but these Ogre Bull dual weapons, they stand alone and they stand firm. All right, Empire Knights on their way across, and the State Troopers are now going to be hustling towards this objective right here. Daniken making a pretty big mistake, in my opinion, not sending a Spearman, and he does realize this. Yeah, see, he sends a Spearman. Should have done that a little bit earlier. It might come back to bite him here. We are going to be seeing how it goes. Barricades up, down to the last Ogre, yes. So the Ogre Kingdoms making their stand, and the Sigmarites, though, have a lot of pressure, man. Demogryph Knights, Spearmen coming. But, dude, look at the trolling here with the Blood Vultures and the Noblars back there. Yeah, they're causing some havoc. Leaving one unit here is good. You need to unsummon that guy if you can. Knights and Spearmen are here. Ogre Bulls, though, there's a lot of them, and Ogres have a lot of capture weight, guys. They're 5 apiece, and they have like 50 or 48 movement speed, something crazy like that. Toddbringer is going to be able to get some terror routes. Oh, the Paymaster is back. A really, really nice play, actually. That's going to stabilize the leadership. So the big Pay Dog is back. It's his brother, you know. Oh, I never noticed he's got a Nobblar back there, like counting the coins. I love that. All right, so Big Man's going to be heading in to help out against Toddy. He's like, it's like, that's one of my favorite tropes in general. In like all of like media, like reinforcement, you know, like moments in like when like a hero comes over the hill or like allies show up to save you at the last second. That's like my favorite trope ever. And we're getting a little bit of that right now. But guys, the capture weight does favor the Empire. And look, it's flipping. Is Daniken going to be closing this one out? Toddbringer is terror routing a lot. And oh my god, it looks like Daniken might be able to get this with 20 seconds left. It's going to be so freaking close. Oh my god. And he has 15 seconds. And it looks like Daniken is going to be stabilizing the objective. Now the question is, can he hold it? Because if any of these freaking objectives flip for even a second, the Ogres will win the game. All right, so Daniken, the pride of Ukraine, getting it done as these spearmen stand at the ready, attacking in. A big terror route's going to be coming in on these bulls here in a moment, most likely. And I think he's going to be able to hold it. Boris Toddbringer is just a stronger kind of support piece. Those are going to be pigback riders. It's going to feel like a long time for Daniken, but I think he is going to get it. It's all Ogre now, it is. This is a great game. See, this is why Empire is like one of the coolest factions. Like their games are just always knockdown, drag out. You get like epic comebacks at the last moment. It's so good. It's so good. All right, so Boris Toddbringer going to be taking down ye old Paymaster most likely. There's so many spearmen here, by the way. It's like 5,000 spearmen units. Those guys are not going to hear any bell whatsoever. The Ogres don't really have anything to steal back here, and more Empire Cav are going to be coming up. Yeah, Gondola almost took this to game 3 against a world champion level player, man. I mean, Gondola is a beast of a player. Definitely much better than I am. But yeah, Daniken is very, very hard to bring down. GG, well played, guys. Daniken with the 2-0 win. But guys, shout out to our boy Gondola for putting up an amazing fight, making some close games for us. And I always do love a Sigmar victory, though. Like an epic Empire rally at the 4th quarter. The reinforcements coming to fight and get that last point. It's what it's all about. Toddy did good, Burning Head, Cannon 1800 value, pretty expected performances. The Nevergriff Knight also was a beast. It did very good. And for the Paymaster, he kind of got bullied, and the Gorgers got wrecked, but he almost made it work, man. I mean, there's something about those Gorgers, you know? All right, GG, well played. So now we're going to be setting up our next match. So give me one moment. We're going to get this going. And let's find out who it's going to be. Should be ready now. All right, all right. And thank you guys for joining. We're going to be having a bunch of best of 3s tonight. And we have, this one is next, I think. Yes. Perfection. No, that was the game we just did. So the next lobby, we're going to be probably doing 5, I would say. Yeah. 5 best of 3s. Maybe 6. I might play in one if we can't get anybody there. We'll see. We will see. Okay, and then we have Attack Speed Enjoyer versus Maximilian. It's going to be fun. All right. GG, Daniken, and Gondola. Just saying GG to the homies. Great games indeed. And now let's go ahead and get ready for the next one. And we got Bretonnia versus Wood Elves on Itza out of the gates, actually. Yeah, if the Ogre Lord had lived, he might have won the game. That's true. Absolutely. I mean, little things can make all the difference. Absolutely. All right, so now we have Attack Speed Enjoyer versus Maximillionaire. So it's going to be Bretonnia Wood Elves in game 1. So kind of interesting. Wood Elves are his best faction, and he's bringing them out right away. And it's going to be a Bretonnia Knights Errant build. On Itza, it's a small map, so it gets going real quick. It gets going real quick and nasty-like. Fat burning heads. Yes, yes. Alrighty, so the battle soon to be on once the players load in here. After this, okay. I will get you in. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's break it down. Spawning in. Now we need to get this updated. Yes, I am a fool of a chook. We need the all-important scoreboard. 0-0, and this one is going to be who's player 1? Attack speed. Attack speed. We'll just put attack speed here. That should fit better. Let's go ahead and downscale his name a little bit. There we are. High level graphic design skills. And then on the other side, it's going to be max. We'll just put max. A little bit easier. All right. So it's going to be max versus attack speed enjoyer, guys. Thank you for joining once again. And again, if you guys want more sweaty best of 3, make sure to drop a like. It helps out quite a bit. And let's cast the armies. All right, so taking a look at the Wood Elf army here, guys. It is going to be a Glade Lord on a dragon. The dreaded double Forest Dragon build. It's kind of old school. You know, back in Warhammer 2, the Wood Elves used to get dominated really badly by Bretonnia on land, simply because, you know, back then they didn't have Wild Hunters of Kurnus with anti-large. There was a couple other things they lacked. So you often used to see really cheesy, like, double dragon builds with, like, Hawk Riders and just, like, these weird styles of play. But the dragons with the breath attacks can be really devastating, and 2 dragons can beat Lewin, too. So there is that. Eternal Guard, Dryads, and 1 Elite Archer unit. Probably going to be maneuvering, I would say, down here, getting Objective 3 and then pushing out, having a very elite value trading build here. Now, the Bretonnians are going for an Unholy Zerg. We do have, oh my god, King Lewin on a Pegasus. That is an interesting choice. So Lewin is going to be on his Pegasus rather than on his big beast. 4 Knights Errant, and the rest of the army is going to be Men-at-Arms, Peasant Archers, Grail Reliques, a very wide Bretonnian army, and that's probably the reason why he went Cheap Lewin. And Cheap Lewin is still a good fighter. He's a little bit squishier, but he regenerates, he hits hard enough, and bring back the Durthu tree meta, I know. Anticity wants the Forbidden Tree meta. Alright, so these guys have gathered. The Knights Errant could do some free charges. I think he's worried about there being archers in ambush. Understandably so. King Lewin going to be scurrying about. Dragons are just looking for breath attacks on Peasant Archers. It's exactly what's going to be happening. And here comes 1, so that's going to be a bit of a cooking right there. So he brews it up and takes down some HP. That's a good breath. I mean, routing an archer instantly, what's not to love? All right, so this objective is going to be contested. The Knights Errant playing a very dangerous game coming around here. Do we have Prey of Anathrema? We do. So one of these cav units probably going to get slammed by Prey of Anathrema and have a very, very bad time here. We will see how that all unfurls. Attack Speed Enjoyer getting his... Oh, shit, I had it backwards. Maximillionaire is on the Wood Elves. Okay, I had it totally backwards, guys. All right, well... Anyways, we now know Attack Speed Enjoyer is Bretonnia and Maximillionaire on Wood Elves. I'm just so used to seeing Attack Speed Enjoyer on Wood Elves. It's weird, you know, seeing him not on them. So the Bretonnians getting their Unholy Zerg. We do see a call-in of a Spellsinger to heal up the dragons, but the Bretonnia Knights kind of getting Shrek there a little bit, losing 8 models on this unit, and these guys are going to be losing 5 models, as the Haggard Peasants are now in range. And yeah, tar-pitting Elves with just like cheap, crappy archers is not terrible, especially when you have a lot of Peasant Archers, and it looks like there's going to be 3 of them. And he's coming for like a full envelop. He's like taking a really circuitous route around the back of his opponent's army. Lewin charging in, fighting the Glade Lord, getting a little bit of damage there, and honestly, not a bad tar pit. But that's going to be a breath attack coming in from the Forest Dragon there. He's thrown up, and he does manage to drag down a couple Knights, but this is not a good engagement at all for the Hardwood. Maximillionaire getting his Glade Lord surrounded, punished by Walmart King Lewin, as well as some Knights Errant, but this is going to be a game changer. The Knights of the Lionhearted coming in, that is going to be brutal. So there they go. Anti-large attacks going to be poking and stroking. And yeah, that is going to be buttering some old bread up. Peasant Archers, though, have a beautiful concave, by the way. There are 3 of them. I don't know why they're not firing right now. That's going to be a Flock of Doom, most likely, being cast on what appears to be the Hawkeyes of Drakira back here. This is a scary one for the Wood Elves, man. They do get their Eternal Guard back here to help out a little bit. Lewin doing some cycle charging, and the Knights of the Lionhearted are dragging these bad boys down. So that is not bad at all. But the Zoats are coming, and the Zoat Goats might be able to get in. Spellsinger needs to get here a little bit quicker. I think it's on foot. Oof, I think his caster's on foot. Yeah, that's why it's taking so long to float over there. That's really painful. He could have used that heal 45 minutes ago. But, like, here's the thing. Bretonnia is committed to taking down these characters. But if he stays too long, he could get punished, and it looks like that's what's going to happen right now. Attack Speed Enjoyers, Lewin is trapped. There's Zoats here now. The Glade Lord with Prey of Anathrema as well, so you could trap down Lewin, try and circle beat him. And it looks like the Knights of the Lionhearted are going to be retreating, and we do see it. So Prey of Anathrema on Lewin, the 2 dragons and the Zoats going to be trying to take him to Pound Town, and we're going to find out if they can. They may be able to do it. All right, guys. King Lewin is shaken and stirred. He's not having the best of times. The Bretonnians trying to wrestle this objective and having a pretty cost-effective trade. Having 3 Peasant Archers shoot into like an elite Waywatcher is pretty damn good. And Bretonnia does have the objective advantage right now. Oh, look at this! Attack Speed Enjoyer intercepting the Spellsinger with the Knights. That's really good. Keeping it from getting up to that fight is massive. Now, Lewin does escape that fight, and it looks like there are going to be some Men-at-Arms and Mounted Yeomen coming in to support a little bit, but with the Zoats, it's going to be hard. I think, honestly, you abandon this fight. Like, screw this. He sent in Knights of the Lionhearted, which are going to the dogs as well. Cute little breath attack there. Does get some Knights of the Realm. Not bad at all. But this fight seems like a bit of a disaster for Bretonnia, although it might be hard to get away at this point, and it's hard to say. But yes, that Lifecaster is still trapped, and we do see the Peasant Archers zeroing in and dragging down some of the lightly armored Wood Elf units. Attack Speed Enjoyer is up on value and does have the objective advantage. That is something to consider. If the status quo on value trading is like even, but you know, one player obviously is going to have more objectives, that person's going to have a pretty big advantage here. The Bretonnians and their Yeomen still fighting a hard fight. Knights of the Realm piling in to fight some of the Zoats, but the Zoats do have Draconic support as well as the Eternal Guard with their Prison Shanks here, so the Eternal Guards are going to be able to put in some work, and they're going to poke down some dudes where they can. Now, what is the comeback play here for the Wood Elves? Basically, I think they just get so much healing value on their dragons, and they just kind of outvalue you at the late game with the healed up dragons. Maybe that's going to be the case. The good thing about the Wood Elves, though, is they have been able to hold on to the objective here. Their Eternal Guard, their Dryads, they have been able to hold that point, which is pretty big. If Bretonnia had triple capped them, could have been dangerous. On the backside, though, Knights Errant do surround the Wild Hunters of Kurnus. Really disastrous fight. I don't know how they got surrounded. It looks like they just kind of took a frontal fight and then got flanked. But the Wild Hunters of Kurnus here getting surrounded by a couple crappy tier cav units supported by a Grell Relic and what appears to be some Men-at-Arms here, I think, piling in. Or Battle Pilgrims? Men-at-Arms. Yeah, very, very cost-effective there. But it looks like another Breath Attack is going to be activated, so there it goes. Nice. Cooking up those Knights Errant, but also roasting some of the Wild Hunters, who are going to be getting a regrowth. But that dragon did have some friendly fire on its breath. Bretonnia, though, not hearing any bell whatsoever. Lewin going to be duking it out with the other dragon here, and even though he is on his Pegasus, he does miss out on the armor piercing. The dragon is actually tired, so tired monsters do lose armor, and Lewin will probably be able to pull that out. I think his stats are just a lot better. The dragon's at 3640, Lewin is at 6550 on stats, and does hit a little bit harder as well, granted lacking armor piercing. But yeah, Lewin is on the Pegasus is a very elusive target, a small target, hard to snipe with Way Watchers. Grell Relic keeping the fight going. Bretonnia definitely starting to pull ahead here as Attack Speed Enjoyer doing it for the lady. And the double dragons are starting to falter a little bit. If we look around, there's not a lot of hard wood on the front line. Definitely faltering. And the Grell Relic is a great steroid for all the Haggard units, right? Like, Peasant Mobs suddenly become, like, decent when they get the Icon of Devotion. Putting them up to 17 melee attack on, like, a crappy Peasant, that's not, like, a horrific stat line for a 100 gold unit, Really becomes quite good. Yeoman intercepting the Wild Hunters of Kurnus. Looks like a Prey of Anathema activated somewhere on God knows what. On the Grell Knights. Nice. Now they're going to be getting charged by Stag Knights here. Now, this is a nice play. A really, really good comeback attempt by Max. Getting a Stag Knight. He knows he's behind, and he needs to make a big play here. So he drops a Prey of Anathema on the Grail Knights, and Breath attacks them as well. Very, very cool stuff. Meanwhile, up in the sky, King Lewin and the Dragon duking it out. Sword of Crone activated, but Lewin's going to be dipping out right here. Grail Knights trying their best. Archers shooting into the Stag Knights is the correct play. They only have 60 armor, so going after them is quite good. But man, oh man, the Wood Elves are going to be feeling really, really squeezed for time here soon, guys. With Grell Relics and King Lewin still being around and just a metric shit ton of Haggard Peasants, it is going to be very, very tough. All right, so the Great Stag Knight's getting a regrowth, but there's a lot of Bretonians nearby, an Unholy Zerg, and Grail Knights are a very stalwart unit. They're going to hold it, and it looks like Max is going to be tapping out. Victory for the Bretonians. He had it triple capped. The Stag Knights were broken. One dragon was breaking right there. That game was over. The Bretonnia had that one in the bag. All right, guys. GG well played in game one. For the lady, Attack Speed Enjoyer going up to a 1-0 lead in this best of 3 series. Now, I suspect Max maybe going to be pulling out Vampire Counts. Now, in the true spirit of like a competitive series, the players do have a global ban as well. So you can, if your opponent is a one-trick player, they're only good at one faction, or they're really, really good at one faction and still good at the other ones, you can ban their one faction. So I suspect like Wood Elves got banned for attack speed, and Max probably got his Vampire Counts banned. So that's why you're not going to be seeing them on those factions most likely. All right, so Maximilianaire on High Elves, and we don't know High Elves, Wood Elves. Wow, he did not ban attack speeds Wood Elves. Okay, so we're going to be seeing Wood Elves versus High Elves here on the Blasphemous Snowfield, which I could have sworn I gave them different maps, but it's not a big deal. It's fine. All right. And here we go. This is going to be game dose between these players. If Attack Speed wins this, the series will be over, and we'll be going on to the next one. But again, thank you guys for joining today. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of a change of pace with some sweaty best of threes. It's different than SFTs, but to be fair, you are getting more rapid fire action here. So it's going to be Way Watchers versus Shadow Warriors and Shadow Walkers with an Archmage of Light with nets. That's interesting. So we have like an archery duel. Obviously, these are two players who do gravitate towards Elvish factions. So yeah, you're gonna be seeing some Elves here. Apparently, Anticity, I think, is playing some Skaven today as well. Let me check. So the next series is going to be Anticity versus Alexander Nuts. And then we have Mr. Hill versus someone. And then Gotrek Starbreaker will play either Hobo Honker. So yeah, we got like 5 or 6 of these signed up today, which is going to be good. I remember quite a while back, Kislev was the top 5 faction. They're really good, yeah. Kislev was really oppressive. When their Patriarch character used to have an item that gave constant AoE healing. So that was what made Kislev, Anticity, the true chat of the people. Skaven and Nurgle. It doesn't get any better than that, dude. Hell yeah, man. True hero. So Yeah, Kislev was really oppressive when they had that, though, because they had constant free healing, even out of combat. You pick some more niche matchups. Awesome, man. Love to hear it. Yeah, Nurgle, man. Let's get it. All right. So the Blasphemous Snowfield is going to be here. I'll make sure they do different maps to the next series. They should have different ones. I gave everyone different maps. I don't know why they're playing this one. Shadow Warriors, Shadow Walkers. Yeah, pretty good against light armor. And 180 range, 190 on the Way Watchers. But here's the thing. If the Way Watchers get netted, you know, they can get focus fired by these Elvish archers. So Maximilianaire going to be coming in with Ship's Company and Spearman. An Archmage of Light, who does have Net of Amantok and Shem's Burning Gaze, which I do like. And on the other side, guys, it's a Way Watcher build with double Waystalker. So he's got one Waystalker here, one Waystalker here. No Arrows of Karnish, just going to be using them for a consistent poke. And on the back, it is going to be a Spellweaver of Shadows, which is really good against Elves. Hey, Eric Warner, thank you for the stream. I like to think of Chuck Norris and Wookiee chilling together. Yeah, that's probably something in that vein, man. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that, man. Yes, Wookiee is his mighty steed. I can imagine that. Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate it, man. All right, so it begins. We got Shadow Warriors hanging out. Archmage of Light with the Armor of the Stars is kind of cool. You can go invisible and try and net something down and then snipe it. I don't hate it. Yeah, so on the subject of Kislev, somebody was talking about that. Kislev is still a really good faction. They're definitely just very balanced now. Like, they have their glaring weaknesses, but they have some big strengths too. Kislev is a good, fair, high-skill faction. Good cav micros have very heavily rewarded. You guys get the idea. So some of the Glade Riders for attack speed enjoyer do immediately eat an arrow volley from the Shadow Warriors, and we do see the Waystalker here. Maybe you net him down and snipe him, I'm not sure. The Wood Elf Way Watchers are creeping up, so there's going to be a bit of an archery duel here. Let's see who gets the upper hand. Attack speed enjoyer, again, probably one of the best Wood Elf players in the world, but eating a big volley right there on his Glade Riders, and then also the Waystalker getting punched a little bit. Now, unfortunately for attack speed, he shot into the trees, so the Shadow Warriors actually don't take much damage at all. This is very sketchy, though, right? Like, a lot of, like, back and forth and, like, archer fire. Everything is kind of glass cannon. It's, this is a stressful one for both players, honestly. All right, so the Elves are going to be, well, they're both Elves, but the Wood Elves are going to be getting all three objectives. It looks like the High Elves are a little bit more nervous. Granted, they do take down one Glade Rider here, and we do see the Archmage moving up. Got to be very careful here. This Archmage could get punched in the wiener so freaking hard. And it looks like Maximilianaire is paying attention. He dodges those arrow volleys, and yeah, he's playing a dangerous game here, though. Honestly, I think a net of Amantok right here would be freaking huge. You net down that Way Watcher, and then you come and snipe it with your three archers. That is not bad at all. But I think he's going to play it a little bit more careful. We'll see. So Armor of the Stars is still up, and looking at call-ins for both players, it is going to be some Wardens of Sithril. So elite anti-large dudes being called out. Interesting. Whereas Silver Helms and more Spearmen are being called out for the High Elves, the champions of the donut. So where's the net? There's got to be a net. Oh, you got to dodge that. He dodges the volley, and here comes the punishment. So now the Way Watchers are going to get it. This is exactly what needed to happen, and he is doing it. So he should be able to really annihilate this Way Watcher unit. Oh, yeah, dude. That's a clean play right there. A couple Glade Riders thinking about diving through there, but that is one way. That's like a 1,000 gold unit. Like a net and a 1,000 gold unit is just gone, you know? And there they go. So really, really nice pick by Maximilianaire. And that is one Way Watcher in the trash can. So far, a little bit of an advantage for the High Elves in terms of the value trading. Granted, the Archmage here is quite beat up, and the Shadow Warriors also a little bit smashed up. But I think if you're the High Elf player, you just kind of sit back and play very conservatively until your nets come off cooldown. Then you move up and pick something off again and, you know, live your best life. That seems like a very, very good play indeed. All right, Ship's Company moving up, Spearman as well, and the Archmage of Light with the Armor of the Stars, stock and unspottable here. Creep in, waiting for another net. Should be coming off cooldown here relatively soon. The Way Watchers do shoot into the Archmage, and Max does get hit pretty bad. Loses about 800 HP right there. That is no joke. All right, so where's the net of Amantok? Is it coming? In the woods, we do see the Waystalker chilling there. That's very annoying, having like a hero character hiding in the trees. Hard to pick off. You could just charge it with Silver Helms, honestly, and try and surround it, but we'll see how it all plays out. Okay, Dryads moving up. Way Watchers creep in for another volley, so they do get on the high ground here. This is like the most Elvish game ever. Granted, they did just shoot into Silver Shield, so 55% of their damage is going to be mitigated by that, which is quite good. Silver Helms are cruising up to put some pressure on. Elves of all kinds have always hated heavy cav, especially Wood Elves, although with the Wild Hunters of Kurns and Stag Knights, they don't hate it as much. All right, Pit of Shades on Spearman. I can't help but think that's a waste of Winds of Magic for attack speed enjoyer. I mean, yes, you do punish the Spearman unit, but I think saving it later for like Silver Helms or other like more elite units is going to be better. Like Amelkoth's, you know, maybe just like casting Amelkoth on one of the Shadow units would have been a better use of Winds of Magic. But I mean, it does punish that Spearman unit, but is that really worth it? I don't think so. All right, so retreating back are the Way Watchers, and it looks like the Elves of the highest nature are going to be grabbing Objective 1 right here. And we do see the Walmart Legolas in the trees eating a big arrow volley. Meanwhile, the Ship's Company and the Spearmen, I don't think any Silverins, by the way, this is think low-tier units, going to be grabbing that point. In the back, we got Silver Helms, and it is going to be an Archmage of Fire. So Burning Head Caster is out. And the cool thing about High Elves is, because of these items they have, the Starwood Staff and the Book of Hoeth, you can actually bring multiple mages and cast a lot of magic, because the Starwood Staff, every time you use it, is going to be giving you, a handful of Winds of Magic back. It's pretty damn good. You can get, I think 7 or 8 Winds of Magic, something like that, every cast you do. And you have 3 charges of it. So you can definitely cast a lot more magic than other factions, and you can also unsummon that character, and it comes back when you resummon it with that same stave. So Lost Sylvan Knights creeping around. Looks like the Wood Elves are thinking about getting a little bit crunk nasty themselves. Burning Head there. Oh, that was the Wardens of Sithril. Not bad at all, guys. Not bad at all. Cooking an expensive Elven unit. That was good. I didn't realize that that was that unit. I thought it was an Eternal Guard, but that is where the Wardens of Sithril went, which I can't help but feel is a mistake sending them up unsupported like that, but we will see. So, Way Watchers in the trees. This objective taken by the High Elves. The Archmage looking a little bit low with Armor of the Stars. Just kind of eyeing down those Lost Sylvan Knights. Oh, does Max not see this? Did he forget about this? The Sylvan Knights waiting in the bushes? It looks like they're going to be coming out for an ambush right now, and they might be able to get a little something. We're going to see what happens. Okay, so this objective still being held by the High Elves. The Dryads are coming in Eternal Guard, and also some Great Stag Knights, so there's going to be a lot of pressure coming in. Meanwhile, in the high ground, more Silver Helms are called out. And the Great Stag Knights ambush out of the trees. I think Max forgot about them, and he might be losing a couple units here as the Ghostly Cab of Christmas Past do move in. Granted, there's a lot of chaff infantry who can also help tarp it, especially these spearmen, and I think he is going to get away with those Silver Helms and take minimal casualties. All right, bit of an archer duel here. He does net down the Way Watchers, but unfortunately for him, he nets them in the trees, so they're going to be kind of chilling here. And they do have support, Great Stag Knights and Glade Riders moving up, and we are going to have a cavalry clash in the woods. So there goes the Duel of Fates. All right, so the battle is on, guys. Way Watchers here going to be getting it. And not taking much damage because of the trees. So that net didn't work out super well. I mean, he takes a little bit of pickle tickling, but really not too bad there. That is for sure. All right, so the High Elves are still holding on to just one objective. The Great Stag Knight's doing a little bit of cycle charging against mass chaff, which I think is not a bad idea. Using the Legolas characters to snipe down the Mage of Fire, also not terrible, so that Mage of Fire is getting it a little bit. In the meantime, the Archmage of Light going to be scurrying away, trying not to get Way Watchered, but all it takes is just one more big volley and that character is done for. Shadow Warrior shooting into the trees, and that is what I'm talking about. That Pit of Shades there was much better. Dropping the Pit of Shades on top of the Silver Helms is a chef's kiss for sure. All right, folks. Cycle charging from the Lost Sylvan Knights. Very sweaty micro from Attack Speed Enjoyer. Trying to close out the series, by the way. If Attack Speed Enjoyer wins this, he just wins. It's a 2-0. So pretty close games. It just goes to show any given Sunday, great players can be 2-0. Sylvan Knights charging into the Glade Riders, and the Glade Riders will lose that, but they do have reinforcements coming in, more Glade Riders. Eternal Guard nearby as well. And, the Shadow Warrior line, what's interesting about all these archers is they have good combat stats too, and good capture weight. So in the late game, they could advance up and help you triple cap your opponent. Walmart Legolas is back, and he returns. He is going to eat a little bit of a volley fire. It looks like Attack Speed Enjoyer are going to be trying to get Legolas into the trees here. Maybe the Eagle character will go after it. But the Archmage getting popped in the face here. 19 leadership, 700, very low. A couple Silver Helms breaking through the lines of those Glade Riders here and trying to chase down the Way Watchers. Not a bad idea, but man, Max has got to be careful. Honestly, at this point, go hide this character on the edge of the map. There's no sense in having that character here anymore. But it looks like the Archmage is going to get broken. There's been a lot of sniping, right? Like Way Watchers and Way Stalkers. I mean, a lot of nasty stuff who is able to poke there. This is a cool map, though. I like how the trees are relevant here. A little bit of terrain kind of playing into the map. I think it's quite fun. Pit of Shades on Shadow Warriors and Shadow Walkers, getting a little bit of a 2-for-1 right there, so not bad. I think that is a respectable cast for sure. And the Wood Elves, though, still do have that pin on objectives 3 and 2. Maximilian are struggling to get out of his box here. He has been trading well with his Shadow Walkers and Shadow Warriors, but he is playing one of the King of the Woods. I mean, Attack Speed Enjoyer probably is incredibly practiced in this matchup, playing his main faction. Max, I don't know how practiced he is in this matchup. He's still playing very well. It's a very close game. All right, Lost Sylvan Knight, cycle charging Spearmen. Normally that would be silly, but these Spearmen were not braced, so the charge could actually do some decent damage. Silver Helm's called out, and they will get wrecked by the Sylvan Knights, but with Spear support, it could be a bit of a different story. So Lance is couched for the big donut for the Phoenix King, and here comes the ghosts of Christmas future. All right, Silver Helm's getting mulched pretty badly. It looks like a Burning Head is going to go in, but unfortunately, Burning Head won't do an obscene amount of damage against the Lost Sylvan Knights. Still not irrelevant, but they have a low model count, so the Burning Head is better against higher model count units, but Yeah, Sylvan Knight's grinding, going to be taking a Silver Helm down, which is really huge. I mean, they just basically took a 900 gold unit out of action there. So talk about chef's kiss, right? Up here, the High Elves are running out of gas. You know, their Lord being taken down, the Wood Elf Cav really, really pouring in here in the late game, and the Shadow Walkers and Shadow Warriors, I don't think have enough milk to get it done. So I think we're going to be seeing Attack Speed Enjoyer close out the series 2-0. Victory for him. GG, well played. Really fun match. Like, normally I'm not a huge fan of Elf games, just to be completely honest with you guys, but that was fun. Like, the sniping, the nets. I think Max needed some more of those dank snipes. Like, if he had gotten, like, 1 or 2 more really good net snipes like that, I think he could have won, but yeah, close match. And the Legolas characters are really good for progressive damage over the course of the game. Obviously, Way Watcher's doing well, and pretty okay little value spread on those guys. GG, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. So that is going to be a 2-0 victory for Attack Speed Enjoyer against Maximillionaire. Revenge, I'm sure, will be Max's eventually, but today it belongs to Attack Speed Enjoyer. All right, let's get our next match going, guys. Thank you so much to you guys for playing. And now we have another sweaty series we're going to be getting into. It is going to be the big dog, Anticity. 3-time world champion, by the way, playing against Alexander Big Nuts, the king of the coast, baby. Oh, look at this. Skaven versus Vampire Coast. They're doing us proud here today. It's going to be fun. All right, let's fix the scores up. 0-0, and this is going to be, let me find this. That is going to be Anticity. And then on the other side, it's going to be Alexander. All right. So 2 great players. You know, 2 of the best Vampire Coast players in the world here, actually, which is very fun. Although Ent doesn't play them too much anymore. Excited to see what he's cooking up on Skaven. Yes. Okay, Deathmaster to take down Celestra is kind of a cheeky tech. Just like take her out of action real quick early on. I'm hoping that your next tournament is sponsored by Fiber Supplement Company. No, I think the last person who reached out to sponsor was like, was it like War Thunder or like World of Tanks or one of those games? Yeah, those are usually the ones we get around here. Yeah. Great game, man. Really, really good match. Let me say GG to those guys. To, who do we have? Maximillionaire and Attack Speed Enjoyer. All right. So it begins. Anticity here saying something to me in chat. Thank you. Just sending me the lobby code. All right, so let's break down the armies. Anticity, you know he can't leave home without hounds. Home Dog has 2 Wolf Rats with poison and Deathmaster Snickage, who does not do magic damage, but still can take down ghostly characters because he does have the scaling damage, which is pretty nasty. Where's that in the tooltip? I don't even know if it's here, but basically he does more health based on the missing health of a unit, so he can do some cool shit. Now, 2 Wolf Rats for the capture. The rest of the army is going to be Natty Bubos and Doom Flayers, which are really, really good at just tanking zombies and clearing through Vampire Coast gun lines and things like that. And then in the woods, we have an Eshin Sorcerer with the Black Whirlwind, which has 100% AP, mind you, and Skitter Leap. Oh my god, this is so fun. So he's got 2 Wolf Rats. Holy shit, I think he's going to Skitter Leap these Wolf Rats. He's going to make them invisible, I think. Oh my god. That's going to be so fun. So Alexander, though, not bringing anything off meta. He wants to win this game. So he's got Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs, Bombers to clear out Clan Rats, Guns in the back. This is like about as meta of a Vampire Coast army as you can get. With Celestra, who's obviously going to have Tide Call, Crab Summon, and Ghost of the Past to shut down the gun pieces. All right, guys. So, yeah, this is what's cooking. It is a big old stack moving forward of zombies. And Anticity is going to have his hands full dealing with that. Now, he is probably going to get a triple cap against Alexander Big Nuts, although, no, he's waiting. He's keeping the Wolf Rats in the wings. He's not popping out. He wants to ambush something. Oh, I don't hate that. I don't hate that. All right. So Wolf Rats into the trees. Deathmaster Snickage going to be creeping around the outside. Celestra looking a little bit vulnerable there. Deathmaster might be able to sneak in and get some anime kills. We'll have to see if he can do it. But yeah, the Vampire Coast is 21 models deep, including Celestra. So basically 20 regular units. But this is a pretty meta Coast army. It's very... This army is incredibly brutal against low leadership because not only do all your units cause fear, but the bomber mobs and the handguns, it's just like overlapping fields of fire, man. It is rough. It is very, very rough. All right, in the back, we get a Morngul being called in. 2 Wolf Rats for Anticity waiting, and they obviously want to jump on some gun units. The Skaven calling in Plague Claw Catapults, which is really smart. Plague Claw Catapults are excellent at bombarding these type of infantry units. you can't really dodge with like a zombie. They only have like 23 movement speed, so yeah, it's going to be a bad time. Now, it looks like the flayers are going to be heading to the back point. I like this because they can easily farm that gunnery mob right there and then keep Alexander, off the objective. Call into the woods. It's going to be Scurvy Dogs. Oh, we got the Scurvy Dogs versus the Wolf Rats in the woods. Deathmaster using concealment bombs. He's doing his weeb ambush in the woods. So there he goes. He's doing the Naruto run. And he gets in with the Wolf Rats, and Alexander Bignuts could lose these hounds pretty quickly if he's not careful. Is he going to use the Whirl of Weeping Blades? Anticity immediately retreating here, but getting slapped by a Tide Call, which is going to be slowing down some of these Wolf Rat units on their escape. But it looks like he does escape for the most part, and the Doom players... Oh, look at this! Anticity pops out of the woods. He ambushes the gunnery mobs with the Wolf Rats and with the Eshin Sorcerer. And oh my god, he's going to use the Black Whirlwind on those guns right there. He's going to do it. Oh my god. So the guns are now shooting into the flayers. Skaven do have a triple cap. Play Claw catapults are in the mix with Globadiers on their way out. Skaven are really fun to play this way. This is one of the most fun ways to play Skaven. These like hit and run ambush styles. It's very, very fun. And something that's quite unique to domination mode for sure. All right, so Morgul's are chasing, and Deathmaster is going to be attacking into them. And he'll do fine, although the anti-infantry bonus of the Morgul's could hurt. Slippery activated, putting him at 74 melee defense. And it looks like the Natty Bubo sharpshooters are now going to be unleashing. In the meantime, catapult shooting and a mutant rat ogre being called out as well. So Ent retreating back into the woods, being a sneaky, sneaky rat, which I love. And he has gotten back here. We do see bombers and handgun mobs coming out. He's probably going to drop the whirlwind ability onto that zombie pirate gunnery mob and try and do an alpha strike. We're going to have to see. But the catapults are now raining. One of the meta builds you will often see from Catapult or from Skaven against Coast is sometimes you can see the 2 or 3 Plague Claw catapults, but Celosser is really good at diving them, so it can get sketchy. All right, Morgul's back here trying to catch those Wolf Rats, and the Natty Bubo sharpshooters shooting into the Halberd zombies and getting some okay damage. Probably Anticity's going to want to move back, which he does as soon as I says it. Man's got some instincts, that's for sure. And there's going to be a call into the Damn Knights Errant, which are going to try and penetrate in and shut down the artillery piece here. We're going to see if he gets away with it. In the meantime, the Alpha Strike is coming. Morgul's called out to try and deal with this big flank here, but the Doom players and the Rats are coming in, and there is going to be the Whirlwind. Oh, the Skaven Vortex. So the Eshin Sorcerer are going to be dropping the Whirlwind there. Super, super cool. And yeah, that is going to be really good. That's going to wreck several units. And look at the Scurvy Dogs getting chewed up. Man, Ent is really, really trying to pull them apart right now. But I'm telling you, this matchup, I think it's actually kind of hard for Skaven. So we're going to see if Anticity's uber sweaty micro and tactics are going to be enough. Wolf Rats pulling back, getting value where they can. And the Damn Knights Errant are now going to find their way on top of the Plague Claw Catapult crew. They have 18 seconds left. We'll see how that goes. On the outside here, the Morgul's getting ambushed by a Mutant Rat Ogre, Wolf Rats, and Wolf Rats. So, even though Morgul's counter Wolf Rats, enough of them can get the job done. And Deathmaster himself hits very hard. And a Mutant Rat Ogre is going to be more than enough to take those guys to Pound Town. So Ent is going to be triple capped right here, guys. But he does have all of the objectives. Chief Bear Officer and Fun Hater, thank you guys for subscribing, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. Globadiers retreating, and the Knights Errant are trying to shut down that Plague Claw Catapult, but Anticity's being an absolute goblin with those things. I don't know how they haven't died yet. I guess he just keeps running them and trying to mess with the AI of the attacking unit. Very, very clever stuff. But yeah, he's farming a lot of this Coast Army, and if this freaking Catapult comes back online, even after being attacked by the Knights Errant, that is going to be so devastating for Alexander Bignuts. He does call it a Warp Lightning Cannon in the back and is targeting Celosser, trying to cut the head off the snake. And oh my god, the Plague Claw Catapult is going to survive. So basically, Alexander used that for nothing. He is not going to be getting any goodies out of that. And now the Jezzails are shooting into Celosser, who is weak because do they not do magic damage? I always feel like Jezzails should do magic damage, but even still, they're blasting. A Crab Summon is here. And yeah, Anticity is going to be very far ahead here in a minute if Alexander's not careful. But Alexander could still win on points. He's got him triple capped. We will see. All right, so retreating back at the Globadiers. Warp Lightning Cannon's getting pretty close to taking down Celosser with a little bit of Jezzail fire. The zombies are moving forward, and Deathmaster Snickich and the Mutant Rat Ogres are basically just clearing out the trash units here. Deathmaster does have his AoE ability, the Whirl of Weeping Blades, which is actually really good at clearing out trash. So that is something he does well. Warp Lightning Cannons almost got Celostra to about half health here. Not too crazy, but oh, Rattling Gunners. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Rattling Gunners all day, baby. So they're going to be unleashing, and it does look like Celostra is going to be paying the iron price. Globadiers advancing on up, guys. Mutant Rat Ogres waiting in the wings. And, yeah, I mean, Alexander does have him pinned in pretty good and is struggling to claim some of these objectives here. I mean, he's got a lot. And these are just Wolf Rats and a couple Doom players. They will not be able to get through Morgul's. So Ent is going to have to figure out the objective situation soon, because even though he's value trading very well, I mean, he is not on any of the points. And Alexander's build is designed to just tar pit the objectives and push you back into your spawn with like a million units. It's tough for Skaven, it really is. A couple Wolf Rats coming out, definitely could shut down those handgun mobs. Alexander, though, positioned them reasonably well and expected that, so he is going to get those. Slostra is going to get taken down, but even if she does, she'll just be resummoned. The Mutant Rat Ogre getting in, and the Fat Lady is about to sing, guys. It is about to sing. Mutant Rat Ogre getting friendly fired by some of his clanmates. You gotta love it. And Slostra Direfin is going to get taken to Pound Town. All right, so she's gone. The Fat Lady has sunk. And the zombie leadership is going to be much more fickle now. But Ent needs to get ground quick, man. I mean, it might only seem like 600 points right now, but it goes quick. Deathmaster clearing out a lot of chaff units. We're going to be seeing undead crumbling all over the battlefield, more or less. The Doom players outmaneuvering the Morngulls here and then crashing down on some of the extended gun units. Very, very clean stuff. Wolf Rats for zombies. Fear, obviously, a problem. But machine guns solve most problems. The zombies here are getting absolutely mowed down by both Globadiers and Rattling Gunners. I would love to see the Teethbreakers move up with the Globadiers and a bit of a slow push here in the late game. I think that's going to be very fun. But the Skaven need to get an objective back very quickly, and Alexander Bignuts is able to get his guns online and take down the Mutant Rat Ogre, or at least break it temporarily. So that's a really nice pick by Alexander. And Alexander is doing a great job keeping his calm under pressure here. That's for sure. You know, staying on the objectives, not panicking, not, you know, just fighting his fight, playing his game plan, and not messing around. All right. So what do we got here? We got Deathmaster Snickage. Oh, he did an anime move, guys. There he goes. There he goes. So the anime attacks coming in. Those guys are starting to crumble down. But Alexander moving more capture weight on, knowing the Skaven are kind of struggling with that a little bit. Bombard still on the way. And now becomes the resurgent Skaven. They're going to be pushing up with a lot of stopping power because the coast has been pretty methodically picked apart. But they still have the objective. So what's going to happen is the Vampire Coast is going to reinforce the middle for as long as they can and then fall back and try and win on their back point. That's essentially what's going to be happening. Jezzail is taking down bomber mobs right here, and it looks like the Skaven Death Star that was all the way across the map came over here with the Doom players and the Wolf Rats, and they are going to cut apart these coast zombies, and now Ent is going to get back on the board with some points. Meanwhile, the Vampire Coast is just chilling. They got Depth Guard coming up. Those are going to be hard to kill. Celostra is back with another summon and then a Ghost of the Past. So that will be very tough for Skaven to deal with as well. But Rattling Gunners and Jezzail's unsummoned. Warp Lightning Cannon going to be shooting at whatever the hell it can. And yeah, now Ent has got to find these objectives, man. He does not have a lot of time. It's going to be much quicker than you would expect. So zombies get taken down. He's going to move up with these mobility pieces. Wolf Rats with Poison here, probably worthy of an unsummon. I don't know what kind of magic he has. Warp Lightning Cannon shooting into the Morngulls would be the right idea, but there's going to be, oh, look at that. The Eshin sorcery spell, yeah, the Black Vortex. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but it's still cool. Sounds a message. And there's a Plague Claw Catapult back online, which is going to be melting. And the Morngulls will get wrecked pretty quick by Rattling Gunners, that's for sure. But he really does not have a lot of time, guys. He really doesn't. He's got to get up there. His opponent's about to hit 1,000 points. And as it currently stands, I mean, Alexander can win on just one objective. So that is sketchy. I know you might think he has plenty of time, but it goes quick. It goes really quick, especially with like Depth Guard and Undead units in general are just so annoying on objectives, man. All right, Rattling Gunners mowing these guys down. Anticity going for a split push, which is smart because he has to play all three objectives. And he's got the value lead to do it. So we see Clan Rats, Clan Rats, Clan Rats. This is the correct play. Rather than just going all in on the middle, you kind of partition your forces here. Value trade, go for the back objective, and then get them all at once. It's going to be hard to pull off, but if anybody can do it, it's going to be him. And he does bait the freaking Knights Errant again. So the Knights Errant actually not going to be that useful here, most likely. Probably send to the Wolf Rats kind of body block for your Doom players, but those Doom players still online. Skaven Rattling Gunners are mowing down zombies. I mean, machine guns versus like blunderbuss is pretty cool. And the Rattling Gunners have gotten 400 value, but they're going to get a lot more before they're done. Eshin Sorcerers creeping up, a lot of capture weight coming in the back, and there's going to be some Wolf Rats with poison. They will maybe have an opportunity to get the back point. Alexander Nuts is going to be spread very thin. But now his opponent does have Alexander's got 1131. Anticity only has 500 points right here. The damn Knights Errant going to be disappearing in a little while. They still have quite some time left, unfortunately, for Ent. And the Rattling Gunners moving up where they can. And it looks like the Clan Rats are going to be surging towards this objective. I think when the Morngulls come back here, you realize you don't have anything to deal with this. And Eshin Triad would be very good here if he has Eshin Triads at the wings to try and fight those guys. All right, so handguns getting good volley fire. Alexander Nuts holding on pretty well here. In the meantime, the Doom players are taking a shit ton of armor-piercing damage from these Knights Errant, which have 100% AP because they're a ghost unit. So that's a huge win for Alexander Bignuts. Huge win. Getting down those Doom players, which would have been very devastating here, is good. And look at this. He's planning. He's planning. You know, with Vampire Coast, you're kind of like Nurgle in that way, where you have to plan ahead. But Home Dog's got a lot of dickhand mobs coming. That is 20... Oh my god, that's 25 capture weight coming in. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Jesus. 25 zombie capture weight coming in, guys. I don't know if Ent's going to be able to break that up. Now, he is getting in the middle. This objective is in the process of flipping. We do see Slaughter summoning another unit of Rotting Prometheans to shut down the machine guns there. Yeah, and Skaven are getting the capture weight here, but man, that is 25 unholy capture weight coming in. It looks like he's going to be sending 15 of it here. Oh, he missed micros! This could let Anticity come back. He forgot to give a move order to these ones. Okay, that could be a game changer for the Kraken King, guys. Because it could come down to this, honestly. It really, really could. All right, so the middle objective is going to be flipped. That one is going, and now Ent is going to have to find a way to get the back objective here. What is he going to be sending up? It looks like he's got catapults, warp lightning cannons, mutant rat ogres going to be coming over trying to help. Teethbreakers running away from the Prometheans who are going to be disappearing in 12 seconds anyways, and he does get the objective, so now he's got a little bit of time. But, yeah. No, Deckhand mobs do not have 2 capture weight, Lucas. That is wrong. Vampire Coast, their zombies, their Deckhand mobs have 5 capture weight. It used to be 2, but it got buffed a long time ago because it just... I mean, yes, Vampire Count zombies should not have it, but Coast, it's like their core infantry unit. So if they didn't have 5 capture weight, they would just get wrecked pretty much all the time. They do have 5. All right, so Clan Rat's coming back here. I think Ent might be out of time, though. Is he out of touch and out of time? Hollow Note's all up in here. He's holding the middle, you know, like he's slowly clearing out the Vampire Coast here. But it's not going to be easy, man. It's not going to be easy. That is so much capture weight. Oh my god, he needs like a one of those campaign spells. Yeah, like the big magic cataclysm spells to win this freaking game. Mutant Rat Ogre going to be hustling over this way. And in the meantime, Clan Rats, they are lurking. They are lurking. But I think this game's over. I think Anticity has been defeated by the Vampire Coast. Alexander Nuts, again, is one of the probably top 2 Vampire Coast players. I don't know if him and Scrambled Egg Special and Anticity are probably the best Coast players in the world. I don't know how I would order them right now. But yeah, you need the Ikit Claw nuke to deal with this shit. Because there's no way Ant wins. It's game over. This is just too much. He took too long to pressure the points. I mean, the Rattling Gunners are going to get there. He will have one last chance at it. Solastra is just kind of distracting him over here. And the Depth Guard are getting taken down. But Ent is going to need to get back there. Just the way that Alexander played is very meta for Vampire Coast. It's really hard to beat. Especially if you're like, you have good decision making like Alexander Big Nuts. All right, Teethbreaker's on the way in. Wolf Rat's creeping. Clan Rat's creeping over there as well. And yeah, he's got, what, 80 seconds? So he's got 1 minute and 20 seconds left. It's a freaking tall order, man. It's a tall freaking order. But he's coming for blood. I mean, he's moving with everything. Slostra is actually heading to the back objective with some Morngulls. And Alexander are going to be putting a little bit of pressure on the back point as a contingency plan, which is kind of cute. Granted, I think coming back here with the Terror would be good. And yeah, Mutant Radigar's getting in. Wolf Rat's creeping. And the machine gun's doing quite a bit of damage, but maybe going to be tar pitted by these Scurvy Dogs. We will have to see. I just don't think there's any way. There's just too much capture weight back here, guys. And Alexander actually has a little bit of momentum here, too. Deathmaster and the Eshin Sorcerer should be able to hold this. Yeah, they should be able to. And everything else, I guess, just goes over here. But that's so much capture weight. Doom players cutting down some zombies. Clan Rats here. None of the Clan Rats have spears either, so they're going to have a pretty horrific time versus the Morngulls. Morngulls are so good against Skaven. They used to be even more OP back in the day. I believe there were some nerfs to Morngulls. I can't remember what it was when they first came out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Alexander Big Nuts with the upset in Game 1, taking down Anticity. Now, Alexander, before the series, was saying that he's going to get 2-0'd by Anticity, so a little bit of a morale booster for him. He didn't think he had a chance, but it's just showing that his Vampire Coast is very polished. He has a game plan. He sticks to it. And honestly, I do think Vampire Coast is favored against Skaven. I do think that they have a good matchup there. So, GG, well played, guys. That is Game 1 going to the Big Nuts. So let's go ahead and adjust the score here. Let's do this, and that is going to be Game 1 for Alexander. All right, so yeah, Slosher was annoying as usual, but honestly, she wasn't that impactful. It was really just the width of the army, the girth, and the Morngulls were the hard carries. Yeah, Ent's build was really fun, though. I love that style. It's very sweaty, but it's hard. It's hard to pull off. Catapult didn't do bad. Warp Lightning Cannon got some okay value. Nothing too crazy. GG, well played, guys. So now we're going to be on Game 1, and let's do this. Okay, so I need to do this. Torsen. Yes. We need to do the map, so I'm just organizing this. We will do Ever Chosen, Stucci Castle, and then I'm giving maps to the other matches and Norskin Rise. Norskin Rise. Okay, and then for the next game, we can do Hobo Honkers versus Gotrek Starbreaker, I think was the person who was ready. Yeah. Let me just do this. Okay. After round 4, then Wildfire will find you one to close it out. Okay. Great. All right, all right. No, Bill, don't do it, man. It's dangerous. Okay. Mr. Hill, you play Torsen. Gotrek and Hobo. Let me go ahead and get some more maps for these guys so we can do the... Jade Tomb is going to be fine. Jade Tomb. Imperial Road. And then we can do a rock lair. Okay, great. So just coordinating some other matchups. We have Nurgle versus Warriors of Chaos, guys. Now, Nurgle can actually go fisticuffs with Walk pretty good. You have some tools. You can actually do SE cheese, especially on this map, on Pit of Treasures. All the objectives are like touching tips. So we could absolutely see some single entity cheese here, 100%. The bingo card, oh god, no, don't do it, it's a trap. Oh, Trolls, interesting. So Bile Troll build, but oh, he's facing Kolek as well as the Slaughter Guard, the ROR chosen with halberds. Oh, dude, that's so sick. That's so fun. That's so friggin' fun. All right, let's do it. GLHF, guys. GLHF. Welcome to game 2 in this best of 3. Anticity currently down, but not out. And taking a look at the Nurgle army, it's going to be Marauders and Forsaken. Bile Trolls being the real backbone of the army, and Bile Trolls are really a good grinding units. They can definitely beat down Marauders, Chaos Warriors, Chaos Knights. You know, they hold well, especially with infantry support. Now, we do have a Nurgle Deathcaster. The Deathcaster for Nurgle going to be rocking only Spirit Leech to try and win against Kolek, I guess. And the Noxbringer is really good against Skirmishers. So if Warriors of Chaos come in with like 4 Marauder Horsemen, it will help you win the skirmish fight. Granted, there's not really anything for them to shoot at. So we'll see if it pays off. Now, if I were just looking at the 2 armies and I were to guess who is going to win, and I didn't know who the players were, I would assume that the Chaos army would be favored because Kolek is such a hard counter against like other big lords, and also will fight the trolls well. He'll beat down the Noxbringer, and he has a Nurgle caster too. We got Aspiring Champions and Marauders, and the Slaughter Guard are going to be in the back, and they will most likely come up eventually once the Noxbringer has been mitigated. But again, it is Anticity, and we don't know what else is going to be in reserve. We do not know what the big man is cooking with, guys. We don't know what the Rock is cooking today. Spirit Leech on Kolek is smart. Just, get the process going. Start investing in those stocks, wear them down, and do it to it. The Noxbringer, in the meantime, probably going to rip long-distance shots on the Slaughter Guard. It looks like a couple of Hellstriders going to be coming up, actually the anti-large version, to try and catch this. And Anticity with a very rare micro-blunder lets his Noxbringer get caught in combat. So he's going to be taking this fight here. Rot or die. Maybe it was a bait. Maybe he was doing that on purpose. We'll see how it plays out. Noxbringer taking a lot of HP damage. The Chaos Lord with Rot or Die and Father of Blades is activated. And we do see the Hellstriders getting heavily debuffed. Kolek dropping Lord of the Storm. Not really going to do a whole lot there because there was no real units to hit. And yeah, we do have a monster mash going down. Bile Trolls, Hellstriders, Kolek, Suneater laying a bit of a hammer time down in this Nurgle army. But the Bile Trolls will start to add up, man. The longer you leave those guys in the mix, it's going to be ugly. But that Chaos Lord is getting boinked on the head by Kolek, who has 1,000 weapon strength right now. God damn. 1,000, he hits that Chaos Lord, and he's doing a shit ton of damage. So it looks like both players are just kind of committing. They are just committing and getting it done. So Kolek now going after some of the trolls, but Anticity calling in his beloved mobility. Marauder Horsemen throwing axes are really going to change the paradigm of this fight because Kolek is going to start eating a ton of AP axes. And it looks like Alexander Bignut's going to be calling out some Marauder Horsemen as well and getting a good pick on the Noxbringer. So pretty even little fight here. Marauder's going to get the outside objective, and now the Slaughter Guard are going to get in the mix. And as long as Kolek doesn't die here, he can be healed. Same with the Nurgle character, but it looks like the Nurgle character is diving deep into the lines there to try and break it. Where Hellstriders are on the outside. Alexander are going to be trying to charge. Point blank shot from the Noxbringer's a miss. Oh no. But yeah, here comes the Slaughter Guard. Will they be able to change the way this fight goes? Hellstriders engaging versus Marauder Horsemen. The Horsemen might be able to win simply because of their advanced health compared to the beat-up Hellstriders. Chaos Lord getting back. Noxbringer going to be escaping as well. And Kolek is back in business. He gets a Fleshy Abundance. And the Slaughter Guard are going to slaughter all these infantry. These elite Khorne Halberds, man, are going to just annihilate these trolls in combat. And they'll be really good against everything else, too. There's not too many answers this Nurgle army has for them, aside from the Noxbringer and maybe some Spirit Leeches. But even Spirit Leech is terrible, actually, because they're Mark of Khorne. So they got the spell resist. Kolek's got to be careful not to be greedy. The win con for Alexander Bignuts here is just to sit on top of his halberds. And yeah, now you can turn and fight. Click the Chaos Lord. Man, Kolek gets smashed in the back there. Takes a shit ton of damage. But the Slaughter Guard are the mix, guys. Looks like Rot or Die is activated, and maybe some other Harry Potter is going to be coming in here in a second. But look at this. The Chaos Sorcerer a bit surrounded. Kolek is dropping the hammer. Slaughter Guard are nearby, and they are going to be chewing through all of these Nurgle units if the Warriors of Chaos, or if Nurgle isn't careful. Chaos Spawn being called in by Alexander Nuts. Honestly, not terrible, but guys, Anticity really, really good with his Marauder Horsemen. He's got 3 of them, peppering up Kolek Sun Eater. Kolek just taking the absolute punishment right now. That is 3 Throwing Axe units just fully unimpeded, punishing Kolek. This is why you bring Hell Cannons in this matchup. The Hell Cannon is a huge advantage you have over Nurgle. You can basically shut down their horsemen with it. But Kolek is broken. The Chaos Lord endures. He's trying to ascend to Demonhood, so give him a break here. But the Halberd's not doing bad, and also some spawn coming in. If Kolek rallies here, guys, and gets another heal, honestly, Alexander Bignuts could still win this game. But if Kolek gets routed and broken, probably going to be GG. We'll have to see how it completely grows. So Chaos Spawn and Slaughter Guard fight in the big fight, and it looks like a Spirit Leech there, and Curse of the Slug. Kolek is really close to going down. The Mountain God is not going to be long for this earth, and I think Big Dog Kolek Sun Eater is down for the count. So Anticity getting the Lord kill, and the Slaughter Guard are wavering and terrified. With the Lord breaking, obviously a lot of leadership shenanigans are going to be in play, but neither army is in great shape. I mean, these guys are both super, super raggedy guys. Super raggedy here, but the Slaughter Guard will rally. They're going to come back in a second. They're wavering, sitting at 8 leadership, but once that leadership does sustain here, they might be able to get it done. We do see the Noxbringer at 4 leadership and the Chaos Lord on Death's Bed. I mean, this game is still kind of close. Sorcerer running away of Nurgle. Looks like Marauder Horseman going to be chasing down that Chaos Sorcerer right there. Kolek just did a front flip, dude. He's like Gabriel Angelos in Dawn of War 3. Slaughter Guard have got to have a shit ton of value here, right? I mean, they've been fighting big stuff in the pits for a while. Yeah, 2,000 value Slaughter Guard, man. Annihilating the Forsaken, cutting through all the trolls. Really, really love to see Elite Infantry shining, man. It's very, very fun. But Ent is out for blood. He knows he's down to the series, and he's going to be trying to get the win here. He is going to be trying his best. All right, that was like John Madden commentary. Like, oh, you know, to win the football game, you got to put the ball in the end zone. Well, yeah, no shit. Of course he's trying to win. But yes, Noxbringer, it does get fecundity, but Demonic Disintegration is really brutal, and he stabilizes the Noxbringer. Pretty massive, guys. Pretty freaking massive. The Chaos Spawn, though, going kind of Giga Chad. Look at this. The Chaos Spawn have that Lord surrounded, and Anticity's Lord actually breaks and runs. Oh my god, is Alexander Bignuts going to be able to grind this one out with his Slaughter Guard? Maybe. Couple Marauder Horsemen are in with throwing axes. We do see the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle battling versus the enemy Sorcerer, it looks like. So yeah, they got 2 Nurgle Sorcerers, seeing who's the biggest and the baddest. Armored Chaos Trolls are on their way out for Alexander Nuts. That's going to be a problematic unit to deal with, although Bile Trolls are a bit of a counter to them if you can get the head-to-head fights. Slaughter Guard didn't hear no bell whatsoever. 2,000 value on them, guys. Anticity does rally his Chaos Lord in the back, guys, so the Chaos Lord does come back. He's sitting at 8,600 as Alexander Nuts is at 81. Both sides have healing, but honestly, the Chaos side might have more healing. Those Fleshy Abundances on Kolek were pretty good earlier. But Noxbringer shooting into Hellstriders. Hellstriders going to come out and try and control the mobility game. Chaos Spawn and Slaughter Guard finally breaking. Slaughter Guard getting 2,400 value before they go out into the good night. Armored Chaos Trolls with some Horseman support, kiting back these Bile Trolls here. Maybe going to have an opportunity to contest this point. We're going to have to see how this goes. This is a really knockdown, drag-out game. One thing also I didn't really take into account is that the Bile Trolls are healing, obviously. So there's a lot more healing on the Nurgle roster than I originally commented on. They have, I think, 2 or 3 Bile Trolls in their build, so that is a ton of healing. I mean, there are some troll action. There is some troll action for Alexander Nuts, but it looks like Nurgle's attrition, their poison, their passive healing is starting to kind of carry away. And this is so disastrous, by the way, for frickin' Big Nuts. The Chaos Lord is down. The Noxbringer, or the Chaos Lord is alive, the Noxbringer's alive. Like, so many of the Nurgle single entities he invested in are still alive, and they're going to be able to punish. Beautiful Noxbringer shot, by the way, hitting those Marauder Horsemen. And yeah, it does look like Nurgle is getting the momentum, guys. Their single entity surviving is tough. It's very, very tough. All right, moving on in. Bile Trolls, Marauders, and some Bile Trolls here. We see the Marauder Horseman getting routed back here. Another beautiful... Oh, I love that combo. So using Curse of the Slug and then shooting him with the Noxbringer is like a chef's kiss play, man. It's very, very nice. All right. I think that's probably GG. And Anticity getting it done for Big Daddy Nurgle. And we got a 1-1 series on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. I love that game, though. Kolek, you know, if he had rallied, I think Alexander wins that game. If Kolek didn't get Spirit Leeched, got a Fleshy, rallied, I think Alexander wins that. It was really close. And Kolek actually got 1,700 value despite a hard time. The Chaos Sword only got 1,000, but... yeah, Anticity's Marauder Horseman play is what won him that game. Those Marauder Horsemen came in and cleaned house. I mean, 1,100, 1,200, 1,300. Very, very clean. Slaughter Guard almost carried the game, guys, but it wasn't enough. And aside from that, you know, they tried their best. GG, well played. So now we got game 3 here. All right. And after this match, let me see who's next on the docket. We have Mr. Hill, one of our great players. He is going to be playing against... who's he playing? Torsen from RTK, another strong player. And then we're going to have Gotrek Starbreaker, one of the best dwarf players out there, playing against Hobo Hunkers. And then we might have one more after that. Maybe 2 more. We'll see. Wildfire's playing, and I can step in and play him if need be as well. Coming down to game 3, man. What's it going to be? Oh, Grand Cathay versus Demons of Chaos. Interesting on Crystal Lake. All right. You guys ready for a good time, man? Fasten your seatbelts. Get ready to party, baby. Let's do it to it. The Nurgle Lord is breathing so hard he is. Yeah, it was a little bit of a dodgy experience for him. It was. So how you guys been, man? Planning on starting a new campaign recording. I think I'm going to start the recording tonight. Man, I'm really torn. The Southern Realms campaigns look really fun. Although, I have a question for you guys. So I'm sure some of you folks have played modded campaigns before. The Southern Realms mod pack isn't updated for the most recent patch. Is that going to be a problem for my campaign? Like, am I going to run into bugs? And is it going to mess up the file? Are they, like... I'm nervous about starting it since the mod isn't updated for this current edition to the game. But, yeah, do let me know. Do let me know. Lore match on a lore match. Yeah, it's going to be good. Grand Cathay, probably Anticity is going to do his Flying Circus. You're painting some Kriegers for 4th edition. Nice. Yeah, Deathcore of Kree is fun. Yeah. The paint schemes for them, a lot of grays. Gray is an easy color to work with, in my experience, too, for painting. I've been painting up mostly Trench Crusade stuff. Me and the homie started a new campaign. My Red Brigade got a victory last night, but I lost horribly with my Heretic, or my Knights of Avarice list. I got 2 armies in the campaign. Southern Realms is a lot of fun. The mod should be okay, but save often. Okay. Are you using it in the mod manager? Yes, I'm using it in the mod manager. Southern Realms should work as far as you know. Okay. Like 80% of my mods haven't been updated for 5 versions and they still work fine. Okay, got it. So I can start it. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think would be more fun? I'm really torn between 2 campaigns. So, in Southern Realms, the one I'm looking at is there's El Cadavo. He's like a dirty fighter mercenary captain, and you start in the New World colonies in Lustria. And he's more about like, dirty fighting in the jungles, that type of stuff. Or there's the East End Trade Company where you start in Grand Cathay with the inventor character. Yeah, the Leonardo da Vinci character. So, yeah. Please give us Trench Crusade battle reports. I thought about asking my friend to see. He had some camera equipment, so I'm going to see maybe we can cook something up. Well, regular special, just know that Anticity doesn't play Cathay normally. He plays them hypermobile with like crane gunners and cannons deep set with like mass horsemen, crowmen, all sorts of stuff like that. Blind Woozy, thank you. Painting Trench Crusade minis. Hey, I'm happy to hear that, Eric. Yeah, I got your wife interested in playing. It's a really fun game. Honestly, it's great. And you guys would want to run a campaign together. That's the best part because you get character progression. You get to like grow your war bands over time. It's a really good easing you into the game as well. If you have any questions about Trench Crusade campaigns, hit me up in Discord. I can answer them for you. East End for sure. Jungle. Yeah, it sounds like you guys are kind of torn on it. The East End Trading Company is more focused on like artillery and like inventions, whereas El Cadavo is more focused on like the mercenaries and like that sort of side of Southern Realms. You did all the Southern Astalia Lords. Cathay Lord is okay, but kind of boring being isolated with no allies. Okay. Yeah, so this is like an Anticity style. Basically, Plague of Rust Longmas with Moonbird and a Celestial General Goon Squad. He just like plays the objectives of his horseman and then uses mass mobility. He doesn't want to lose right now. Yeah, El Cadavo is interesting because he starts in like an absolute hellscape, Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The Lustrian Southern Seas might be cool, and you have allies. Yeah, I don't mind about the allies thing. You know, playing isolated is kind of fun. The dog saying, the Bannerlord Warhammer Dwarf Greenskin update is in a few people's hands. Yeah, when it's fully released, I'm going to do a playthrough of both of them. I'll do a Dwarf playthrough, and I'll do I'll probably record it, honestly. Yeah, do like a recorded, edited playthrough. You know, artillery is my favorite thing in this game, dog. You know, it's my favorite. I love artillery. All right, guys. El Cadavo and Marco Colombo use mixed Chilean Estalian adventure roster. Yeah, they do. Any tips or house rules you suggest for running a Trench Crusade campaign? Labadamir, hit me up in Discord. Yeah, message me in Discord. I'll answer your questions tonight. But no, you don't need any house rules. If you're beginners especially, you don't need that. Just, yeah. I'll answer your questions, though. It's very, very straightforward and very easy. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third and final, the rubber match between these two high-level players. We have a three-time world champion Anticity facing off against Alexander Bignuts, a perpetual top 16 Chad, and he is here, Anticity, with his beloved mobility build. So he basically uses the Moonbird and the General to fly around the map and try and pick you off, and they both do magic damage, which is very good. Anticity loves final transmutation baiting. He loves it. He loves to just get you baited in and drop a fat payload on your face. And then Longma Riders are quite good at taking down light armor, so like each of these Longmas can be used to, you know, wreck a Nurgling or dive on one of the demonic cab units. It's very, very nasty indeed. So for Alexander Bignuts, we got Nurglings and Mass trying to get the objectives. And we do have what appears to be the Blue Scribes. Oh no, the Blue Scribes. And then Red Olgor, the Prince of Slaughter. I mean, yeah, this guy's a good anti-large fighter that does heal himself, but dude, Anticity is going to probably be able to outmaneuver that guy. All right. Bloodletters are very good against Cathay Infantry. The Hellforged Bellower is also a good choice. This gives Alexander Bignuts a little bit of skirmish to punish Anticity's mobility. But as expected, Anticity has already killed a Nurgling. And yeah, he picks off one Nurgling here with his mobility. And over here, he's thinking about going for another one. Is he going to miss micro here? Anticity might let his horseman get caught. Looks like at the last second he does realize it, but the Fleshhound's able to get it done. Calling in, though, are Onyx Crowmen. So Crowmen plus horseman plus another horseman. And yeah, Ent is just value farming right now, guys. He is value farming super hard. He's basically just maneuvering and picking off every lone asset before he really starts to take the main engagements, which is very, very smart. So the Fleshhounds of Khorne and the Nurglings getting put in the trash can, and here comes the Cathay Air Circus. It's a fun way to play them, honestly. I'm very curious to see what Cathay is going to be like once we get their update. That's going to be fun. But yes, down goes those guys. That objective is going to be flipping to the Peasant Horsemen. And here comes the biggest of Chads, Red Olgor. Oh, Curse Blades and Deathbringer. But yeah, Anticity's just going to kite him right now. Oh, look at that. The bombardment coming in from the big artillery, the Hellforged Bellowers, getting a nice shot there. Whereas Red Olgor, he blew his payload a little bit early. But is he going to take the fight? You better watch out. He's running from the Longma Riders, and now Anticity is going to be taking the engagement. Deathbringer activated. I think Alexander Nuts blew his load a little bit early. Should have waited on that one, but we'll see what he does. All right, so the Red Olgor is going to be taking the fight, and he gets Apotheosis from the friggin' Blue Scribes. That's so funny. And honestly, Red Olgor is not doing bad. He's face-tanking that army, man. Bloodletters are securing the objectives, and now we get Fiends of Slaanesh coming in, which will probably get swarmed by these units. The Great Moonbird plus the Longmas and the Crowmen will probably kill them. Chad Olgor, though, taking his fight up in the sky, and he's not hearing any bell. I mean, despite fighting a big 3v1, he is losing it, but he's putting some damage in. I think Alexander's going to need some magic and or something up in the sky to help. Fiends fighting on the ground, and Red Olgor should just land on the ground right now. That would be the play. Nice shot coming in from Hellforged Bellowers. Nailing some of those guys. Oh my god, he rolls Regrowth! On the Blue Scribes, he rolls Regrowth for Red Olgor. Oh shit! So Red Olgor's still fighting. The Regrowth is going to keep the man going, but look how quickly those Fiends of Slaanesh got wrecked. My goodness, that is brutal. And by the way, guys, Anticity still hasn't used his final transmutation yet. He has not. So Red Olgor going super Giga Chad up in the sky, having gotten about 600 value, but going to be landing on the ground. But now, oh my god, the Flying Circus is coming for blood, guys. It is coming for blood. Bloodletters on their way over. Anticity just feasting on Red Olgor's soul. Red Olgor almost healing cap, by the way. And what does Alexander Bignuts have in terms of magic? We're going to see. We are going to see. Bloodletters and the Hellforged Bellowers trying to fight where they can. Red Olgor at 17 leadership being fully surrounded and beaten on by two very powerful monster characters, the Celestial General and the Great Moonbird. The Blue Scribes getting caught in the sky. They're going to need to run away and escape if they can. Bloodletters trying to help. Objective situation. One belongs to the demons. Two belongs to the demons as well, but Ent is very close to picking them apart here. And out of desperation, he tries to call in Seekers, but Seekers' Slaanesh do not like fighting flying stuff because they don't get their charge bonus. So basically, the Seekers of Slaanesh get killed in like 2 seconds, and I think that Anticity is going to be closing out the series 2-1 with his dreaded Flying Circus. I mean, oh my god, Crystal Sanctuary for the 96% ward save. 96% ward save on that guy for another 19 seconds. Oh, and the final transmutation is going to do like 0 damage because he has 109% ward save on Red Olgor. He's immune to damage, or is he taking it? I don't know. No, he shouldn't be immune to it. He's still taking damage. I think it has a cap. You can't have 100% ward save. I think it's like 90 something. But yeah, Red Olgor face tanks that pretty hard with the Crystal Sanctuary. So despite Alexander losing this game, at least we're getting some really, really funny interactions here. That is for sure. And I mean, is he going to come back with the Red Olgor carry? I don't know if he is. I don't know if he is. All right, so Nurglings trying to get the capture. Is Red Olgor going to flip this game? The cap is, I think, 90 or 95%. Yeah, to my knowledge. You're capped at 90, yeah. Because I know that from campaign. I've stacked some items in campaign. He's healing, by the way. Red Olgor does heal in combat. He has the Gore Feast. So as he fights you in combat, he does heal. Dude, Red Olgor Ascendant, guys. He rises from the ashes. The blue scribes are finally going to be killed, unfortunately. So that's really bad for Alexander, losing his big carry caster. And I don't think the scribes are going to come back. Nurglings getting some capture weight here. Anticity going to be calling out Jade Lancers to clear out the Nurglings. Middle objective in the process of flipping. And Red Olgor didn't hear no bell. He's still going for it and is hunting down the Celestial General. Oh my god, dude. That is so funny. All right. Oh my god, the blue scribes rallied. Alexander's got to pay attention. He gets them back. The meme scribes return, ladies and gentlemen. The Hellforged Bellowers also need to run down here. They need to stay with Red Olgor. And big mistake by Alexander Bignuts. He needs to keep those Bloodletters on the objective if he can. All right, so the Hellforged Bellowers getting hunted by a handful of units. Here we do see the Red Olgor fighting here against the demon, or against the Celestial General. 1,500 value on the big dog. He does manage to cleave him. Gets a nice little anti-large attack there. The Alchemist's melee attack buff item is used here. And yeah, Red Olgor showing that guy who's boss, man. Furies on the way. Furies get wrecked by Longmas, but I'm curious what sort of blue scribe magic we have left. I mean, there's got to be something funky. I mean, in Alexander, no way he wins this game, right? If Alexander wins this game, that is going to be freaking ludicrous, dude. That will be nuts. Luda. All right, Furies versus Crowmen. A little duel of fates up in the skies. And we do see the Celestial General is exhausted, being hunted by the very tired Red Olgor with Deathbringer activated. The Hellforged Bellowers being surrounded and killed is a huge loss. It's pretty freaking devastating, and we see Anticity at double the value lead right now. But there's a lot of healing in the Demon roster. They have a lot of infantry on the field. A fair amount of capture weight as well. Red Olgor going to be helping the Furies win their fight with the Horn of Corn activated. And yeah, not bad at all. Nurglings holding. Middle objective owned by Grand Cathay. Colin is going to be more Seekers of Slaanesh, who have really not had a good time this game, that is for sure. Looks like these Crowmen are shaken and soon going to be disintegrating. The 2 Longmar Riders probably going to go through and try and take down the Seekers of Slaanesh here. As the Jade Lancers do get caught by Seekers, so they're going to get chewed up pretty good. Red Olgor, dude, has been a raid boss this game, dude. He stands alone. He stands alone. All right, so Seeker's about to get punched really badly. And if Alexander has like a final transmutation or something on the boys, maybe. He gets a chill wind, which is cute. There's a little something something. Red Olgor is still hunting down that Celestial General and does not... Oh, he does connect. Celestial General steady. And the blue scribe zap him in the face with a laser beam as well. Bloodletters fighting it out. Objective 3 controlled. Objective 2 controlled. Alexander Bignuts didn't hear no bell, guys. He's still going. He's still going, and it looks like there's going to be some... Oh my god, he's going to use the final transmutation to kill the blue scribes. Just the rage boner final transmutation. And what is the response going to be from Alexander? Will he cast a spell before they die, or are they just going to go quietly into the night? All right, the blue scribes have some great death animations, by the way. Look. Look, look. Yeah. How good is that? And then they get pulled back into the warp by Tzeentch. Yeah, Tzeentch is like, come on, guys. I got you, homies. I got you. So good. So good. All right, man. Does Alexander actually have a chance in this game? No freaking way. No freaking way. All right, so the Celestial General's beat up. Is Red Olgor the new meta? Is he unstoppable? I feel like he's a little bit unstoppable this game. He lands on the ground to get some help from the homies, which is smart. He pulls some Ent forces down to the ground, but Red Olgor stabilizes. Middle objective belongs to the Demons of Chaos, and he's still going, guys. He's still going. All right, on the backside, cannon's called in. Anticity is like he's like with Kylo Ren in that freaking Star Wars sequel, where he's like, fire everything. Fire everything at Red Olgor. Yeah, you can't take him down, dude. You can't take him down. All right. Red Olgor, though, getting fully surrounded here. He's at 3,500 HP. Fleshhounds are going to come over and help. He might be able to put some hurt down, but the Moonbird character is going to be a little bit too much for him, I think. Fury's called out to shut down the cannon in the back, and it looks like the Bloodletters and the Fleshhound's going to be coming to try and help, and the homies are going to have a big pit fight right now. This has been one of the weirdest games we've ever had. Red Ogre is sitting at how much value? 2,500. Celestial General thinking about coming in right now. Red Ogre is wavering, and unless there's like a Sword of Corn or something, it's probably going to be game blouses. When Red Ogre dies, so too will the hope of the Demons of Chaos. He's unstable, fully surrounded. He's been fighting for like 45 minutes, and I think this is the end of the road. But man, oh man, did we get a cool match out of this. This I thought was going to be a one-sided stomp early on, but kind of put up a good fight. All things considered, after, yeah, he's losing everything. I mean, all Alexander Nuts has is 2 Nurglings now, so that's basically GG. Nurglings coming in on the backside, Plague Toads of Nurgle, both going to get picked off. And Anticity getting the job done. Oh my god, that was hilarious. That was so freaking funny, that game. Red Ogre Chad until the bitter end, dude. Fury's going to try and get on the cannon there, but Anticity is going to be able to defend this using his Onyx Crowmen, so they do come over there. And that is going to most likely be game 3. Nurglings with a ninja. I mean, Anticity's army has good capture weight, though, too. Jade Lancers have 4, so 2 do Peasant Horsemen. So enough of those cav units. These Nurglings are going to get killed in like 10 seconds. So Nurglings only have 24 melee defense. You know, they're poisonous and have good HP for what they are, but yeah, that is an unholy amount of Grand Cathay units. The Demons going for a flip on the high ground with some Plague Toads and now some Bloodletters. Is Red Ogre going to be resummoned like the sweet prince he is from the night? It'd be really funny to see a Red Ogre resummoned, but the Nurglings get killed like in a matter of seconds. With a negative 16 penalty from Red Ogre being gone, these little gremlins are going to be paying the price. So negative 36, negative 19, both of them get disintegrated in like 2 seconds of fighting, which is pretty hilarious. And Alexander still going, man. Still going. Yeah, where's Red Ogre's remains? Does he actually have remains? It's like, no, I don't know if he does. He's a demon, so I guess he disappears. GG. So that is a classic illustration of like the High Elf, or the Cathay Flying Circus Anticity style, and an absolute meme build from Alexander, by the way, but it almost did some work. It was very fun. So, shout out to the boys. Well played to both of them. Hope you guys enjoyed this contested series. And now we're going to get our next one going. Value on Red Ogre, by the way, 2,600. Scribes. If the Scribes could have rolled the final transmutation, that would have been insane for sure. I feel like if Red Ogre had like the Herald of Khorne's Fury with him, like another Bloodthirster, maybe he could have pulled something out. Maybe. All right, guys. GG. So now we're going to get the next game going. Let's do this. And we are going to get into the Turin versus Mr. Hill. Yeah, we'll see what these guys are playing. Dark Elves versus Bretonnia, maybe? I'm not sure. All right, let's get the score set. And we got, this one is going to be Turin versus well played Ent and, one sec here, and Alexander. That was a great series, man. Alexander, thank you for stepping up. Thank you. It was pretty funny because before the, when I first announced this event, this little like kind of showcase series where people could practice, nobody wanted to play Anticity. Like, nobody was calling him out. I was like, Anticity's like, I can play. And then, like, a silence fell over the chat. Like, nobody was calling out Anticity. But then Alexander, with his massive nuts, stepped up and took him to a game 3 in a series. What's not to love? But Ent showing why he's one of the boss hogs, getting it done. So, what do we got here? GG, Anticity, and Alexander. Amazing series. All right. So what do we got here? Dark Elves versus High Elves. Oh, cool. It's a fun one. On the Pit of the Everchosen, by the way. There's a bit of a meme map, but I love it. It's very fun. Very, very fun indeed. Yeah. No, the games are sweaty. Definitely, like, nobody wants to lose a best of 3, you know? Like, if I play this, if I end up playing one tonight, I'm going to go sweaty. And sweaty by my standards is a bit different, but yeah. All right, I'm going to go grab some water, guys, while they do their builds, and I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back in business. Welcome to this Duel of Fates. Oh my god, I almost missed the action. So, this is Pit of the Everchosen, and we have Dark Elves versus High Elves. Both players deploying right on top of each other, holy shit. So it's going to be Harganeth Executioners and Witch Elves, with Coldwood Knights, backed up by Lothern Seaguard, Oceanids, and Ships Company. Okay, they are playing this map as the Everchosen intended. Oh my god, look at this. They are touching tips, and the battle is going to be on. Immediately they start fighting. Harganeth Executioners and Oceanids clashing with the Ships Company. Man, oh man. It's going to be a fun fight. All right, so the boys are fighting in the front line. Witch Elves are going to be coming around the outside. That's going to be very punishing. Caradhran and Tyrion are in the mix too. Caradhran chasing down the Coldwood Knights. Tyrion is going to need to do something about these Witch Elves getting on top of the Lothern Seaguard, and it is an absolute just murder fest right out of the gates. So the Witch Elves rampaging on top of Lothern Seaguard. The other Witch Elves, the Bare Naked Ladies, going to be coming around the outside and rampaging into the back of these formations. And honestly, I think the Dark Elves might be favored. We do have Morathi here as well. And Witch Elves are chasing down Rangers. Oh, the Sisters of Singing Doom, by the way, are going to be just annihilating these Rangers. And then also some Dark Riders going over here. So Dark Elves favored here, and honestly here too. So this could be one of the fastest games we've ever had. This is like one of those old land battles where they like mass Vanguard and one army gets wiped real quick. Because the High Elves are losing this. The Witch Elves annihilating both of the archer units and then turning around, dragging down the Oceanids with Coldwood Knight support. Tyrion and Caradhran can try and put this game on their back, but it's not going to be easy. Although, Tyrion and Caradhran do win here and get a little bit of stability, so maybe Stinky Beans is going to be able to pull something off right there. And on the backside objective, like we talked about, Sisters of Singing Doom popping their Rage Boner pills, 78 melee attack, 64 weapon strength, with a bonus versus infantry, and they cause terror. So you can see that the Rangers here are going to be terror-outed in a second. Although we do get Rahagir's Pride being called in here by Stinky Beans, which is good. The Rahagir's Pride will do very well into the Witch Elves, and the Rangers should honestly just turn and fight instead of running at this point. So back in this pit fight, Morathi, a very nice debuff character. Oh, dude, he went for like a debuff blob. Enchanting Beauty, as well as Heartrender and the Darksword, is going to be negative 10 melee attack and an aura. And Tyrion is surrounded by Coldwood Knights, Witch Elves, Oceanids getting surrounded as well. And the Sisters of Singing Doom are so Chadley over here. Look at these ladies. Man, they are going at it. They're actually taking down the Narnia lines as well. Very, very impressive performance from them. But, you know, good stats are good stats, and they do have 20% Phys Res. Reinforcements coming in from the Dark Riders might be able to give them that fight. Now the Dark Elves going to be calling in repeater crossbows. But Morathi, like I said, is a good anti-large duelist. Granted, she doesn't want to be fighting this 2v1. It looks like Colossal Strike and Phoenix Blade used by Caradhran. He's trying to attack Morathi, but Morathi is very slippery and very, very hard to lock down. So we're going to see how that goes. All right, the pit fight continues to rage on. The Dark Elves over here are going to win this fight most likely. I think the Sisters of Singing Doom are still fighting there. No, they finally got broken, and it looks like the High Elves actually do get some Silver Helms out of the woods. I did not see those, and they are able to stabilize that objective. Now, will Caradhran and Tyrion carry this game? Caradhran does have his Mark of Isurian, so if he is able to get his Mortis Engine online, maybe, going to be hard to say. Tyrion, though, trapped up by Coldwood Knights and by Witch Elves, and these are anti-large fighters. He does have Sunfang, which can help him clear. Does he have Heart of Avalorn? He does, of course. But yeah, not looking good for the High Elves, because the High Elves are losing up here. They have one objective, but elsewhere, Coldwood Knights are just so favored against the High Elf Cav. Here you can see the Silver Helms getting run down by the Coldwood Knights. So those guys going to be getting Shadow Realms right there. And Morathi also putting their melee attack down to 25 is pretty gross. Melkoth's another great spell that Morathi does have access to, and it looks like the Dark Elves going to be calling out more Reinforcements here. And the Sisters of Singing Doom didn't hear no bell. These ladies are out for blood, about 1,000 value on them, and with Dark Rider support, they might be able to beat those Rangers. We'll have to see how that all unfolds. All right, guys, Tyrion using Sunfang, very epic to try and get himself out of the blob. Tyrion is going to need to get Heart of Avalorn. He does get it. He gets a heal right there. Heals up about 1,200 HP. Still has a lot of room before his healing cap. What is the cooldown on that, on Heart of Avalorn? It's 2 minutes before it can proc again. But I think he's going to get broken anyways. Looks like the High Elves going to be dropping some Harry Potter magic here, or is that a Doombolt from Morathi? It looks like it's going to be a Doombolt. And Morathi taking down Tyrion. It looks like, whoa, taking a ride up the pillar right there. But yes, Tyrion gets boinked on the head by evil magic and is now at 138 HP. And Morathi doing it. The Hag Queen, oh, getting it done. All right, down goes Tyrion, defeated by Morathi. And with that, I think the hopes of the High Elves are in the can. Pretty funny. I was expecting one of the players here to do like a mass mobility build and pull back, but no, they just decided to like do the frickin' Predator bro handshake and meet in the middle right there. But pretty much every engagement favors the Druchii right now. 1, 2, and then also 3 is secured as well. Kharadron is being hunted down by the Coldwood Knights. And out of the woods, we do see the Fireborn coming, which are a good unit, but Fireborn are going to get picked apart most likely by Coldwood Knights in tandem with Morathi, debuffing them and using Melkoth on them as well. Kharadron is a hero character available to the High Elves. He's very good, actually. He's an anti-large specialist. He has some good mount options, some very impactful abilities. And it looks like Ulthuan is going to be paying the price. Yes, the donut. Well, they're not fighting over the donut right now. They're just kind of fighting out somewhere. So Kharadron and his Fireborn do form a bit of a nasty Death Star, and Kharadron has gotten about 700 value. He'll be very helpful against the Coldwood Knights here. We do see the repeater crossbows, the mobile ones, of course, Dark Riders, mounted here, shooting at the Fireborn. Coldwood Knights getting chewed up pretty bad. Morathi, that's a very Dark Elf, by the way. Seeing her Coldwood Knights are doomed, she drains their life essence with the power of darkness to support her own efforts. Very, very Machiavellian way to win a battle, right? High Elves, are they resurgent a little bit? I don't think so. Without Tyrion, it's going to be very, very tricky. And do the High Elves even have a mage? I don't know if they have a mage. I mean, Stinky Beans is not. He's a solid tournament player. He must have a mage in reserve, and he just hasn't had the opportunity to call it out. That's for sure. Fireborn, though, melts in quite a bit, but eating some nasty shots from the repeater crossbows. Fireborn down to 43 models. Maybe going to be engaging some spears. We'll see. Melkoth Mystifying Miasma. It's really, really good against those type of units. Going to be draining them down. And on the backside, more Coldwood Knights being called out, more Coldwood Knights. Basically, just spamming Coldwood Knights here. Yeah, there's his mage. That makes sense. So he's got a life mage. Kharadron is a character who likes healing sometimes, and Tyrion as well. Although, usually, if you were to bring Tyrion and Kharadron, I think you would not want to go life. There's better options. Like, pretty much anything else is better. Like, I think Final Transmutation, Lore of Metal could be good. Bunch of cool choices. Kharadron taking down one Cold One unit there. The High Elves holding onto the back point. Fireborn desperately trying to hold it as they do lance down some of the Witch Elves right there. Coldwood Knights coming from across the map. Definitely need to make sure to call the reinforcements from here if you can. So Torsen's going to want to get those bad boys in there. But yeah, another Melkoth. Very, very close to finishing off the Fireborn. Morathi will go in for the killing blow when it is opportune. The remnants of the Hargoneth Executioners. I think Shades and Hargoneth Executioners are like two of my favorite looking models. Like, I always wanted to play Dark Elves in tabletop in the old world, but it's so stupid that they're a legacy faction, dude. Oh, I would totally play a Dark Elf like Hargoneth Shade-based army if they were they weren't a legacy army. Yeah, because you know Games Workshop doesn't support them, they don't balance them, and they don't sell the minis also, right? So it's tricky to get into. All right, coming down from the high ground is going to be Coldwood Knights, and it's a losing fight for the High Elves. The Fireborn are getting chewed up. The Hargoneth Executioner is going to be paying the Troll Toll. Awakening in the Wood does a little bit of damage, but nothing to write home about, that's for sure. As more and more Velociraptor Cav are coming to finish the job. That is for sure. So where are they coming? Coldwood Knights are here. We want to ambush out. Maybe get on the point a little bit. Honestly, I think just taking the pit fight is going to be fine. Even though Kharadron is a difference maker, he's still not going to want to fight a bunch of Coldwood Knights on his own. And if you have Morathi helping too, it's going to debuff him pretty heavily. So one last Melkoth there. Probably going to break the Fireborn. Fireborn get broken. And Mighty Roar, though, from Ogres is quite good. But yes, this is where you commit Morathi to the fight. You get her in the fight. Use her to take out the mage or help against Kharadron. You know, plenty of options right there. No other threats elsewhere on the battle, by the way. Nothing here. Looks like Dark Elves got that one on lock. And you do. Yeah, Melody, I know you can play the Dark Elves. I'm aware you can play them. Yeah, but just like, I don't know. Investing in another legacy faction is like, I don't know if I want to do it, you know? Yeah, I know some of the local old world circuits do their own like balancing patches and things like that, but yeah. GG, guys. Victory for the Dark Elves in Game 1. The Pit of the Ever-Chosen battle. Victory for Torsen. By the way, I need to get the scoreboard up, so give me 1 second, guys. I'll fix that. I don't know why I had the wrong blocker up there. All right. So Morathi was really good this game. The Witch Elves and the Hargoneth Executioners tore through that front line. And I think if Stinky Beans wanted to do the brawl with like Oceanids, he should have cut these archers and just gotten like, cut the 2 archers and cut the ranger and get like a sea elemental or like a big monster, right? If you're going to be playing that way. I think he just needed one big karate chopper and it could have made the difference for sure. All right, so let's get these scores. So it's going to be 1-0 for Torsen here. And the players are going to get this going now. All right, value. Tyrion, 900, 700. Morathi did really good, 2,500 on her. The girls ruled and the boys drooled that game, that's for sure. Repeater Crossbow is also doing well. All right. Let's get it. So, Dwarves for the big Stinky Beans. And Torsen is going to be playing High Elves. So, Torsen appears to be an elf player as well. Looks like Home Dog is going to be doing it. And yeah, good times, man. The Malice books make the Dark Riders seem like ultra chads as well. Horses that can't tire and all that. Oh, that's cool. Is that part of the lore of Dark Riders? Is that their horses are just like super high endurance, or is that just like in the books? Yeah. Dwarves, High Elves. This is a matchup we've seen many times. Obviously, cannons, you know, long dwarf warriors with great weapons. Thunders are fun here. Iron Drake, Trollhammer torpedoes. Osuchi Castle is a tricky map for shooting, actually. There's a lot of trees in the middle, which can be dodgy. Okay, so let me assess what we have after this matchup. We have Mr. Hill, and then after this one we have, I think, Hobo Honkers and Gotrek Starbreaker are going to be playing after this. See if they're both around. Yeah, I don't know if they're still around. If they're not, we can go on to the next match. We'll see. We will see. Torsen is our best High Elf player. Is he? Okay, wow. So he's going to be bringing it, man. The Dwarf High Elf matchup is very fun. We had, I vividly remember a really good game of Dwarf High Elves. It was in a World Championship Best of series, like 2 championships. It was the one Daniken won. It was in the grand finals. Daniken, I can't remember which side he was on, but it was really a nail-biter of a game. I remember that one being super good. Their Dark Seeds are probably enchanted somehow. Got it. Okay. I think it's in the lore that all elves sound like Kermit the Frog. Oh my god. I see. I'm learning the lore of these guys now. It would appear so. Slay the Oathbreakers. Yeah. Will Stinky Beans be able to pull it out? I could have sworn Stinky Beans is like a greenskin player. I don't know why. I'm not sure if he is. War of Vengeance rematch. Well, to be fair, the Dwarves won the main War of Vengeance. This is just a battle. We can't take that away from our proud Dowie. All right. And there we have it. Okay. So players should be ready soon, and we're just going to chill. Release, yeah, White Lions are God's here. I actually had a build against Dwarves that was pretty effective once. It was a mass archer build. So I ran like 8 or 9 High Elf archers and Plague of Rust, and then just ran a bunch of lions and, you know, armor-piercing stuff when they overextended into my archers. It was very fun. Was it Anticity versus Daniken where Daniken brought them out? I don't remember, Ricochet. It could have been. Been doing this for a long time, man. It's easy to kind of mix up all these series here and there, you know? It's all over the place. Kill anything without a beard. They have wronged us. All right, so it's going to be a White Lion of Crace build with Larry. The reason why you bring Larry in this matchup is because of Tempest. So you bring Tempest, and when the Dwarves call out the ever-oppressive Gyro Bomber, you basically just Tempest it down, and you live your best life. So that is what's going to be cooking right there. Yeah. Aside from that, White Lions of Crace are just good. They have missile resist, and they trade really well into Dwarvish infantry. And the rest of the build looked, pretty normal stuff. Nothing too skewed, nothing too crazy. So White Lions of Crace to deal with armor. Larry with Tempest and Earthblood. Couple Rangers. Rangers are actually good to mix in because they can kill Slayers, and they have good enough DPS to beat Dwarven Miners too. And one Reaver Cav, and that it's going to be it. So big infantry push coming in from Torsen. And now for the Dowie, he's going to be taking advantage of the open field in his cannons. A lot of trees on this map, though. You got to watch out. Cannons can still cover objective 1 and 2, kind of. We'll see how it goes. The rest of the build's going to be Rangers, blasting charges, and then we have, Grom Brindle, the white dwarf. He's coming with his boinking stick, guys. It's time. So he's got his big hammer time stick, and he's going to be teamed up with the Runesmith as well. So the Runesmith is going to be dropping what? Is it Rune of Wrath and Ruin? Not bad, and Rune Negation is all right, for big cab alpha strikes and things like that. So it begins. The grudge match is here, and will Torsen end this series 2-0, or will he advance on? Find out on today's episode of Dragon Ball Z, as the boys are back in town. So yeah, cannons are good against High Elves, for sure. Pretty doable to defend them. I mean, High Elves can dive with the Reavers, but if you just have like one Slayer back there, or like Grimdelvers, I would say the most impactful units on the Dwarves in multiplayer, probably Grimdelvers and the Gyro Bomber ROR. Those are 2 units that just like end people's careers, right? If you have the Gyro Bomber, you can just fly it out, instantly bomb like 4 units down and just like carry the game. And the Grimdelvers, like you pop in the backfield, they ambush you with stealth and just like kill your Lord or like some big units, right? So those are probably for me the most impactful units for the Dowie in multiplayer. Granted, just the Humble Blasting Charge unit is very good too, right? The Miners of Blasting Charges, like they're just such a good screening unit. Good armor, durable, cheap. Very annoying. All right, so Torsen is going to be taking a angle like this. He's going to be gathering here, and then pushing up through the woods to try and mitigate some of the dwarven cannon fire. So he's moving his entire army away from the cannons. But the dwarves should be able to get their clutches on this middle objective. Yeah, we do see there being some shadow warriors just for some vanguard play. Yeah, so they're sitting there trying to contend with the will of the dwarves. And it's going to be big for Stinky Beans to get on those objectives. Cannon's waiting, and Torsen waits in the shadows himself, preparing to advance. No rush, though. Is he going to do a build-up, like gather here, and then call in like 5 mobility pieces over here? I mean, totally an option. The cannons getting a bowling alley kind of setup. They're going to have a lot of issues with line of sight, I'm telling you. This map is not the best shooting map. Slayers are going to be called out to defend the cannons, it looks like. And the dwarves get their Dowie tied here. They plant their feet down, and they're going to be doing it. Frohawk in chat asking, are organ guns ever played on dwarves? It's an extremely rare pick. Extremely rare. Organ guns and Hellblaster volley guns are incredibly niche at best. Though, on like some close quarters maps, they can actually be pretty devastating. But they are rare. They are rare indeed. All right, guys. Dwarf warriors hanging right here. Meanwhile, objective 1 being held by the Dowie infantry. And this is going to be a big collapse. And for Stinky Beans, he needs to get his archers back. He doesn't want to get his archers baited forward. His archers need to be like here, 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 and here. If they're up like this, the High Elves are just going to collapse on you, and you're going to waste a lot of time running your guns back while your front line is getting killed. So, not ideal. Granted, Grombrindle is going to be a bit of a problem in the front line. Cannons shooting into the woods and kind of tickling the pickle of some Shadow Warriors. Oceanid's called out. So this is a big freebie for Stinky Beans. If Stinky Beans is paying attention, he should have both cannons zeroed in and just nail these things. 1 cannon on the Oceanids, 1 cannon on the White Lines of Krace, and he does, yeah. Dwarf players, you know, got to get that cannon value. So 1 cannon shot does miss, and then you basically just park 1 Slayer on top of each of your cannons and live your best life. That's exactly what you do, and that's what Stinky Beans is doing right now. But you know what I love about Torsen's play, by the way, is the Rangers coming around the backside to help compromise the cannon, because Rangers are a counter against Slayers, so it's quite good. Frontline fighting is underway. The White Lines of Krace walking through the hail of Dwarven bolt fire, and the Dwarf Warriors are going to get wrecked pretty bad by these White Lines of Krace, who do have great weapons, of course, and the Dwarves just have their axes. But Grombrindle and the Runesmith might be able to change the dynamic of some of those fights. We're going to have to see. So how are the cannons looking? 1 Oceanid unit is kind of paying the troll toll a little bit, and it looks like Torsen wants to dive the cannon, but isn't going to have the best time of it. And now the inevitable Skyhammer Squadron. Now, I don't know if this was the right time for the Skyhammer Squadron. I probably would have saved it for the absolute late game when, you know, Winds of Magic is gone. But right now, it's just going to get nailed by Oceanids. Not Oceanids, excuse me, the Tempest. And it's going to get locked down here. So very, very nice. We do see the Tempest making the Dwarven Gyro Bomber pay the troll toll. And Larry on her Eagle should be able to put some work in. Really nice play here, by the way. Masterclass by Torsen, using his archers to poke the defending Slayers, who have no answers against that. We do see some Narnia lines camping over there as well. And the Skyhammer Squadron losing models. It's going to be hiding under the Slayers here, but yeah, not a good start. Well, kind of mid-game, I guess. We're about 4 or 5 minutes into the game for the Dwarves. I mean, the Gyro Hammer, you really, really want to keep that thing going. All right, a couple blasting charges called out. The Ekrins Chads, they're going to be forming ranks. They tunnel from the underground, and that's my headcanon for this. And they get a beautiful salvo right there on those Shadow Warriors. And they're going to get another salvo here in a second as the waves of blasting charges coming out and cooking up some of the Shadow Warriors right there. On the middle, Grombrindle and homies still holding. Rangers being compromised by Illyrian Reavers. And a fair amount of the Dwarven missile units are being tied down. But the Gyro Bombers are online and getting a decent bombardment right there. At least they're doing something. And the value on the Gyro Bomber has got to be about 300-400. Okay, so nothing too crazy. But it's going to be coming in. Another bombardment right here. Oh, Tempest off cooldown though, guys, and it looks like that super expensive piece is going to be taken offline. Good fight here for the Dwarves. Slayers fighting Narnia Lions is a huge win for the Slayers. They're going to be able to cut through these cats. And only 17 left. Slayers making quick work of them, and the value is still close. Dwarves are holding on to 2 objectives, very stubbornly, by the way. Grombrindle, an unusual pick, but going to be very tough for the High Elves to get through. Now we see heavy chariots coming out, so there are going to be White Lion chariots. These things are ideal cannon targets. Chariots often just get wrecked by cannons so badly. So you're going to want to get those cannonballs, shoot downtown, and try and take down the Lion chariots of Krace, because both cannons are online. They're both chilling. Grombrindle being a pimp on the objective. He's got his rune axe of Grimnir, or whatever the hell it is, some sort of a legendary axe. And yeah, he is giving these guys the business. Normally Dwarf Warriors get hammered here, but with Grombrindle there and the Runesmith helping, bit of a different game. Grim Delvers called out, but this is a classic blunder with the Grim Delvers, calling them out a little bit too close to enemy support. Usually you want to call them out more deep set and then ambush somebody. Slayers are going to want to come over here and help them. Throwing the Grimdelvers to the dogs is not something you want to be doing. They're a rather expensive unit. But the Elves getting Rangers and 3 infantry units up on this point. So Rangers, White Lines of Crace, White Lines of Crace. They are going to be able to flip that objective right there. And we do see Stinky Beans with a very minor value lead. Grimdelvers fighting those line units definitely sucks pretty bad for them. Cannon shooting into the Chariot is a good call, but we do see Torsen hiding the Chariot in the trees relatively well, although that cannon did hit right there. More Dwarven Chaff units coming, and it looks like the Dwarves going to be taking a flank here, while the Skyhammer did get punched right in the dong. Currently sitting at 167 HP, probably not going to do much, but Dwarves might be able to ninja this one or not. No, the Chariot is going to make quick work of these units if it can isolate them right over there. All right, guys, objective number 1 belongs to the Dowey. But not for long. No, it actually flipped the Elves already. There's a blue banner. Kind of tricked me there. And objective 2 belongs to the Dowey, but it looks like that one is going to be flipping as we do see another gyrocopter being called in. Slayer is trying to help the Grimdelvers, but a little bit late to the party. The Grimdelvers did get bullied pretty bad, and the Flamethrower Gyro will not be super good against armor, but yeah, Grimdelvers getting some volley fire, you know, at least squeeze in a little something out of them. Not bad at all. Yeah, Elves are definitely in a more commanding position this game. They are going to get a triple cap on the Dwarves. The Dwarves trying to do a little something over here, but obviously a 300 gold chaff unit getting wrecked by a big armor-piercing anti-infantry chariot is to be expected. Lion Chariots of Crace getting suppressed by the Gyro Bomber. Oh my god, the Skyhammer's still online. He didn't hear no bell. He's still going, 600 value. It could be worse. But, yeah, those guys get folded up, and it does look like Grombrindle is probably just going to get tar-pitted, and I think that Torsen is going to start to run away with the game a little bit. Losing, you know, the Skyhammer was really, really rough, and obviously most of the infantry trades didn't go his way. So how would you, if I were playing the Dwarves, if I were to give advice to the Dwarf player, I would think at this point you just have to consolidate your strength in one area and try and push. If you keep splitting out, like one unit here, one here, one here, you're going to get picked apart against a more mobile army. You have to just consolidate and kind of try and reform an army, but we will see. Any Dowie Czar players tonight? If I end up playing, I will play Dowie Czar for you. Yeah, for sure. All right, so Oceanids on their way in. And yeah, Slayers will do fine against them, obviously. But yeah, I think the Oceanids with the healing support and also the Chariots nearby are going to perform pretty well. A couple guns coming, blasting charges. Let's give you guys some cool cinematic blasting charge shots. You gotta love it. Able to melt down a whole bunch of those High Elf units. They're shaken, they're stirred, setting at 3 leadership right there. Meanwhile, the Grimdelvers, still performing. All things considered, you know, they've managed to squeak a little bit of value out. Slayers have done their thing, but it looks like the cannon did go down to the process. So the Dwarf player either unsummoned his cannons or they just died there. I think he unsummoned them actually to get a little bit more forward momentum. But Torsen has actually passed the Dwarf player in points. As it currently stands, it is going to be 600, 700 points for the High Elves and 616 for the Dwarves. And I don't see any way the Dwarves are going to get the points back. Like, they have just a couple, you know, Slayers on the field. Brotherhood of Grimnir are, you know, obviously an absolute killer unit. And they would have been really good with Grombrindle earlier, but they're just going to get run over by chariots and kited by some of the archers and probably have a bad time of it. Larry, you know, very meta here, using her Tempest is very effective, and obviously her healing on lead armored infantry is very good as well. So we do get the lockdown of the gyrocopter. It is going to be scurrying away, trying to flee the scene. Meanwhile, the Dwarves trying to do what they can to reclaim the realm. Blasting charges coming in. Dwarves are one of those weird factions where sometimes you think you have them done for, but they just keep riding their way back with their durability. You know, it can happen. Grombrindle and his Runesmith getting shaken and low. Grombrindle, of course, just erect and unbreakable over here. Narnia Alliance waiting in the wings, and the Brotherhood of Grimnir are on their way in. Now, these guys are just kind of like Wrathmongers. Even though they do say anti-infantry, they can still cut through these big armored, you know, or not armored, but these big elementals. The magic damage being the primary component of that, obviously. But yeah, the Dwarves will probably win this little, like, one microcosm of a fight all across the entire battlefield, but everywhere else, it's basically just a massacre. Dwarves getting run down here, and yeah, the Chariots are going to pick off any reinforcements, so you can see the chaff units tried to get in. But the dreaded Lion Chariots of Crace really performing quite well indeed. Yep, probably GG, guys. About 1,000 points coming in. Stinky Beans didn't hear no bell. You know, he's trying his best. Another gyrocopter does get chased off. I would not be surprised to see your boy Stinky Beans tapping out here. He put up a great fight, but apparently Torsen is a big High Elf main, so this is probably not his first rodeo playing this matchup. That is for sure. Here comes the Lion Chariots of Crace. Very cool unit. I think mixing in one is pretty good, actually, because they're a lot more durable than the War Lions themselves. With high armor and missile resist, they can endure some of the Dwarven shooting, whereas the War Lions of Grace cannot. They kind of can, I guess. They're a bit of a small target, but yeah, I think one Lion Chariot is a good mix in this matchup. Probably not two, but just one. Last time I played Taurus into this matchup, I won. The secret tech is Goblin Hewers. Ah, I know. You and your Goblin Hewers, Alexander. You're a menace with those. Yeah, I do feel like the Dwarf High Elf match is honestly pretty even a lot of the time. I feel like it can go either way. In this case, Torsen, I just think outplayed him pretty heavily and had a better build as well. There was a couple things there. Like the Rangers felt a little bit awkward, like the Ranger Corps. Like I think more like Thunder or like Iron Drake, Trollhammer Torpedo, or as Alexander has said, the Hewers. But yeah, calling out the Skyhammer and just getting it killed like super quick was a big momentum shift. You know, that thing is not cheap, and obviously you're going to start suffering in that situation there. All right, so the Rangers and the Dwarf Warriors getting 2v'd. Honestly, this one Lion Chariot with proper micro could just cycle charge indefinitely into those units and kind of wreck them. Dwarves getting a little bit of capture momentum here with Grombrindle, you know, trying against the Illyrian Reavers. But the value gap maintaining, the High Elves hanging in there. True in the Dwarven spirit. Fighting to the bitter end. Trying to split push here, but not going to be enough. Victory for Safri. And another grudge in the Great Book of Grudges. Yeah, just really good. Tempest play, you know, Lion Chariot, just a lot of meta stuff, honestly, and it was very good. For the Dwarves, I would say cut the Rangers, you know, replace them, and there are some adjustments. The rest of the build was fine, honestly. But the Skyhammer was a big blunder calling that in when he did. A big old blunder there. All right, guys. GG. Well played. If you see Tempest on Larry, you can call in the Gyrocopter in the late game. Or call it in if you have a way to protect it. Like if you have Grim, you can lay a trap too. You can like call out the Skyhammer and have the Grim Delver sitting underneath it invisible. And then when she comes to dive it, you just blast Larry out of the skies. Like the Dwarves have plenty of tools to counterplay that for sure. All right. Let's get the next match going. And we have Hobo Honkers, I believe is the next one. Okay. You find this. One sec. Stand by. We'll get you guys in. Okay, so now we have Hobo Honkers versus Gotrek Starbreaker. This will be fun. So you guys are going to see more dwarves for sure, and probably more high elves, honestly. There we go. Let's update the score there. That was a 2-0 for Torsen, 0-0. And we have dwarves versus high elves again. Ooh, interesting. All right, so we're going to see another look at this. Kind of fun, actually. Get to see. I know we just saw it, but at least we get to see like a different take on things. Hobo Honker started off as a Nurgle main, but he's been playing a lot of high elves. I think they're one of his. I was about to type high elves there. Hobo Honkers. All right, there he goes. Okay, guys, welcome to our next best of 3. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Holy shit! Look at that build. This is something that Gotrek Starbreaker does a lot. This guy loves his like mass like skew builds like this. I've seen him do this. Holy shit. That is a very different take on this matchup. A very, very different take. One sec, guys, while they load in. Let me see. Who do we have next? So after this one, I think we have Mr. Hill. We did that. And then Wildfire can play against... we could do a 2v2, but I think just a 1v1 would probably be better. That's more the focus of tonight's stream. So just give me 1 second. So Wildfire, who asked first? Okay, so Wildfire can fight against Ricochet. Death by Ricochet, 1v1. Maps are Bordello. We can do or go ahead and start your bands and be ready. Okay, so we have Wildfire versus Death by Ricochet after this. Another dwarf player, yes. Best of 3. Okay, great. Sorry about that, guys. We're all set up. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and see what's cooking here. Taking a look at the armies here of the High Elves. It's going to be a battle line of White Lines of Krace, including some basic archers, which are really good to shoot slayers, actually. Then we got a Great Eagle and Larry. So you can see how some of the fundamentals are very similar. Using Tempest, using a Great Eagle to win the Gyrocopter game, and a couple of Rangers in the Vanguard to take up Slayers and dive the backfield. I don't hate it. So for the Dwarves, guys, it's going to be Iron Drake, Trollhammer, Torpedo spam. 5 of them with Malachi Makaisen. Now, Malachi does buff these units with the Eyes of Grungni. They get range, they get damage. It's very, very cool. And he does already have the Skyhammer Squadron in his starting freaking army, man. Holy shit. And then double Flamethrower. Dude, I don't know how you defend this. I don't know how you defend this, but, you know, Gotrek Starbreaker, he's probably confident of this. He's something he's probably done before, so we're going to see if he can make it work. We are going to see if Home Dog can make it work. So let me know your predictions, guys, for all of you homies hanging out on YouTube and on Twitch. Who do you guys think is going to be winning this match? Who do you believe in? Who do you have faith in? Who is your chosen one? Chosen one. Do let me know. So the battle is on. The dwarves are going to be advancing up. The rangers and the vanguard are going to be hustling up the side of the map as soon as they're given an order here, which they have been given an order, I believe. Are they not moving yet? They are moving. Okay. Yeah, it's a very risky build. It's a very risky build. And the elf build is fairly meta. It's meta adjacent. You know, it's got the core elements of Larry and White Lines of Grace, all that kind of stuff. Now, the Skyhammer, I think does it spot these guys? No, it doesn't, but it's probably going to go scouting in the woods. See what it can find over here, because Vanguard is pretty common in the tree line here. And yeah, it's a shit ton of shooting, man. I mean, it's just kind of the classic crossfire. Who needs a front line when your range units can just kind of protect each other? And Iron Drakes are raid bosses. They have 125 armor, so they're tough to drag down. Granted, only 3,000 HP means they can get mulched quickly by big armor piercing. All right, so the dwarves get the home point, and now they're going to be surging up in the middle. There's going to be a big push on this dwarf army. Probably the high elves will do a build up a little bit. Like Hobo's going to get like 20 units and just try and zerg it all at once, which is probably the smart play. But honestly, Hobo Honkers could probably use his archers as well to just range these and just shoot them, like, and slowly poke them down. I mean, it's only a couple archers though against 125 armor, so it wouldn't be anything too crazy, but it is a thing. Torsen says in chat, Gotrek has beaten me in land battle several times doing this max Iron Drake stuff. Yeah, no, I've lost to it also. I mean, it can work. It looks weird, but, you know, if he practices it a lot, you never know. You never know. All right, so the Lions are pulling back a little bit, not wanting to get in flamethrower range. The Iron Drake Trollhammer Torpedoes, of course, have 187 range. Pretty okay range on them, kind of like the Giselles in the Araby campaign, similar range capabilities. Two Rangers are going to be very annoying creeping through the trees. Granted, they're super weak to flamethrowers, but line of sight and angles do matter. The Skyhammer thinking about moving up maybe, but doesn't want to go too far with Tempest and another Great Eagle on the board. Granted, this build does have more protection. Another Iron Drake, holy shit. This is insane. If this build works, I'm going to be incredibly shocked. I'm going to be incredibly shocked. On the far side, we do see Illyrian Reavers being called in. So they ride in the night. So those Reavers are going to be creeping around and getting ready to push where they can. And so it begins, guys. The greatest battle of our time. Let us know your predictions. It is go time. Alexander Nuts saying that the Elves got this. We'll see if he has Goblin Hewers in reserve. We will see indeed. The Hewers could be quite fun. Chaff units being called out. So it looks like Gotrek is finally going to be calling out something that isn't an Iron Drake. And they are going to be heading up towards Objective Dose, trying to grab that one. So there it goes. Jackson in chat saying, I feel like Gotrek has a scheming plan. You could be right. Although I think his plan is pretty straightforward. It's like, come at me, bro. I have a bunch of flamethrowers and rocket launchers, and we're going to be trying to fight you. All right, so Illyrian Reavers, very good for tying down these type of units. Obviously, Iron Drakes have pretty terrible combat stats. 20, 27, and 20, so they don't want to be fighting light cav units. It's going to take a long time to clear them out. And the dwarves need to find a way to wrestle objective number 2 if they can, which is probably what they're doing with the miner unit. That miner's just going to be heading up and being the sacrificial pincushion. Reavers on the side here with a couple Rangers. Now, one thing that could be very devastating is if the dwarves see this, they could take their Skyhammer Squadron and bombard the shit out of those Rangers as well as those Reavers. So that is something that's on the docket. Longbeards swaddling it up, and it looks like more miner units are going to be coming to fight on the middle objective there. And the dwarves might be able to flip this one. We're going to see. Call-in for Hobo Honkers is going to be White Lines of Grace, as is to be expected. I just want this battle to start, man. I want them to go knock down, drag out here. Because I want to see these Iron Drakes in action, man. It's so hard to maneuver that many Iron Drakes and keep them all shooting, but yeah, I mean, if anybody can do it, we'll see. This guy's a dwarf, man. He literally just plays dwarves. That's like this guy's thing. Although this is a best of 3, so... Oh, he probably plays Chaos Dwarves too. A lot of actual Dowie mains will dabble in the dark side a little bit. They'll play the Chaos Dwarves too. All right, so the Iron Drakes are just about in range. Elven Archers with 180 range can actually shoot almost as far as the Iron Drakes. It's the same range without the buffs coming in from Malachi. But yeah, Archer Volley there into the Miner's not bad at all. And the other side, Rangers lurking, and there is going to be a big crash, and they're probably going to steal the back objective from the Dwarves. Although the middle is going to be going here. And now we see waves and waves of good quality units and some chaff as well. So Longbeards and Miner units. And the Elven Archers, I actually think they're pretty good in this matchup. But there's going to be some returning fire. The Dwarves are going to be sending some lead down the pipe here, taking down what appears to be 18 archers out of the gates. Not bad. And now comes the big pressure. But the thing is the gyro bomber here, like, you can't dive it as easily with this army and all those iron drakes. It's going to be a little bit trickier to dive. So big push coming in. The bombardments, honestly, just go for it. Yeah, just go get those rangers. I think it'd be pretty damn good. Elves 4 in the back. We do get reavers coming in, and the flamethrowers are going to be turning about face. And we got the box of doom. That is so much firepower. Oh my god. Those reavers just got their source code deleted by that box. Holy shit, just gone. They're no longer part of the game. CA has patched them this very moment. That's what you gotta love to see, man. That's so epic. All right, so the Skyhammer's coming in, but we do see Larry and the Eagle looking to get a Tempest right there as well. And more firepower is on the way into the White Lines of Grace here as the Longbeards do advance up. And huge volley from the Iron Drake shooting it. Larry's getting shreked pretty bad. And this is what I'm talking about. It's not going to be as easy this time because of all the ground-based shooting. Larry does lose about half her health to that Iron Drake volley. And the Skyhammer is trying its best to get the bombardments off, but it's going to be locked down for another couple seconds. Chaff units on the way in. And here comes the Narnia push. So Narnia's here. Some of the Iron Drakes are getting a big flamethrower volley on the way in. And the Trollhammer torpedoes, they're not being intercepted. Oh my god, that Lion just gets wrecked. And now they're going to be switching on to the other one, I would imagine. But some of the Lions do get in. And yeah, the Gyro Bomber is getting wrecked by that Eagle a little bit. We'll see if it's going to be able to get its bombardments off. Find out on today's episode. All right, Crossfire is in effect. And now the Elite Infantry have made their way in. Slayers fighting against White Lions is pretty bad for the Dwarves. But a lot of the Iron Drakes are still shooting. The Company of Calendarian is getting melted. And I would imagine a big bombardment run is going to be coming here in a second as the Dwarves, finally to reclaim their back objective, may be able to get it done. Value favors Gotrek, but now that they're in sustained fighting, it could switch to the High Elves. Another nice flamethrower volley right there on the White Lines of Grace. Those guys are going to be getting cooked up nice and good. A little Sunday barbecue right there. I guess it's not Sunday. I don't even know what day of the week it is, to be honest with you guys. And it looks like he's going to go bombard the archers. That's going to be the game plan. The Dwarves standing firm and, you know, giving that crossfire. So when one Iron Drake unit gets caught up, the other ones who are not caught up are going to be lending the supporting fire, which is very fun. And he's like, dude, Gotrek is like an NFL quarterback in the pocket, just like sitting here and shooting and like in a very confined position. Oh my god, that bombardment right there, wrecking those archers, and the other archers get wrecked as well. Very brutal. As Ilariel the Radiant going to be juking those shots, so good micro right there. Objective number 1, flipping back to the Dwarves as more and more Slayers are being called in. And is the Dwarven gunline build going to sustain? Some Iron Drakes still sitting. A lot of the Iron Drakes are actually still shooting at this point. Another Tempest is going to be activated, but at least the Skyhammer this game was able to get some good value and perform. But now that Slayers are being mixed in, they're going to be able to chew up a lot of these lines that are diving and really free up a ton of that Dowie shooting. That is for sure. Now the Elves pull a value lead largely because of the Skyhammer, and they do get a lot of value against these Iron Drakes. But some of the Iron Drakes, you've got to finish them off. They have a low model count, and they perform pretty well, even with low models. So yeah, you really got to finish those guys off. The High Elves actually win at the high ground point. Rangers defeating the minor units is pretty damn good. Dwarves holding on to the middle point to the best of their abilities. And the Flamethrowers are forming ranks, and they are going to be cooking these diving Elves. There they go. And those Lions get sent to the Shadow Realm. And if these guns are able to stabilize and the ranks get reformed, the Elves could have a really bad time. Because then as they trickle in reinforcements, a lot of the reinforcements are going to be focus fired. Swordmasters of Hoeth, yeah, I mean, if they get in combat, absolutely going to be devastating. But I don't think Gotrek Starbreaker is going to let that one happen for free. So, peeling off these diving elf units, the Company of Calendarian and these other pieces are getting shreked. But here comes Gotham's Reckoning. You really got to deal with these guys as they make their way in. Yeah, Company of Calendarian is down for the count. Couple Reavers diving in. And here comes the Swordmasters. Yep, some of the shooting is zeroed in on them, but probably a little bit too late. They are going to get in and cause a lot of pain. I think the Iron Drakes, for the first time in the game, are going to need... Oh my god, Larry just got karate chopped! Holy shit, Larry landed! And then the Dwarf player got everything and just nuked Larry, just in guard mode. Holy shit. Oh my god, just source code deleted. And I think Gotrek Starbreaker is going to take this game, guys. I think he's getting it done. I mean, with Larry getting smacked like that, holy shit. Oh my god. And the Lore Masters of Hoeth are getting cooked. The dreaded Mass Iron Drake build. Dude, that is so good. That is so good. And now we get more Lions on the way in. Yeah, they're creeping up. But Gotrek Starbreaker, you could tell this is a build he's done like 1,000,000 times, you know? Like, he's done this 1,000 times, and he's just living his best life right now. His fantasy is being lived. All right, guys. High ground, Dwarves are going to reclaim that one. And the Dwarves will still win on just 2 objectives at this point. With Larry getting smashed It's going to be very, very tough. And yeah, Longbeards will defeat Rangers all day. And I don't think the High Elves have the gas anymore. Just so many flamethrowers are in effect. And he just crossfires. He puts everybody in guard mode, and he just focus fires things one at a time. Oh my god, dude. That was just insanity. And yep, we're going to see the white lines of Crates get cooked up. This is the coolest shit ever. Look at this. Just scorching these elves, sending them back to the Shadow Realm, and even though they're all low, I mean, he's only got a couple of them left, it's still a problem. And now there's like no High Elves left in the battlefield. We do see a couple of Cav over here, but the Slayers will handle them no problem. And yeah, the Eagle's about to get it. You guys ready to see the Eagle get sent to the Shadow Realm? So it lands here, and all the shooting is going to focus fire this thing. And oh my god, the Eagle just got freaking cooked, bro. It got cooked. Oh my god. And yeah, now the Dwarves are just going to march down the High Elves with this doom stack of shooting and get it done. That was so good. I love that game so much. This has happened to me before. I remember playing Gotrek Starbreaker in a tournament once, and he's very different than other Dwarf players in that he uses this. And I remember the same thing happened to me. Like, I wasn't ready for it, and it got me pretty good. Skyhammer's called back in. Without Larry, the Skyhammer's just going to dominate everything, basically. Back objective pretty secure. You definitely just leave a Longbeard back here, and you keep the miners there chilling. And yeah, here comes the rest of the Dwarf army. Victory for Carrickzorn. Oh my god, that was so fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. That was a fun game, man. Yeah, great stuff. That's game 1 in the series. Value, let's look, 300. Yeah, Iron Drakes, what do we get? 2,000, 1,300. And yeah, Skyhammer got about 1,200 as well. More value. Oh my god, he had even more of those things. I would imagine nothing in the High Elf army really got good value. It was probably just kind of spread out where it was. This build, yeah, the Dwarf build is definitely map dependent. That build was great for it because it had a safe home objective that he could just kind of defend easily. And yeah. Let's do it. So what do we got? Let's update these scorecards here. We're going to do this. And then scores where? Ah, there we are. Okay. One game for Gotrek Starbreaker, but what is he going to be playing in the next game? What will the big man be playing? Find out today, guys. Yeah, Alexander, how much did you like that as a Dwarf player? You must have enjoyed that one. It must have been cathartic for you. Oh, a Nurgle versus Warriors of Chaos again. Interesting. Second time we've seen this matchup tonight. I actually beat a pretty high-level Warriors of player once in a tournament using Nurgle and going with Festus the Giant and I had Festus the Giant, and I think I might have even had a Toe Dragon. It was like some weird healing blob build. Depends on the objective. He really made fried chicken. Yeah, he sure did that game. All right, so Wildfire's here. So we could do Darren. Yeah, we'll see how we're going to do this. How long this series takes. So I think after this we have Wildfire versus Ricochet. Yeah. The Giant is like fringe meme, but it has a place because Giants are good. It's kind of an overcosted Giant. I wouldn't be even opposed if Nurgle just got regular Giants that had Mark of Nurgle. I think that'd be fine. Yeah. Yeah, the Dowie got it done that game, but Hobo Honkers is bringing out the big guns now. He's bringing out Papa Nurgle against the Warriors of Chaos here. That is for sure the case. Yeah, so good, dude. Fun times. So waiting on Nurgle to finish, or not Nurgle, Warriors of Chaos, and Jade Tomb is going to be the map. So again, a safe home objective map. This is going to be a knockdown drag-out fight, for sure. I love that style of play. The Master Iron Drake shit is so funny. It's so funny, especially if you don't know that guy. If you don't know it's coming, it can really catch you off guard. I mean, obviously the High Elves could contour their build to fight that a little bit better, but man, it's Warriors. Yeah, Warriors versus Nurgle. We saw this matchup earlier already. It was Anticity defeated Kolek, actually, that game. It's a really, really good match. We'll look at the builds in a second, though. Yeah, Bill, they're using the 3x3 matrix to pick factions. They are indeed. But they do it preemptively. So before their series, they have like, some time to do it. So that's why the games are going so fast tonight and we're getting so many in. Yeah, I'll definitely plan on scheduling a faction war soon, guys. Just a bit busy. We're in the process of looking for a new place to live, so it's been a shit show. going to a bunch of, you know, checking out places and open houses and all sorts of stuff. So rentals, you get the idea. But yes, they are using the 3x3 system. How does Nurgle contend with Slaughter Guard? Your Great Weapons trade just fine into it, Lucas. I mean, even like a Pestigore, like a Chaos Warrior Great Weapon, Marauder Great Weapon will uptrade into them pretty well. You can use Mortis Engines are fine there too. But yeah, you got great, like Nurgle has great weapons, and Great Weapons counter Halberd, so yeah. I mean, obviously, yes, Slaughter Guard will beat a Chaos Warrior Great Weapon, but they're not going to have a cost-effective trade in that situation. Typically. All right, let me check. Looking good. And just kind of coordinating with some of the players here. Let me find this. Okay. Who else wants to get in? It looks like we have a couple more challengers approaching. Maybe we'll get one with Outer Region. We'll see how the time goes. We have a stream earlier tomorrow as well. We're streaming a Age of Wonders free-for-all match. So it's going to be my wife, myself, Professor Pone, and then Davok as well. So we're going to be doing a big old FFA of that. Still haven't dove into PvP after 700 hours. Yeah, no stress, man. It's there waiting for you if you're ever interested. I'm actually getting more and more into campaign lately. I've been having so much fun with the campaigns. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older, but I'm having a blast with it. All right, check this shit out. Whoa, look at that build. It's a Chaos Lord and a bunch of Blood Beasts. Huh. Curse of the Leper's okay against Slaughter Guard. It's probably not worth it, to be honest. And the Discord build. Yeah, I just made an announcement in the Discord for all the tournament players, and yeah. Okay, so let's see what the hell's cooking with this Chaos build. Oh my god, is that a freaking Chaos Lord on a dragon? What archaic ancient tech is this? So he's got the Ether Sword, which gives him a damage buff, and he's got the Dark Fires of Chaos, a Chaos Knight unit with lances, and 4 Khorne Harambes with a Final Transmutation caster. So the idea is you bait Nurgle into a blob fight, and then you get him with a big Final Transmutation. What the hell is this? Yeah, Davok, hopefully you got a fun build. You got your animal summoners ready to go. I know Anna was looking at playing vampires. I think Anna will play a vampire list. Pone, I think, is playing necromancy. I'm not sure what I want to do. I was looking at like a mage, like an arcane list or something. But the problem with arcane in how we're playing it is, in Age of Wonders, is auto resolves hate them. So you just constantly lose your whole army to auto resolves. And if we want to finish in an expedient time, we can't have everybody like fighting every battle, you know? I don't know. We'll work it out tomorrow. We'll see how we want to do it. All right, guys. Yeah, Pone was... Yeah, Necromancer Dragon, yeah. All right, guys. So for the Nurgle army, it's going to be Plague Bearers and Exalted Plague Bearers with your boy Epidemius. So Epidemius, with the Tally of Nurgle, is pretty devastating. I mean, your entire army gets a ton of Phys-Res and melee attack. And he does have a Plague Ridden as well with Fleshy and Stream of Corruption. So these Plague Bearers could be very tough to get through. Granted, the Khorne Harambes will pack a punch for sure. Go feudal with a ritualist dragon. All right, well, I'll take a look at that, Pone. Thank you. Feudal culture doesn't excite me too much, though. It's not my favorite jam. Okay, Plague Bearer hordes advancing up, and it's going to be a slow fight. They'll get there eventually. So we have a little bit of time before the action starts, so I can take some questions. The veteran asks, a Blood Bowl 3 tournament. Yeah, I think running a Blood Bowl league on the channel is not out of the cards someday. I tried to run one when the game first came out, and it was so awful that I just basically canceled it. The game was like so broken and buggy and shitty that I canceled it, but it's, you know, maybe someday we'll do it. I don't know. All right, guys. So advancing up are the Plague Bearer Legions and the Exalted Plague Bearers ready to party as well. Chaos Lord going to be getting a breath attack and an attempted dodge by the Nurgleites here. They partially dodge it, but they still lose, you know, 24 models and lose some HP. So not a bad little breath attack. I think he has 3 in total on the Dark Dragon. Yes, he does. And so begins the inexorable march of the Plague Father. Now, where's he going to go? Probably straightforward would be the play. Take the fight to your opponent's back objective and then reinforce your home objective with some good fighters. And he's got more Plague Bearers in the woods and Plague Drones of Nurgle being called out. Now, Plague Drones are a good counter against Chaos Knights because they get rid of the Chaos Knight charge bonus and they can fly down on them and tarp at them and do some very, very good stuff. So I don't hate it. All right. So Nurgle just chilling, living their best life. I would imagine they'll move up soon when they're feeling confident they have enough. But that is a big, stinky, slow army. And yeah, man, Gotrek Starbreaker once again bringing very, very unorthodox armies. It's very strange. But against Nurgle, typically you would see a Hell Cannon. Like a Hell Cannon back here would just absolutely punish this army. You know, Burning Head is very good too, but this is something that's very different, which I love to see. All right, Blood Beasts of Khorne lurking in the shadows. 2 of them waiting right here. Here comes the Plague Drones, comfortably chilling, and more Plague Bearers and or Nurglings being called out. Okay. So I wonder where he's going to push. I mean, Hobo Hawkers, it's a very tricky juggling act with armies like this. What I would recommend is you take 4 units. You take 2 Plague Bearers and 2 Exalteds, and you go to your opponent's home objective, and then you leave the other 2 here, and then just kind of take Epidemius up to the other objective as well. And you can move him back and forth as needed, but because then it's forcing Chaos to do this. They have to go all the way around you here, and they have to go to your back objective, which is where you're waiting with like your super durable Exalted Plague Bearers. And even if they are outnumbered, they're still very hard to get rid of. So I think that would be a good idea. We'll see. And he's got Plague Drones there too, and some Furies to contest the skies a little bit. Epidemius is creeping in the woods. The Spec Ops Epidemius play is very funny. And on the backside, it's going to be Marauder Horsemen being called in with throwing axes. Decent range DPS against Plague Bearers. The armor piercing is kind of wasted, to be honest, but everything else is more or less viable. All right. So here comes Epidemius. He waits. Furies and Plague Drones can definitely target the dragon. And how is Hobo Honkers going to partition his army? How is he going to be doing this? Because Chaos is just waiting to go for his back point. They're sitting there with a fully erect Chaos Boner. Certainly thinking about it. Plague Bears eating a charge from the Chaos Harambe's. Now, this is the question, though. How do the Plague Bears of Nurgle fight against Blood Beasts? Blood Beasts, I mean, do only have 40 armor, and Plague Bears hit hard as hell. They have almost 50 weapon strength. So there is that element of things. It looks like Hobo's going to be kind of stretching his army out a little bit and covering 2 objectives, like playing it like long ways like this, which I don't hate. But here comes the fight, and you got to watch out. The Unholy Hand Grenades will do a lot of damage against Chaos Knights if they can get them off. And here comes the first Thunderous Charge of Chaos, but going to be eating a bunch of Death Heads in the process. And not getting melted that badly, all things considered. Those Chaos Knights kind of champed it, not going to lie. A couple Furies for Hobo Honkers, going to be chasing down the Marauder Horsemen while the Nurgle army prepares to advance. And now it's becoming a mistake for Gotrek. Those Chaos Knights stayed way too long, and they end up getting chewed up by several volleys, and the Plague Drones are going to be getting that bread. Epidemia should also be in the fight. You want to get him fighting and get this character fighting as well. Chaos Knights do get broken. Fury's diving here, but should be pretty easy to intercept. Honestly, you just fight them with the Horsemen and then let the Chaos Harambe's catch up and help you out, and then you're going to be good. Yeah, interesting style. Final Transmutation is going to be very effective as well, especially against like these bunched up kind of Plague Bearer blobs right there, so that could be incredibly effective. And the Plague Drones are screening out the Marauder Horsemen. More Chaos Harambe's lurking. Those bad boys are here, and Chaos is now going to be calling in some basic Marauders and basic Marauders. Obviously, Marauder Bearmen have been removed from the Warriors of Chaos. They never belong there, that's for sure, but they're no longer there. Chaos making a play for the back objective, going to be dropping a Searing Doom, but Hobo Honkers is going to be dodging that one. And definitely needs to leave something on the back point. This is going to come down to an objective, you know, kind of game. So you want to leave something on the back point. Don't let the Warriors of Chaos take that one from you. And it looks like maybe the Festering Stooges are shambling back there very slowly. Exalted Plague Bearers dominating Chaos Marauders. Furies coming from the skies to jump on top of the throwing axes is going to be very good. And the Chad Chaos Lord will now be descending and helping to break those Fury units with his dragon. Yeah, Chaos is not going to fight a winning fight here. Epidemius is given the tally of Nurgle. So 10 Physres and 7 melee attack to all nearby demons. So all these demons are very steroided right now. They're going to be very meaty. Chaos Knights do come back, getting a nice charge there, which is pretty clean. But Nurgle needs to play the objective better. It's something that could cost them the game if they don't do it. Okay, they do get back there. Unholy Hand Grenades from the Exalted Plague Bearers, melting some of the Marauder Horsemen. And on the backside, more Plague Bearers are going to be on their way out. Epidemius has been making some meta appearances lately, actually, in some tournaments. He's been doing all right. He's honestly, the Epidemius build from Nurgle is not a terrible build, especially against like Warriors of Chaos. Like, you know, they're pretty durable against a lot of what Walk brings to the table. All right, Locus of Virulence also activated. Worn off now, but did give a nice melee attack buff. The Marauders are going to get taken to Pound Town, and Epidemius is going to be building up his full tally here in just a moment. So those guys are getting it. Final Transmutation going to be activated from the Chaos Sorcerer. A beautiful cast, by the way. It hit everything. That Final Transmutation is a disgusting amount of value. As it melts the Plague Bearers, it melts the Nurglings, it gets Epidemius and the Sorcerer low as well. And now I think for Gotrek, just spamming out a bunch of Marauder Horsemen throwing axes and sitting here and just farming value, I think would be the way to do it. Because the Chaos Lord back here is doing very, very nice work. Here comes the Furies. Furies going to be intercepting those Horsemen. Should be able to rip them up pretty damn good with their poison. The Festering Stooges didn't hear no bell. They and their other Exalted homies are fighting it out. And Nurgle is holding on to the 2 points. They're not letting them go. There is going to be another final transmutation later, and it looks like there was an overcasted final transmutation here. There was one on top of Epidemius, and not final transmutation, excuse me, another Fleshy Abundance, because you see both the Nurgle characters are topped off. Armored Chaos Troll is a good choice. Plague Bearers lack armor piercing, and these guys have 110 armor, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, they will regenerate and grind pretty well with Nurgle. However, the drones, not a terrible tech against them. Unholy Hand Grenades from the Exalted Plague Bearers, the summoned one, by the way. Epidemius can summon Plague Bearers, able to fend off those horsemen. And on the backside point, we see more Plague Drones or Rotflies being called out. Nice. So yeah, these guys will be really good at tar pitting a dragon. Just surround it, poison it, progressive armor piercing damage. And it kind of looks like Nurgle is starting to pull ahead a little bit, guys. They're holding onto the back point. They're dominating the Chaos Army here. And even though the Chaos Trolls are good, they're unsupported. They didn't have any infantry with them. They're fighting Epidemius, who's a big AP character. They're poisoned, and there was a lot of variables going against them. So they're going to retreat right there. The Trolls, though, are otherwise good against Plague Bearers, but are decent. But without support, you know, fighting that much and a Legendary Lord is going to be very tricky. All right, Rotflies have jumped in, and I know we all laughed at the Rotflies, but the Rotfly meta is upon us once again, guys. And they are attacking into the big Chaos Sword and the Dragon. Even though it's not a ton of damage, it's going to take this Chaos Lord like 15 minutes to kill Rotflies. And that's the kind of thing about them, is they're just very sticky, very hard to get rid of units. The Marauder Horsemen are encircling here a little bit, trying to get angles where they can. It looks like a Searing Doom is going to be activated on the Festering Stooges. Festering Stooges are also one of the hardest units in the game to kill. Very, very, very hard unit to kill, man. And because they regenerate models. And people forget that. The Gateway of Nurgle, or whatever it's called. The Festering Gate, yeah. So they resurrect dead combatants, so they can just keep bringing units back, and it's such a pain. And good luck getting Epidemius off this point with his homies. I mean, and these demons, by the way, are getting 20 Phys Res and 15 melee attack, which definitely puts them up to a whole other category of unit, right? Yeah, kind of looking like Big Dog Nurgle is running away with the game. The Warriors of Chaos and their Khorne Harambe squad running out of steam a little bit, struggling to get Nurgle off the 2 points here. And the freaking Chaos Lord, by the way, is getting smashed up. The Festering Stooges hit really hard. They have 52 weapon strength, and even though they are going against some armor, this guy's exhausted now, so his base armor is down from 70 down to 53. I just feel like the Chaos Lord and the Dragon should have more armor. It's kind of a weird one, but not a big deal. Locust of Virulence and Sands of Sickness are here. It's going to be debuffing the stats of all the boys, and it looks like Warriors of Chaos getting some capture weight here, but not going to matter when all the Nurgle demons waddle back onto the point. And we even have an Exalted Plague Bearer here, which are just such a hard unit to deal with. Exalted Plague Bearers are so sticky. I mean, they're just raid bosses. I think they have like 12,000 HP base or something. Yeah, 13,200. I mean, it's insane. So, like, they have as much HP as, like, you know, a Murworm. Very tough units to drag down with poison and great combat stats to boot. Plague Bear is bumping and grinding, and it looks like the Chaos Lord's going to come back here. I don't hate this. He's got a lot of momentum. He's got his He's got 2 trolls here. If the Dragon can maybe take down Epidemius or, like, the Nurgle Plague Ridden, that would be huge. I would wager, too, there's going to be a final transmutation to the books. And the Plague Bearers, are they flipping this point? They are. This one haggard, beat-ass Plague Bearer is probably going to be able to fight off these 2 Harambes with their weapon strength, and maybe even steal the flank objective, which would be such a value win for the forces of Nurgle. We're going to have to see 55 of them. Yeah, Blood Beasts are beat up here. Armored Chaos Trolls coming in to help, and maybe that will stabilize it. All right, so the big Chaos Lord moving in. Nurgle still has this point. The Rotflies coming to chase their homie, and now the Rotflies are in the mix. But the Plague Bearers are getting a Fecundity. That is an insane amount of healing. And guys, if you look at the value, we see Nurgle is ahead of Chaos, but they also have healing. Fleshy Abundance overcasted, regular Fleshy Abundance, Fecundity, which now works. So Fecundity is spreading to all these Nurgle units and healing everybody. And I think the Warriors of Chaos are just getting outground. They're getting ground down, man. We do see the Chaos Sorcerer here getting broken by the Barons of the Bow with the Bog, the bang, diggy, diggy. So these guys are on their way up. And they are going to make this blob fight impossible for the Warriors of Chaos to win. They're going to debuff everybody with the Wasting Sickness. You could honestly even send them over to that objective, because Nurgle is just so grindy. And wow, did you guys think they were going to win that Nurgle build? Pretty forbidden, man, but not bad at all. So the Toads are hopping in. Hippity hoppity, they're coming for you. And now they've arrived, and they have good AP too. They can definitely fight Armored Chaos Trolls. The Horsemen running out of ammunition. Epidemius establishing dominance, flexing on his opponent here. As the Festering Stooge is going to be unsummoned, which is smart. And the Plague Bearers and the Nurglings might even be able to get the side objective, and that's going to be GG. Looks like Gotrek Starbreaker going to be taken down in Game 2 by Hobo Honkers. And we got a contested series on our hands, guys. This is going to be going into Game 3 here, which should be quite a bit of fun. I think one last Searing Doom here. It's cute, but yeah, not going to get through all this Nurgle meat. And the demons doing it to it, man. Doing it to it. There they go. I love when the trolls like kick a Nurgling. It's so funny. They're just like punting the little gremlins. Hobos are rat and rats always win. Rats are survivors, you know. They survive. Rats are probably a creature that would survive many an apocalypse, so noble creatures. More plague drones coming out. The plague drones were definitely disruptive this game. Yeah, Epidemius is fun, Alexander. It's a very fun way to play Nurgle too. And what's good about Epidemius builds is people don't expect them, right? Because the meta for Nurgle is hero spam. It's like, you know, a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle and like Kha'Zix and then you know, one more hero, like an exalted hero of some sort. So people often don't expect this style, and they're like, oh shit, that's like a lot of plague bearers and durability I need to deal with, a ton of HP. Can be tricky, right? So running as the Chaos Lord, and Hobo Honkers is currently getting 3 victory tickets per second, approaching the 1200 marker. And yeah, that's going to be that. GG, well played, I think. Yeah, GG, well played. I don't think there's any options. Chaos is pretty much out of gas. They're being outvalued, they're being out-healed, they're being out-objectives. So the Lord of the Iron Drakes forced into a precarious game 3 against the dreaded Hobo Honkers. Advancing up are the Barons of the Bog with the Bog. And yeah, a lot of horsemen coming out, but by the time the horsemen, you know, could squeeze their value back after 5,000 years, the game would be over on points. All right, guys. Hope you had fun with that one. I got to say, we're getting a lot of good games tonight. Epidemius, I wouldn't say is better than Kugath. They just have different applications. They're for different matchups. Hey, Rumble, thank you for resubscribing as well, by the way. Super fun build, though. Like, by the way, I really like Gotrek's playstyle. He plays like a very different playstyle than most players from what I've seen. But yes, the dreaded Plague Bearer maxing got it done. Okay. So let's go update the score, and we got a 1-1 series on our hands. Now we're going to be going to game 3. Epidemius, 400 value. The Exalted Plague Bearer is 1,500, and 2,000 is not bad at all, guys. And yeah, nothing really crazy value aside from that. The Dragon did fine, I guess, 1,700, and the Sorcerer almost carried, but didn't do enough. The Chaos Knight's getting melted and only getting 300 value is very unfortunate. So GG, well played. All right, so we got Beastmen for Hobo Honkers in the last game. And we're going to see what we got here. Okay. And we have one more best of 3 after. I think we're going to do one more best of 3 after this. We'll see. If it's a really quick 2-0, we could maybe add another one in. We're going to see. We will get to the bottom of it. What's new with you guys, man? Excited to dive into some campaigns. I'm really having a blast. The Southern Realms campaign looks so fun. The one where you start with the Galloper cannons, the Galloper guns. Dude, looks like a good time, man. What would you guys say of all the modded campaigns that we have in Total War Warhammer 3? What is, do you think, the GOAT of the modded campaigns? You've obviously seen Marienburg, you've seen Araby. Araby isn't done yet, but what would be the GOAT, like your favorite modded campaign that you've ever played in Warhammer 3? Just want to get some opinions from you guys, for all of you guys on ye old YouTube and Twitch. Do let me know. Not sure anyone beats Kugath. I don't think anybody beats Kugath 1 versus 1. Kugath is the strongest 1v1 fighter in the game, if he's allowed to use magic. I think Kugath could lose some fights if he didn't use his magic, but I'm not sure. Be'lakor, with all of his like abilities, is a really scary duelist too. He's got like 1,000,000 ward save and just like super high combat stats. Skarbrand is a pretty beast mode one too, if magic's not involved. I know, there's so many good modded campaigns. So the Nagash campaign and the Black Sun Fleet. I don't know that. Corey, tell me about that one, boss. Nagash is impressive, but kind of easy. Got it. Yeah. Jade-blooded vampires. I bet you they're so OP. Nippon. I'm surprised we don't have the Nippon mod. Yeah. I feel like that could happen. Crackerjack is pretty great taking Norska. Oh god, I hate fighting in the Norscan lands, man. I think overall Araby is my gold standard, but yeah, Araby is insanely good. They have custom voice acting for it. In the Araby, you guys haven't gotten into it yet in the one I've recorded, but in the Araby campaign, there's 3 missions that you have to do. You have to reclaim Araby, you have to defeat the Southern Realms, and then you have to take down Bretonnia. It's so epic. You reclaim your lands, you go north, you defeat the Southern Realms, and then you go further north and get revenge on Bretonnia. It's so good. It's so well done. Yeah. There's an Nippon mod. Nice. Like a super Dark Elf Pirate faction. Ah, so it's very OP. I wouldn't want to play any that are really OP. Marienburg was awesome because they felt weak. Like, they were good financially, but their armies kind of sucked. So it made like a very interesting dynamic of how to play it. Yeah, it was fun. The Marienburg campaign was a blast. I love that one. It was a good time indeed. All right, so Beastman versus Ogre Kingdoms, guys. I don't even know what Gottschalk's going to do. He's probably going to play some weird shit. Who knows? Is he going to do like a mass Iron Gut rush or like a weird artillery build? Probably Leadbelcher spam would be my guess, considering how he plays dwarves. Schmarty says, I'm playing the Jafar campaign right now, and it's great, but hilariously, everything north of me is owned by Skaven and Beastmen. Yeah, so what I did in the campaign, well, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but the Southern Realms, by the time I got there, were fully conquered by Ikit Claw, but you can complete your objective by making a military alliance with Ikit Claw. So I just captured a territory, gave it to him, and then got a military alliance. So then that completed my revenge against Southern Realms, because Ikit Claw did all the work for me. Granted, Bretonnia is still there, but instead of fighting the Southern Realms, I had to fight the Dwarves, Clan Angrand. They were waiting for me there, so yeah, that's who I ended up fighting in the Southern Realms. OVN Halflings? Oh, dude, we'll play the hell out of that. One YouTuber's trying to beat Araby campaign with only the slave rabbles. It's probably possible. To have like 6 stacks of them and get all the tech, I don't think that would be impossible. Yeah. Is he allowed to use heroes, Volensky? Like, if you're allowed to use Araby heroes, you can definitely do that. You can definitely do that. And Greasus is actually not terrible here. We could see him. Oh, Golg. We got Golg Maneater and Steven Seagal. Okay. Once again, a pretty off-meta build. So it begins. Let's get it, guys. Let's get it. Oh, this is a cool map. Look at this. So this is a Ragnarok lair, but it's the corn corrupted version. So this version is corrupted by big old corn dogs here. Yes. So that will be the last one we do after this. Okay. He loses his mind, though, yeah. Yeah, those challenge campaigns are interesting. Not my cup of tea as much. I like the more... But I bet you once you played campaign, like, you know, like you're like someone like Legend of Total War who played like every campaign 30 times. So you just like... You probably just like start doing challenges to make it interesting, you know? All right, guys. So for the Ogre army, he has a front line of pigbacks, which are not bad against Beastmen. They can trade good enough into the chaff units, and they can fight Centaurs, Minotaurs, all sorts of stuff like that. And they have shields, by the way. Iron Guts are there to counter the Vestigor rush. Maybe he was expecting Vestigor spam. I don't know. But aside from that, they're armored and can hold their own. We have Steven Seagal on the outside as well. There you go. So the big dog is here. Oh, yeah, dude. Steven Seagal. So this guy is going to be using some of his Aikido to throw some of the Beastmen around. But yeah, like using him and Golg as an assassin duo is not bad. Golg is going to be able to hunt them down, and using the Eshin Maneater as his homie, you can mark things for eating and really get some good punishment. So I like the Assassin Core. And yeah, it's going to be a Firebelly to cook the Ungor Raiders. The Beastmen build is a lot more meta, because obviously it's a sweaty best of 3. And, you know, look, to Gotrek Starbreaker, to this man, this is his meta. Every player has different playstyles. Like how I play Empire and Chaos Dwarves is probably not meta for other people. Granted, if you look at the highest levels of competitive play, this would be a very off-meta Ogre build for sure. All right, so we got double Bray Shaman who are going to be stroking their Jagged Daggers. And we have a Bray Shaman, a Beast with, oh my god, Manticore? Oh, dude, he's got mass Manticore spam. Oh, King Agizal, I'm so happy you're playing that. I'm going to stream it soon. Dude, this is a Forbidden Hobo Honker build. We got triple Wizard with the daggers, okay? And he's going to be Manticore spamming. Oh my god. And then he has 2 Manticores in his base army as well that he's forgotten about, unfortunately. But out of the gates, the Beastmen are not going to get objective 1. The Ogres are going to get down here with their Iron Guts and Steven Seagal as well. Agizal, thank you, man, for being a member for that long. Seriously. It's huge, brother. It's huge. You've been a member forever. Damn, son. All right, Iron Guts coming in. We have more Pigback Riders, and then also some Saber Tusk packs as well. All right, guys. So Ogres are going to get the mainline objectives, objectives 1 and 2, and the Beastmen are going to get the one on the flank here, objective 3. Meanwhile, the Ungabunga Raiders are shooting into Golg. He does have 80 armor, so he's a little bit more durable than you would expect to small arms fire. And the Manticores are where? Why is he leaving his Manticores AFK back here? Is this just like a folly? He's getting tired? I don't know. Daniken saying, go hobo, dark in the skies. Yeah, he might be able to, but yeah, we do see Gotrek Starbreaker kind of throwing Golg to the dogs. I don't know why he's letting him face tank like this. Maybe he's going to be using the Bugman's Brew and this is intentional, but I seriously doubt it. Iron Guts charging into Spears, and these Spears would probably still lose to the Iron Guts, but they'll trade effectively for what they are. But here comes the big beating sticks. Golg is going to be retreating, and I guess he was using Golg as like a distraction card effects to eat those arrows. I don't know What is he doing with these two Mancores, man? He needs to get him up. Burning Head activated right there for the Beastmen, or from the Ogres. Nice one from the Firebelly. Cooking that Unga Bunga Spearman herd and going through. Oh my god, the Burning Head's getting everything. And it looks like the front line of the Beastmen is getting collapsed because Homie didn't use his Mancores. But now here it comes. All right, look at this. He's got 4 Manticores on the board. They're going to be descending on the lines. This is going to be so fun. Oh my god. Hey, Harry. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, brother. It's a sweaty PvP battle. All right, so 4 Manticores are going after Golg. This is the most Bronzodia shit ever. And he's got Cascading Fire Cloak, but 4 of them, guys. Look, that's just so haggard. Oh my god, there's 4 Manticores coming in. Look at that. And he's getting chewed up a little bit, guys. The Manticores taking a little bit of damage themselves, but 4 of them, I mean, that's still 400 weapon strength on each of them. And is Golg going to be able to survive this? The Unga Bunga Raiders are getting their shooting in, and there is going to be another Manticore being summoned. Golg is trying to escape right now. He's being hunted very heavily by these beasts. 2 of them are summons, remember. 2 of them are summons, so they will be disappearing shortly. Summons do not last forever. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, taking down the Ogre Lord here would be pretty frickin' funny. So it looks like some Saber Tusks are going to be called in to try and remedy the situation. One of the Manticores, which is a summon, is getting broken up. Golg is going to be healing himself with the Bugman's Brew. And is it Bugman's? I don't know. It's not Bugman's. Yeah, it is actually Bugman's. Okay. Steven Seagal going for a bit of an assassination on the Wizards, by the way. So he comes back here, but immediately one of the summoned Manticores is going to be on guard duty and is going to be chasing him back. Beastmen seem to be in a bit of a commanding position. They have their archer line. They broke the Ogre initial rush and are now surging forward very, very aggressively here. Far side objective owned by the Ogre Kingdoms, but the middle objective in the process of flipping. And the Ogres are not going to have a good time just getting shot to pieces by these Ungor Raiders. That's for sure. But there is going to be a bit of a principle of the Beastmen running out of a little bit of gas with their Manticores being offline. Granted, their 2 natural Manticores are still going. Golg is fighting tooth and nail, by the way. This guy's being an absolute Chad. Only 200 value, so he hasn't connected too much. He's probably hit them like 2 or 3 times. But yeah, I mean, he's tanking a lot of damage, which isn't terrible. All right, so are we going to be seeing more Manticore summons out? I believe you have 2 charges of the Transformation of Kadan. So he's probably going to wait for another batch of like triple Manticore summon, which is so freaking funny, by the way. The summon Manticore are going to be dissipating in a second, but certainly they've been very helpful in the fighting. And these Manticores working on Golg with the Archer Fire. The Archers will drag down the Iron Guts eventually. Iron Guts do have a lot of armor, but the Archer Fire, even 1 damage at a time, is significant enough. Centaurs and Ungor Spears up trading super hard, and it does look like the Beastmen have the Ogres on the ropes, because so many of the high-value Ogre pieces, like the Eshin Maneater, the Firebelly, they're kind of trapped and isolated here. And it looks like another Manticore is summoned. Oh, unleash the Manticore Swarm, dude. I love it. It's so good. So 1 Manticore is going to be diving in the back, guys, and Golg is going to be in big old trouble, as he's going to be getting zerged by 3 Manticores again. This might be one of my... Dude, there's been so... Why have there been so many good games today? I don't know why. There's been so many. All right, so Golg is getting swarmed. He's getting ripped up, 700 HP. Wavering, and he's broken. And the frickin' flying circus of the Beastmen continues its harass, guys. It continues. So the Beastmen did not flip the middle, actually. It looks like the Ogres are able to hold on to that, but I don't think it's going to matter. Golg does go down to the Manticore circus. So now what's going to happen is Hobo is going to use the Manticore to take down Steven Seagal, and the Firebelly is probably going to get taken offline as well. And I just think aside from that, the Beastmen are just have a bigger army on the field. They're now sending in some Koroks Manrippers and Korngors to go get that side objective, which is brilliant because Ogres aren't going to call in Noblars in the late game usually. It's going to be big stuff. So they are going to be able to deal with that. And ladies and gentlemen, the Manticores have blotted out the skies. We see a bit of a points lead for Gotrek Starbreaker, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And we see just so much Beastmen, so many, that they're going to just be able to grind through all of this and just live their best life. Yeah, Korngors are going to get down here, flip this objective very, very easily. The Mornfang Cav are shaken and stirred. They are actually shaken, yes. So the Korngors will probably rip them apart. And the Manticores, yeah, just useful. Just have them go after Steven Seagal, do what they can. Burning Head, though, a good attempt from the Firebelly there, is going to be cooking one of the Ungor Raiders and actually taking a very good angle and going through 2 archery units. So very, very nice stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen. As the Beastmen break through the big Cav, so the Blood Vultures and the Mornfang Cav get broken there. Halberds are moving up. Beastmen still control the outside objective. It's a little bit tenuous, but yeah, Korngor late game spam is very good. You typically, in my experience, you don't want to open up with Korngors unless you're trying to Vanguard capture somebody on like Borderlo or something, but here you bring them in late game when your opponent is like has less tools to deal with them, like less Noblars, right? Firebelly's still online, probably not for long. Down here, the Beastmen are going to start flipping this one. The Butchers of Chattengard are here, and Butchers of Kalkengard will dominate pretty much all Ogre infantry with the exception of Man-Eater Grey Weapons. They are just brutal. Honestly, they could probably beat a Man-Eater Grey Weapon too, simply because of how good their stats are and their regeneration, but yeah, pretty nasty. So, Blood Vultures trying what they can here. The Beastmen are potentially losing the outside objective. I mean, Gotrek is playing a pretty scrappy little game here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Another Manticore summon. Another Manticore summon, by the way, is on the table. And I wonder how many Manticores you can summon. Obo doesn't expect mass Iron Drakes build, but didn't see the 3 Beast coming. I know. They're both using like weird unorthodox builds, which is kind of fun about having like show matches, is people feel more comfortable exploring because they don't feel like the pressure of winning the tournament as much. I mean, still there's a bit of pressure of winning a best of 3, you know, your reputation and just, you know, wanting to get the win in general. I mean, the reputation shit doesn't matter at all, but some people feel that way. But yeah, it's cool. It's a fun change of pace. All right, Beastmen are going to surge forward. They probably want to leave something to guard this objective. Probably just leave the Corn Gore down there, honestly. Then take the Butchers of Kalkengard to get this one, and Centaurs are going to come sweep them off this point with a couple Raiders. And that's going to be the end of old Gotrek Starbreaker. But at least he did bring us a very epic Iron Drake game, and Hobo Honkers brought us the dreaded triple Manticore summon. Take it back to the Warhammer 1 days, Warhammer 2, when summon spam was very OP. Because you guys remember in Warhammer 2 how summon spam used to be like incredibly meta, right? Like Skaven would use summons. You know, zombie summon was obviously very big, multiple zombie casters, so much so that people put in rules in place to kind of mitigate it. But yeah, cool to see the return of that. All right, Eshin Maneater getting hunted pretty hard. Down here, the Beastmen stabilize that objective. The Centaurs and the Ungor Raiders able to get that done. And yeah, we're probably going to see a tap out from Homeboy right now. I think it's going to be the end of Gotrek Starbreaker. But one last Burning Head to rule them all. And yeah, pretty cool, man. Cooking the Corn Gores there. Not bad. The Boglars of the Mad Marsh, the most OP unit in the game. The Forbidden Aquatics. They heal in water. I love that these guys are wearing like frying pans as helmets. It's so good. Yeah, a lot of good flavor on that. All right. What do we got? Cascading Fire Cloak will make them a little bit stronger. Not going to be a game changer, though, that's for sure. And yeah, the Beastmen have got this in the bag. Basically, it's just Gotrek Starbreaker dragging this game out. He has no chance of winning. I mean, he's behind in points. He's behind in pretty much every variable in the game. He's not behind in points yet, but he will be soon. He's behind on pretty much every variable here. Yes, yes. On the backside, Firebelly waiting in the wings. But I don't think he can carry this. Warhammer 1, when summons did not despawn, those were the dark times. That was like, Warhammer 1 had the shittiest competitive meta. It was so terrible. Like, just infinite healing cap, infinite summons, just like land battle, just at its worst. It was just the dregs of competitive play, you know? All right, guys, GG, well played. Fun stuff indeed. And yeah, good game. It was a good time, man. I enjoyed the hell out of that one. Value, kind of hard to tell because most of the value was in the Manticores, and he summoned like 30 of them. Gold tried his best, but kind of got smashed up. They needed Greasus to raid boss that, man. Greasus with healing would have been able to get it done. So that's going to be a 2-1 victory here for Hobo Honkers, the glorious Manticore spam build to get it done. And now, guys, we are going to go and get our last and final best of 3 set up here. So the lobby is called the Dreadmaw Hate Club. Ah, I love it. Okay. I think one of the players here really hates Dreadmaws. That's the inclination I get. So it's going to be Tzeentch versus Dwarves. We're getting a shit ton of Dwarves tonight, by the way. This is the last one. We'll do it again. Okay, cool beans. Your favorite podcast on the way. Dude, Pope Patty, man. So we were talking about it a little bit earlier on, how we needed to have a Pope duel. We needed Pope Patty versus Space Pope to see who the true Pope is, you know. People need to know where to put their faith. We can't have these heretical, you know, confusion between who the true Pope is. So one of these days, we'll organize it. We could do it here on one of these kind of streams, right? All right, player 1 is going to be Wildfire. And player 2 here is going to be... it's going to be Ricochet. All right, Ricochet. All right, let's get that up and make his name a little bit more powerful and thick. There we go. Schism of Faith, I know. I'd be down, but he would wipe the floor with me. You think he would? Yeah. In a best of 3? So yeah, Exalted Flamers of Tzeentch are good against dwarves, but you need them to have line of sight. They need to have like some trees or shit to hide behind to be like super annoying. So the cannons could dominate them. Granted, you can hide them like behind the tree line. And oh, there's a pillar on this map. I forgot. Okay, guys, fasten your seatbelts and get ready for the good time. So basically, oh, dude, you hide them behind this pillar and you get the ultimate cheese. What's up, Hypex? How you doing, man? All right. So, guys, fasten your seatbelts. Get ready for the last best of 3. And once again, if you guys have enjoyed the format tonight, please do drop a like on the stream. See, there's about 600 people on YouTube and about 164 on old Twitch. So if you guys want to drop a like, it would help out quite a bit. Thank you, thank you. Late night stream, yes, you're just in time for the final best of 3 of the night. We've had, how many series have we had today? I think we've had, let me check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I think we've had, this is the 7th one? Is this the 7th best of or the 6th? I don't know, man. I don't know how to count. So something in that ballpark. Turin, you got me into Dune. Are you talking about Dune Spice Wars? Or are you talking about Dune as in the literary series, you know, the books? Yeah, the Dune games are great, though. They're very fun. I just kind of played so much, and, you know, they stopped supporting the game as well. But, yeah, the Dune games are great. So, ladies and gentlemen of the old world, spawning in on the north side of the map, it is going to be a whole bunch of Dowie shooting. Bugman's Rangers are cool because they have shields against the blue and pink fire, and they also heal, so they can kind of endure some of the poke of Tzeentch. The rest of the build is going to be Dwarf Warriors, Slayers, and we do have a Giga Chad Dwarf Lord in the back, and 2 cannons. Now, cannons are cool against Tzeentch. You know, can be compromised by Furies, but in terms of countering Centaurs, big flying monsters, you know, Exalted Flamers of Tzeentch, they can do quite well. All right, guys, and here we got a Vanguard of Zangors. Zangors are fine in this matchup. You know, Pestigors are also very good against dwarves because of their armor piercing, but Zangors are a little bit more durable, and, well, I don't know about more durable. They have less HP than Pestigors, but they do have silver shields, which is quite nice, and Protoss regeneration, which is very OP. On the backside, we have Marauders of Tzeentch, double Exalted Flamer. Now, what you do with them is you either put them here or right here, and you use them to poke out, but man, oh man, do you have to avoid those cannons. Up in the sky, Sartorial the Ever-Chicken. Final Transmutation is okay. There were some dwarf players back in the day who used to like hero spamming and having like Felix, you know, Gotrek and like a Dwarf Lord of some sort. But I don't know if it's the best. I think just spamming Searing Doom is going to be much more cost effective. And Plague of Rust against dwarves is also very good too. You can use Plague of Rust, charge them with some Zangors, and they'll trade much better than they otherwise would. The Dowie with the Vanguard on Objective 3. We do see the Bugman's Rangers moving up to get this point where they can. And on the back, a massive wall of angry short dwarves are on their way. They're pumping those dwarven legs. I'm just trying to bait you guys for the short thing. It's always good times. Cannons. Gonna zero in on those Exalted Flamers. Exalted Flamers are my favorite unit on the Tzeentch roster. I absolutely love using these things, especially in multiplayer. They're low ammunition. It's funny, in campaign you can actually get some items that can replenish their ammo, and they can do some really cheesy shit in campaign too if you get that. But like, I think the Engineer's Knapsack is the one that gives restock. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, first Flamethrower Volley is going to be out, and it'll do a lot of damage, you know, assuming it shoots in the center mass. Sometimes they shoot at the sides, which is weird. And then sometimes they shoot dead center. It's so strange. But that volley will be a little bit better. But they need to get behind the frickin' pillar, man. If they sit out there, these things are the definition of glass cannons. They have 3,000 HP only, pretty pitiful stats, but nicely there. Look at that. Yeah, using the Exalted Flamers to melt the Bugman's Rangers, and now getting behind the pillar. So take cover, Mr. President. Yeah, he's going to get behind the pillar there. But the Dwarves take Objective 3. The middle objective is going to be most likely taken by Tzeentch out of the gates. And the Exalted Flamers are going to be pillar humping here. Now, if you guys wanted to know the really, really, really troll way to play Exalted Flamers here, it would be to move into the trees and move up here and pop out and just like roast the cannons and then run back into the trees and just be very obnoxious out of the tree line. Because they can shoot out of the trees better than cannons and arrows can shoot back in. All right, so Wildfire getting a nice little shot there, cooking those Dwarvish infantry, and you can see them putting in some work. Granted, bows have now zeroed in, and uh-oh, the Grim Delvers are coming. They're coming to get some chicken dinner, man. Sartorial the Everwatcher attempts to retreat, but going to be dropped. Oh, no, he doesn't see the Grim Delvers. Oh, Death by Ricochet is about to get him. It's going to do a lot of damage. Yep, so the Grim Delvers get a big volley fire, and Sartorial's like, help me out, kid, I'm too weak, and he runs away. Loses his shields, loses about 1,000 HP, and a really, really nice ambush there by the dwarves. Now on the backside, we got Changebringers in the mix. Honestly, with the Grim Delvers being discovered over here, now that you know where they are, the Changebringers should go back here and kill the cannons. because the dwarves are not going to have like a Grimdelver type unit to punish you for your sins. So you would want to go over there and try and get that done if you could. All right, Zangor's fighting it out. The Exalted Flamers cooking into the Dwarf Warriors right here. And on the outside, Chaos Furies heading back towards the cannon. So there they go. And will they get that cannon offline? The Dwarves should be able to call in something to protect that. But the Exalted Flamers are both being kept alive, which is very nice. They are getting a lot of DPS, but overall, man, it is a dodgy game. Now, don't ignore the damage value. The damage value tracker is really bugged with Tzeentch. It doesn't track a lot of their units as well as their magical stuff, so just take it with a big grain of salt. Now, Furies are landing. Dwarves do have 1,000. Just probably going to call it a Slayer or something to guard this. We're going to have to see. But if he just lets that cannon die to a Fury here, that's going to be a pretty big mistake. Granted, he does have some crossfire coming in from some Bugman's Chads. But yeah, overall, definitely don't want to let that cannon go for free. Sartorial the Ever Chicken is up in the sky, and it looks like he's going to be getting the Arcane Surge army ability from Tzeentch. The Changebringers being screened out by the cannons as well as some bows here. And now we got more Slayers on the way in. But, you know, I still do think Dwarves are a little bit ahead here. It's a hard matchup for Tzeentch in my experience. Usually it's going to be a little bit favored for the forces of the Dowie. Not unwinnable, but requires a ton of finesse and pretty much perfect decision-making, in my experience. So Changebringers, you want to land them on the ground and just have them be like a flamer on the ground, basically. Having him flying up in the sky here is dodgy, but he got one cannon. That's definitely a big opportunity for a comeback here. Getting the Furies to shut down the cannon up in the high ground is quite good. And the other Fury now is going to be heading over to the far side cannon. We'll see what they can get done. Big Final Transmutation. It's going to hit a bit of stuff. And the Exalted Flamers here are going to be cooking those Slayers, which is very nice. And Sartorial's going balls deep trying to fight the Dwarf Lord. Rock of Inevitability. And yeah, not bad. Final Transmutation, though, will have its damage heavily mitigated by Dwarven Spell Resist. Nice ambush here. We saw some Centaurs of Tzeentch get an engagement on the Grimdelvers. But unfortunately, they are being shot by these dreaded bows here, which is quite painful. But man, big mistake by the Dwarf player. Ricochet definitely should not have let his cannons go. I mean, he did not need to lose either of those cannons. Probably had the resources to defend them, but I think got a little bit excited here. Now, one thing about Changebringers, or not Changebringers, but well, yes, them and also the Exalted Flamers of Tzeentch is you want to use all their ammo and then unsummon them. And then you get a huge refund while also accruing a ton of value, and it allows you to get momentum in the late game with like Centaurs and things like that. Objective 1 firmly controlled by Tzeentch, and it looks like the units that were guarding it are now moving over to the middle. Searing Doom activated, does a little bit of damage. And the Centaurs that did dive, at the very least, took down the Grimdelvers. And these Furies, they didn't hear no bell whatsoever. Yeah, we see these guys coming in. Fury's going to be ripping and tearing on the cannons there. And the Miners don't do a lot of damage. Uh-oh, it's going to be the classic. Is he going to use the blasting charges to try and protect it and just friendly fire himself into oblivion? I think he might be. No, I don't know. He's kind of facing a weird way right there. Regardless, on the middle, the big chicken still fighting it out. And the objective is currently owned by the Dwarves. The Dwarf Lord and his Slayers being overwhelmed by the Zangors. And could we see the Tzeentch come back a little bit, guys? Remember, don't trust the damage tracker value here. It doesn't do it right for Tzeentch. It does not. There's a lot of things that don't get tracked properly for some godforsaken reason. Oh, man, those Exalted Flamers, though, are ripping it up right now. Goodness gracious. Those Miners getting roasted, and Sartorial the Ever Chicken sitting proudly atop his pillar, causing a lot of havoc. As Zangors do shut down some of the Bugmans, engaging versus Dwarf Warriors, but very, very nice usage of those units right there. Furies get taken offline, but that Fury honestly might have carried the game. Both cannons being taken. Oh my god, Dwarven leadership is no joke. And it looks like the Dwarven cannon did get back online. He should have chased them off the battlefield. Yeah, letting that cannon get back is a huge blunder. Because I was about to say, if both cannons are offline, Tzeentch might be able to cook a little bit. But with the cannons being back online, there's non-stop pressure, man. And if you just miss micro for a second, Sartorial's going to eat some cannonballs to the face, and he's going to have a pretty bad time. So Tzeentch does have their Exalted Flamer still. Unsummoning them is the correct play, typically. They do have some armor piercing in melee, but their stats are so pitiful that it's not really effective. Looks like Sartorial's going to be going Ever Chicken mode, and he's going to be trying to take down the Lord here. So Homie dives in on the Lord, and is most likely going to be using another Final Transmutation if he has the Winds of Magic. Not the strongest play in the world, but not terrible either. Sartorial at 5,200 HP. One cannon is going to be shooting the Ever Chicken, and the other cannon might even come back online, although it looks like that one got beaten up pretty badly. All right, more Zangors reinforcing. Zangors are pretty good against Slayers, and Tzeentch might have their clutches on this middle objective, guys. They are arriving. Slayers versus Zangors is not great. Sartorial, the Ever Chicken, still cackling up in the skies. A nice Fury intercept, going to be getting on top of Bugman's Rangers, which is something they won't enjoy. And it looks like Centaurs of Tzeentch. Is Tzeentch on its comeback path? I think they are, guys. Tzeentch is starting to get a lot of picks. Mitigating those two cannons, picking off the Grimdelvers, and then also getting these guys in is quite big indeed. The cannons are missing Sartorial quite a bit. Some of them have made contact, but overall that chicken has been very, very menacing and very elusive. Decent Searing Doom there on the Slayers, but the Grim Delvers are back, even though there's only a couple of them. 27 of them could still take down Sartorial, so fire, reload, fire. And they do, of course, hit very, very hard. Yeah, they're ripping the shots. Sartorial kind of dodges them, using the pillar to pull some World of Warcraft tricks. Not bad at all, 4,000 HP. And Knights of Immolation. Okay, that's kind of cute. I don't hate that. Man, Tzeentch would have this game in the bag if they had gotten the cannons offline, for sure. I mean, now it's a contested game. The cannon's still putting big pressure down. Sartorial is sitting at about 4,100 HP, and the Zangors should be able to annihilate chaff units. Miners are pretty god-awful fighters. They're just kind of a roadblock piece. So a true combat unit like a Zangor is going to make pretty quick work of them. On the side, big diving going down. Knights of Immolation getting a huge charge into Longbeards. And Longbeards, honestly, will fight them okay, but with these Centaurs of Tzeentch here, probably going to be a fold. They're going to fold them up pretty quick, simply because the Centaurs of Tzeentch have huge AP values. And the Knights of Immolation, I think, have Warp Flame as well. No, they don't have Warp Flame, but they do, of course, have the Searing Torrent ability, which is not bad. Yeah, knockdown, drag out match, guys. This one could go either way. It's very, very close right now. Yeah, Bugmans are good in melee. They're not bad. Zangors here, folding up these units. They should be able to hold that, so I don't think the Beastmen need to worry. But the Centaurs are going to be hard to deal with, for sure. Especially if they can get on top of some of the shooting pieces. But if he throws Sartorial, that's probably just going to be GG. 3,100 value on the big chicken. Honestly, diving these Grim Delvers and showing them who's boss here. Oh, the cannons! Ooh, that just did like 800 damage. That was brutal. And another cannon shot's going to be hitting the chicken. Nope, he dodged that one, just barely. Knights of Immolation, you got to go back and shut down that cannon, dog. You got to just send a Fury or your Knights of Immolation or something back there. You can't let them cook you like that. That is gonna cost them the game. So Zangor's in the mix. The chicken is here. Another cannon has been called in. Centaurs do get a big charge. Now's the time to strike. Take down Grim Delvers and go back here and get the cannons. For Ricochet, his game plan is very simple. Keep both cannons online, keep farming. You know, Ricochet is ahead on points, so if he just keeps value trading here, he's going to win this game. But yeah, for the Tzeentch, he needs to go get these cannons offline, 100%. Those things are just going to wreck Sartorial and basically take him out of the game. Because Sartorial is a great combat character, actually. Much better than, you know, a lot of that. I think he has better combat stats than the regular Lords of Change. And he also has the, what's it called, the Stone of Inevitability, or the Rock, which, of course, debuffs enemy stats. It's a very, very good item. All right, Unsummons going down. Centaurs do finally zero in on their prize. That cannon is going to be taken offline. And the Dwarves immediately try and run. Smart play by Ricochet. Very nice. So he's going to be running them in. And the Dwarvish Warriors are going to be surging forth to try and intercept that. And yeah, just overall a nice play. The other cannon is very open as well. Some Furies flying across the map wouldn't be a bad idea. And it looks like that's what they're going to be doing. Bugman's Rangers really showing their durability, by the way. 900 value on these Bugmans because they have good enough stats that they can fight Furies off. Granted, with this current health, probably not. The Furies are going to be able to win it. And we do see a Skyhammer Squadron being called in, and it did not get to do its thing. Potential throw here by Ricochet, letting a Haggard Fury unit take down your expensive gyros. You don't really have good counterplay against that. And the Doom Knights are going where? It looks like they're heading back towards the middle. And Sartorial, the Ever Chicken, able to get it done, man. Beating down this Lord here. So you can see the Lord is at 1,400. The Dwarf Lord losing against the big combat monster. But if the chicken goes down with him, it's certainly not a win for Tzeentch. We will see how that all unfolds, guys. Dwarves hanging on to the objective. Centaurs bouncing around the battlefield, guys. And the other cannon about to be dove. And 100% worth the dive. Taking that thing offline is going to be massive. Oh, and the Dwarf Lord satisfies one last grudge before he routes. And no, he stabilizes. The Ever Chicken is wavering, sitting at 168 HP. This is where you take Sartorial and you go sit him on the corner of the map. You literally just hide him back here. Because you don't want to be taking that negative 16 leadership penalty, man. It's going to be bad news frickin' bears. All right, so Zangor's arriving to the objective. Might be able to help flip this one. The Dwarves are a little bit resurgent, though. The Chadley Dwarf Lord, he put in some work there surviving, and we do see some Giant Slayers on the way. Objective 3 is owned by the Dwarves as well. And this objective is a little bit contested, although it looks like Tzeentch has got this one on lock here. Yeah, the Miner's not having a good time. That is for sure. Furies chopping down the cannon crew. Man, oh man. Here's the thing. If the cannons had died earlier, right? Sartorial's still alive and he has like 3,000 HP. Then it's looking dangerous for Dwarves. But Tzeentch is trying to flip this one. Giant Slayers are going to be a problem here. Although Zangors are going to be very cost effective against them. Longbeards fighting Centaurs of Tzeentch. More Furies coming in. I can't help but think Dwarves are favored in this situation simply because they have... They have a points lead. The value is like probably dead even, and that's not good considering the Dwarves have the points lead and how good Dwarves are at playing objectives. So the cannon finally gets taken offline. The Chaos Furies of Tzeentch can come over here and maybe do a little bit of cleanup. Definitely want to unsummon these guys. These guys need to be unsummoned here by Wildfire. Homie's got to do a little bit of housekeeping. Otherwise, he's going to run out of units to summon. Centaur Zinch spam is good though. They're going to be very nice, but he's going to need to triple cap the dwarves here pretty soon. So big charge coming in, huge armor piercing damage, and you can see these guys start to just hemorrhage HP. The other Centaurs get a flank charge on Giant Slayers, which you don't want to stay in combat there. Take them out, go clean up the chaff units. Honestly, using Centaurs to like bowling pin all these like range units here would be the correct play. That is 100% what you would want to be doing. All right, nothing's changing on Objective 1. Furies are on their way back in. Furies can jump on top of Ekron's Miners. That would actually be cost effective. Furies are really good against Slayers too. Slayers don't want to be fighting infantry-sized units, and Furies count as infantry. So that is a fight you don't want. Dwarves have got their big iron kind of boots here on this objective. Are they wearing iron boots, or are they like chainmail? They're just wearing leather. I always assumed dwarves would have like iron greaves or gauntlets or something. A little bit hard to tell there. It kind of looks like just leather boots. But more blasting charges coming. Another blasting charge on the way in. Zinch kind of running out of gas a little bit. Oh, Sartorial didn't hear no bell. He's still alive. Oh, shit. And he's going for the kill in the Dwarf Lord. What a Chad. All right, and does he break the Dwarf Lord? He does. The late game ever chicken, 128 HP. This drumstick didn't hear no bell. 168 HP, and he does start to bully the Dwarf Lord. On the backside, Exalted Flamer is being called in. Zinch is going to have to get all three objectives, man, which is not going to be easy. And will he get the job done, or will a cannon zero in and help the Dwarf Lord out? The cannon shooting at the chicken. Oh, he dodges it. Neo from the Matrix. So he gets down, and the Dwarf Lord does get squashed. All right, that's a pretty big win for Zinch. So now he needs to run his chicken and try and get in the trees and avoid those cannons where he can. But the Dwarves are probably, of all the factions in the game, one of the factions that does not care about losing their Lord, especially a cheap Dwarf Lord. And that's going to be victory for the Dowie. They just started to get the momentum in the late game. The cannons being online were a little bit too much. GG, dude. What a freaking good game that was. So we're going to update the score. That's going to be victory for Death by Ricochet in game 1. There we go. All right, all right. And now we're going to be getting on to the next game. That's a grudging. A really fun game, though, man. The Exalted Flamers did pretty good. Sartorial was quite a raid boss. I feel like the big momentum loss for Zinch was losing the Exalted Flamers and the Doom Knights. Like, the Doom Knights and the Exalted Flamers both felt like the weak links, but other than that, Wildfire played super well. And yeah, classic Dwarf cannon, durability, grinding. Ricochet, he played his cards right. Good cannon play. He got it done. Okay. So what next? Yeah, they know the map. It's going to be Tomb Kings for Wildfire versus what for Ricochet? Maybe Dowie Czar? I don't remember if he plays Chaos Dwarves. I think he does. Hey, Turin, there's a new mod faction, Guests of Raha. I would love to see you play and add. What is that? Our Kingdom of In faction? Is it new? Gibson, send me a link in Discord. Yeah, if you're not in Discord, send me a link to it. Let me get you a Discord link, by the way, so we can invite to the channel. Okay, for some reason it's bugging out. Do we have any mods in chat who could drop a Discord link? Be greatly appreciated. Okay. Outstanding. Tomb Kings versus Grand Cathay. Fun matchup. Screaming Skull catapults are big. You use like usually like 3 of those things and just like bombard the Cathay infantry. But yeah, it'll be fun. We got 2 kind of formation-based armies fighting. Big old Nehekaran phalanxes versus the Cathay Harmony. Always a good time. Yeah, so what's the mod called? I'm looking for your Discord message right now. I don't see anything. I'm going to look in the workshop real quick. Okay. The Golden Magus comes to end. I'm looking here. Okay, cool. You'll join the Discord. Great. Yeah, let me get you a link though. I'm looking through some of the modded factions. Let's see if this works. No, it's not working for some reason. Strange. All right, Darren, thank you for the mod. He sent it to me. Okay, so this is the mod he was talking about. Let's see. Let's go look. So it's the Beridian's Guests of the Raha. Okay. Raja, I'm not sure how you'd say that. So is it actually an Ind faction? Or is it like... Yeah, it looks like they have some like blimps, but it kind of looks like Imperial a little bit. Kind of cool. So is it like an explorer who goes there? Okay. Interesting. And you have your own roster. So the faction uses existing units from 4 human races and a few auxiliaries from the dwarves. Okay. So, oh yeah, it looks like you use like Bretonnian units, you use like Empire, High Elf. Okay. So it's like an explorer faction. It's like you're in that region exploring. Yeah. Yeah, somebody shared it. Yeah, we're all good, Gibson. Thank you, man. Definitely something to consider. You saying it's a super fun mod? All right. Yeah. Looks interesting. It does. It does indeed. All right. Tomb Kings are ready for Wildfire. And, oh, we need to get the scoreboard up here. Let's do that. There we are. Sorry about that, guys. You have Tigers and troops and also mercenaries from the west. Nice. Isn't one of the mod teams, big mod teams like OVN or one of those guys working on another mod? Is it Halflings or was it like Inns or Koresh? Are they doing a Koresh mod? Was that what it was? I remember there was one coming. Yeah. Somebody told me there was something being worked on. Yeah, so pretty standard. Screaming Skull catapults. A lot of horsemen though, and Ark in the Black. Fine choices. The big Sphinx though is interesting. A little bit risky against Cathay, who can certainly shoot down the big targets, but we'll find out. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining tonight. It's been a fun one. This could be the last game, or Ricochet or Wildfire will win it and take us to a rubber match, which would always be fun and appreciated. Okay. There we are. And cool beans. All right. Just checking everything there. Looks all set. Southern Realms, I think, is what I'm thinking about doing next. I'm thinking about doing El Cadavo or doing the one in the east. The one in Lustria looks fun though. Lustria Bowl is always a fun time. I always dig that. All right, guys. Welcome. Let's go ahead and break it down and see what's cooking here. Spawning in on the south side of the map, it is going to be Wildfire with the Tomb Kings. Ark in the Black, Purple Sun is a great choice. Dropping Purple Sun on blobs of Cathay infantry and or cab is very, very good. And Spirit Leech is always good. Scream Skull catapults, Skeleton Spearmen in the back, and we do have a big old Sphinx here ready to chill with a couple of Vanguard Horsemen for Wildfire, which will be good at disrupting the Cathay backline, or at least trying to, and also grabbing objectives, so he is going to be doing that. Now, the only issue with this build is Screaming Skull catapults do get wrecked by cannons, so what you want to do is put them really deep set, and force the cannons to come far forward to get them, and then you dive the cannons after that. That's kind of the jam. For the Cathay army, it's going to be a very harmonious army. Ricochet is like a dwarf player. He basically just likes dwarf-like factions. And in this case, homie does have halberds everywhere. Yes. Halberds. Lord Magistrate with the Tactician. So just basically giving the melee defense aura for a dirt cheap cost. And yeah, so just like a rank and file Cathay army, double metal caster, kind of an old school way of playing Cathay a little bit. And they are going to be rocking Final Transmutation and Searing Doom, and that is going to be that. All right, guys. GLHF. The Magistrate is a very off-meta choice. Typically against Tomb Kings, you want to use the Dragon-Blooded Shugingen Lord with Lore of Fire and just annihilate all of their skeletons with the Fire Breath. That is exactly what you want to be doing. You guys remember those games of Daniken playing and using the Dragon-Blooded character to just like annihilate undead infantry? 100%. That's what you want to be doing. All right. So cannons at the ready, General. And the rest of the Cathay army is going to be heading over this way. And the main force will be contesting the middle, obviously. The big Sphinx is risky here, man. I mean, that's like a 2,000 gold unit that isn't really good against anything in this army. Like, there's nothing in this army the Sphinx is going to be good against. I mean, sure, it could bully the Magistrate, but it's going to be eating cannons and arrow fire while it does that. So that's incredibly precarious. We'll see if you can make it work, man. We will see if you can make it work. Yes, it is, Ark. That is the life. All right, backside, catapults obviously want to target Cathay halberds. That's going to be their best life. The cannons are immediately shooting out here and screening out these horsemen a little bit, picking off what appears to be only one with that shot. Cathay cannons, they pack a punch, man. They do indeed, just like in tabletop. All right, another shot right there, going into the skeletons. And they will get that objective, but the Cathay Spearmen are going to get there and reclaim that one pretty quickly. The other cannon shots, oh, the dreaded World of Warcraft pillar, guys. You guys remember my Forbidden Nurgle game last week with this tower here? That is the freaking spice of life right there, man. It is the spice of life. All right, skeletons moving up. Yes. And the Ushabti Great Bows are going to be dropping some fat thunder here, that is for sure. Ushabti Great Bows are a good choice, again, if they can stay out range of the cannons. You could also park them here, like behind the pillar, and then just shoot sideways and sideways, and then when the cannons try and adjust, you're going to need to adjust as well. But yeah, lots of funny plays that you can do right there. Wildfire doing some gremlin play on the objective, but he is losing these skeleton horsemen. Now, he could do a bit of a dive, but Cathay is a faction that is actually very, very, very good at defending their artillery. Between crowmen, jade lancers, and peasant horsemen, it's incredibly hard to get back there. Very, very difficult. Cathay going to be taking the middle objective, and we do see an ambush. Now, this is one way Wildfire could win the game. If Wildfire comes out, catches Cathay slipping, and just gets on the 2 cannons, it's going to be big. But no, the boy was watching. Let the boy watch. He watched indeed. So Jade Lancers are out, and the Skeleton Horsemen are going to get shreked pretty bad. And they just want to retreat. At this point, you just run the Skeleton Horsemen back to the Shadow Realms, and you use them to Benny Hill a little bit. I do like this cheesiness back here. This is good. Wildfire using his Horsemen to outcap the expendable Peasant Spears. You know, keeping a little bit of cap weight there. But, you know, what should have been done by Ricochet is he should have sent his Spearmen to chase the Horsemen off the objective. Huge purple sun from Ark in the Black. Oh my god, it wrecked those Jade Warriors right there. Nasty, nasty. And the Ushabti Great Bows, it looks like they were also assisting a little bit, but the cannons have zeroed in on the Ushabti Great Bows, and they're going to start getting bowling pinned pretty hard. So what you want to do with that is whenever somebody targets you with a cannon in this type of situation, you run backwards. And then that forces the cannons forward if they aren't paying attention, and then you can counterpunch much easier once you loop back around. 2 Jade Lancers heading towards Objective 3, chasing back the skeletons, and the Screaming Skull Catapults are doing their thing. The Big Sphinx is moving in, definitely going to need to be targeted by cannons. Final Transmutation activated here on the Big Sphinx. We'll do some respectable damage, but the cannons, they need to switch their targets onto the Sphinx. They need to deal with that thing, otherwise it's going to tear out a lot of stuff here. Grand Cathay going to be solidifying the back objective, so Objective 1 is going to be staying there for old Cathay, it looks like, or going to them. In the middle, Cathay's legions are holding well. You know, these Jade Warrior Halberds, very, very stalwart units, but the Screaming Skull Catapults will wear them down over time. And we got 2 Jade Lancers. Honestly, they should take this fight. They would win. I mean, if they just charge and charge, they're going to have a good fight. But if they let their opponent charge them, it's not going to be as good of a time. Ark in the Black and the Sphinx going for the Lord Cheese, which I really like that. I like that play. I mean, considering the Sphinx is kind of in an awkward position here, taking down the Magistrate of Grand Cathay when he's a low-hanging fruit like this is a pretty brilliant idea. So those homeboys going to be moving in. And it looks like the Magistrate is going to get karate chopped by everybody's evil Skeletor here in this game. These models are so cool, by the way. Necrosphinxes, I run one in tabletop. It's my wife painted it. It's one of my favorite paint jobs, I think, of all my minis. She did such a good job with it. They look so good. Those minis are great. All right, Objective 2, Grand Cathay. Objective 1 is owned by Grand Cathay as well. Cannons are still singing in the deep, and it looks like right now they are shooting the Ushabti Great Bows down. The Jade Infantry, though leaderless, are holding well. Cathay does have high base leadership on their infantry. I think it's like 64, 65, something in that ballpark. Yeah, it looks like it. Dzień dobry, Yakshimash. Hope you're doing well, Sarah. And elsewhere, on the backside, Tomb Kings still have it, and it looks like a big win, actually. Did they rout the Jade Lancers? They did. So Ricochet with a big micro blunder, letting those 2 Jade Lancers get bullied there when they could have actually had very favorable trades. However, the cannons of Grand Cathay are going to be pulling some value back here, and the Big Sphinx down to about 4,000 HP, eating some volley fire. Halberds of Grand Cathay trying their best. But those cannons, yeah, they're going to hit, and they're boinking off this thing at 300 HP right there, looking very, very tattered. And more Peasant Horsemen are now coming up. Now, the Peasant Horsemen can dive on the artillery, but again, Tomb Kings, much like Grand Cathay, are a faction that is quite excellent at defending their artillery. They have some of the best light horsemen of the game, and have some good cost-effective mass, sepulchral stalkers, other things like that. It's tricky. Now, what I think Cathay needs to do is they need to resummon the Magistrate. Oh, the dreaded Ushabti summon coming in from Wildfire, guys. So he summons the Ushabti on top of the cannon, and he does break it. Now, he could go for the other cannon, dash over there, but I think finishing off at least one cannon is going to be the correct choice. The Magistrate is out. He heard his brother was killed in action, so homie is going to be coming out to avenge his brother. So that's my head cannon for this guy, as he does give leadership back. But the Tomb Kings are getting some great momentum. I mean, the Screaming Skull Catapults are farming. We did see Ricochet blunder his Jade Lancers over here pretty badly. And Wildfire is just getting slightly better engagements across the board. Yes, yes. Yeah, listen to my wife there. That's right. It is an amazing paint job, though. It's really good. As a matter of fact, we'll show you guys a picture after this game. I think we have one somewhere. All right. So Ushabti take down the cannon, but the problem is if you don't chase it off the battlefield, the cannon's just going to come back. They surround the Magistrate again, but the Magistrate, he'll be able to survive that one. And does Cathay have any way of getting back in the game? Now, taking down the Big Sphinx would be certainly a step in the right direction. The catapults at the back being very menacing. And it looks like some Jade Lancers did try and rally back there, but Nahakar Horsemen can go fisticuffs with Jade Lancers. They have much better combat stats, lighter armor, however, but yeah, they are going to be doing it. All right, so these guys are shaken and soon to be stirred, and another unit of Skeleton Horsemen should be out to make sure nothing gets those Screaming Skull Catapults. Ushapti Grapos nailing those Horsemen. They got absolutely pounded right there. And Grand Cathay really doesn't have a lot fighting on the point. Looks like Wildfire might be able to clutch this game here and take us to a rubber match in this series, which would, of course, be a great way to end everything here tonight. Grand Cannon shooting into the Big Sphinx. Critical Binding sitting at 1 leadership, so very, very close to crumbling. And Cathay does have some good, decent late game momentum, though. With their 2 cannons being online, more and more Jade Infantry coming back up. I mean, they might be able to do something, especially if they can cheese Arkan. So what you do in this situation, guys, you put 1 cannon on the Sphinx and you put 1 on Arkan to make it harder for your opponent to dodge all of your shit, which is one micro play. And if you can get Arkan and the Sphinx off the battlefield, you might win this game. As the points currently stand, we do see Wildfire sitting with a bit of a lead here. So the Tomb Kings have a 603 against 417 lead. Grand Cathay's Peasant Spearmen and Jade Lancers should be able to hold on to the back objective. The Ushapti unit is just going to be farmed and or killed. So we still have a very contested game, and Arkan the Black getting Cannonballed. Certainly not on his bingo card, I'm sure. Very, very low is the Sphinx. He's certainly paying the troll toll, although he does take down one of the Alchemists, or at least get them to break, which is good. 420 Blaze It Bro on that Sphinx. 9 leadership, another cannon shot. Looks like he's going to be dodging that one. And the Sphinx is at 43, so it's for sure going to die. And now the cannons need to switch on Arkan, so that's going to be the win con for Grand Cathay. Also, Cathay needs to bring its Magistrate up. The Magistrate should be fighting in the front line, providing combat bonuses to the boys. That is for sure. So the Sphinx is down. Beautiful Purple Sun by Arkan, though. The Purple Sun won't you come and wash away the Cathay forces. Shout out to our boy Chris Cornell there, doing some very, very good work. And yeah, he's got to switch the cannons onto Arkan. It's foolish to not shoot him. I believe he's on horseback, so if you shoot Arkan off, he's going to take a metric shit ton of damage, and it's kind of squishy to boot. So are the cannons going to shoot Arkan? It looks like they're just free shooting right now, and the Magistrate is going to be on his way up. All right, so what do we have here? Peasant Spearmen holding. Jade Lancer is actually getting a big value trade. Taking down a Ushapti unit basically for free is quite massive. Both sides are going to have a bit of a hangover once their artillery runs out of ammunition. But Cathay, I think, has a little bit more artillery presence left. And yeah, Cathay kind of back in this game. Tomb Kings are looking a little bit bare bones. Pun completely intended there, guys. As the resurgent Cathay army starts to get some capture weight here. We can see the Jade Lancers, the Peasant Horsemen grinding it out. Cannons, are they shooting at Arkan? They're not. They're just shooting at random Skeleton Spearmen, which is a big mistake. It's basically, I would say, if you had optimal play patterns here, I think that Cathay would win this by just shooting at Arkan, just taking him offline. You need to have 1 cannon on Arkan and 1 on the Ushapti back here, and just whittle those guys down. A couple halberds doing what they can. Ushapti getting crumbled. The Crowmen also doing some nice work. Wildfire does have a big points lead, but the game is still heavily contested. And the cannons are now going into the Ushapti. That at least is a good play. And yeah, Tomb Kings are kind of running out of gas, guys. They're kind of running out of gas. King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion coming in. They're a Spearman unit, so not going to make that big of a difference against Crowman spam. A lot of Horsemen are on their way up. Grand Cathay very, very close to getting this objective, and the cannons are now switching on to just some random units here. Looks like they're shooting at the Spearmen. Really needs to be more effective with that cannon play, man. I mean, Cathay might throw this game. I feel as if they're in a winning position, but if they just let like Arkan kill this Magistrate again, like the cannons need to shoot at him, and it looks like they are now. Okay. So finally, I've prattled on enough about that, and the cannons are shooting at Arkan the Black, so Homeboy is getting wrecked. The Magistrate does have 50 melee defense, so he's going to be able to hold big cannon volleys. Another one hits him, and he's at 2200 HP. Tomb Kings are a faction that really suffers losing their lord. You know, you get a lot of low leadership skeletons, faction-wide crumbling, all sorts of stuff like that. And what do we got? Magistrate providing a little bit of a morale bonus. Arkan the Black going to be scurrying behind the pillars. And if Arkan hides, you basically just switch the firepower onto the Ushapti, and you're going to be living your best life. So see what I'm saying? As soon as he switches onto Arkan, you know, it changes the entire paradigm of the game here. Great Moonbird coming in. I don't hate that. Actually, go finish off Arkan. That's not bad. Cathay needs to get these objectives quickly, though, because the longer this goes, Tomb Kings might be able to Helm's Deep on their back objective, right? That is going to be something. So here comes the Great Moonbird. It looks like a Purple Sun is going to be activated. It'll do a little bit. Nothing too crazy. It's going to get the Jade Lancers. Moonbird is chasing your boy. He eats another cannon shot, sitting at 1100 HP. The Great Moonbird is great indeed. As Cathay does rip through the Ushapti with their heavy cav, the Jade Lancers, very, very good units, very cost-effective. I mean, they're good in the same reason that Empire Knights are good. They're just cheap, cost-effective units. Peasant Horsemen versus Skeleton Horsemen, pretty much the exact same unit. One of them is just undead. And Arkin is going to be getting it. Another cannon shot. Oh, direct hit right there. Dude, the bird like dodged the cannon and let the ball hit him. But Arkin is at negative 34. That is a big, big play, ladies and gentlemen. That is a big play right there. As we see Arkin the Black going into the trash can. Moonbird also back here to compromise some artillery as well. And guys, it looks like the middle objective is in flux. Grand Cathay getting the momentum because the undead are going to be crumbling super hard right now. If my math is my, I'm just awful at math. I'm just straight stupid with math. But if this objective flips right now, like in the next like 10 seconds, I'm pretty sure Grand Cathay wins on just 2, which should be incredibly doable for them as they do start to pull a value lead. The cannonballs on Arkin getting the job done. Tomb Kings can still goblin on the objectives a little bit, but you have to remember the damage value tracker here doesn't track crumbling. So like all the crumbling damage that this army is taking, it's not going to be taken into account there. So. Tricky, tricky. Oh, they still haven't gotten the middle. It might have taken too long. We might actually see Tomb Kings win on just 1 objective. Granted, I think that the Grand Cathay Mobility Army is going to be enough to break through. Without Arkin, it's going to be very precarious. The Moonbird is going to be devastating. Catapults are low. I mean, you could go dive them, but I think just playing the objective is going to be the right choice. Jade Lancer is coming out here to make sure that these Skeleton Horsemen don't ninja the side objective, and it looks like now they're going to be going for the throat. Yeah. We see Death by Ricochet advancing up. Going to be getting these 2 artillery pieces. Grand Cathay has got the momentum. The Magistrate, he's huffing and puffing. He's like, I wish I was in my office doing paperwork right now. This shit sucks. But he is going to be advancing up and trotting very slowly. Man, that is like the slowest looking running animation I've ever seen. Yeah, he's 3 capture weight. It's something. Crowmen trying to jump on the objective here. We do see another Tomb King's Horseman getting taken to Pound Town. And I think that Cathay needs to get a 3rd objective. It's going to be really tight. I'm pretty sure they do. I'm fairly certain. Cannons blasting, Crowmen sitting overhead, and this is great. Just keep the Crowmen sitting over these artillery pieces and force these guys to sit back here and fight that fight, right? That has got to be the jam. Empress's Crowmen lurking overhead, and ye old Lord Magistrate. What does he got cooking, guys? What does he have cooking? Looks like he's going to be solidifying on the objective here, just kind of waiting. Are they going to make any play for the back one? I think they should. You can take the Moonbird back here. It looks like both artillery pieces are going to be unsummon. Take the Crowmen and stop the unsummon. That would be the pro gamer play, but it looks like he's not watching. Because if you just dove on that and stopped the unsummon, it'd be a big disruption right there. All right, so more and more Skeleton Horsemen called out. Grand Cathay really should just play all 3 objectives. They have plenty of time to do it. Yeah, even send some Jade Warrior Halberds back there. You know, just play that slow grind. I know, Bob. It's going to be so fun. Some folks in chat talking about Heroes of Might and Magic, Golden Era. Yeah, Anna and I are we're gonna have some real fun games of that. It's gonna be great. All right, so does he win on just 1? Yeah, he does actually. So the Tomb Kings win on just 1 objective. I was right. Sepulchral Stalkers are on their way in, and this is winnable if Cathay blunders. If Cathay misplays this and doesn't like go all in on this back objective, definitely could be a sketchy case. So it looks like the Moonbird going to be dropping a bird poop on the Skeleton Horseman right there, so not bad at all. Crowmen coming in to run some interference. Peasant Horseman running into spears, but the Magistrate and his Alchemist need to get their butts down here. He's got a little bit of time, but yeah, dude, he just barely wins on 1 objective. Wowza. Okay, I still can do a little bit of math, but yeah, Cathay will win on just, or excuse me, Tomb Kings will win on just 1 objective. It's really tight, but they do. They win by like 15, 20 points or something like that. All right, so Crowmen and Crowmen diving, and the Moonbird needs to get busy. Jade Lancers are on their way up, and he is coming with everything right now. So Ricochet going all in, yeah. And what you want to do in this case is, this is like a veteran thing, but the natural play pattern for the Tomb Kings here, all in here, and as soon as it starts to look shady, you start saving up and you summon like 4 horsemen and go steal your opponent's back objective. So if you are Ricochet, you want to summon like maybe an auxiliary unit to just hold your back objective and make sure nothing funky happens there. So big pit fight is underway. Is there any magic left? Searing Doom and or Final Transmutation would be very, very big here. So the Moonbird is doing some crumbling. The Skeleton Spearmen are in critical binding. They're going to be worn down by the flank. Cannon's still shooting through the trees and actually connecting a little bit. You can see hitting those Skeleton Horsemen and the Eyes of the Desert. Oh, brutal. He still had enough for a Final Transmutation. Not upgraded, but still, that's going to hit everything. Turning all these undead to gold is going to be quite big indeed. So very nice stuff indeed. Alchemist, Magistrate are on the way. Capture weight is starting to flip for Grand Cathay. And here's the thing, guys. If Grand Cathay can just flip this objective for like 10 seconds, then they'll win the game on just 2. So they can get it, and then they can afford to lose it, but they just need to hold it for a little while. All right, so the undead Bone Daddies are crumbling. On the backside, it's going to be Horsemen Spam and some Skeleton Spearmen. Those guys are coming. The 4 Horsemen of the back Capolyps. It's so true. I mean, Tomb King's Horsemen are one of the most annoying back cap units in the game. That really is like one of the biggest variables of Tomb Kings is their ability to backcap. It's so troll, dude. It's so troll. All right, Magistrate and his homie hanging out here. The forces of Grand Cathay getting more and more capture weight. And it looks like this is going to be the end of the road. So Death by Ricochet looked like he was going to lose this game earlier on. It really, Wildfire looked like he was outplaying him. But then Wildfire, I think, started to suffer due to the inefficiency of like the Sphinx and some of the army comp stuff. But overall, not bad at all. GG victory for Ricochet. 2-0, but a very contested series. Both games were like razor close. Good stuff indeed. So somebody in chat asking, hey Turin, what's the strange nickname of the Barons of the Bog a reference to? It's a reference to the Kid Rock song, Ba with the Ba to Bang Diggy Diggy, that one. Yeah, so it's a reference to that. Yeah. All right, guys, GG. Fun stream tonight. Super fun. We had a lot of great matches, about 4 hours, a nice sweet spot for a stream. So if you guys enjoyed the stream, please do drop a like before you head out. That helps out quite a bit. Thank you guys so much for joining. Congrats to all the players who played tonight. Some really good showcase of what the community's got to offer in terms of talent. Good times. Some champion level players, some intermediate players. Always good to see the range of skill. All right. So Cathay Cannons got the job done. They pretty much carried the game. 1500, 2800. Cathay Cannons, very, very strong. All right, folks. See you around. Take care of yourselves. I'm going to go hang out with my smoking hot wife, see what she's up to. I'm going to enjoy a lovely dinner. And that is going to be it for tonight. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you all on the other side. Thank you so much for joining.